Zhang Ping grabs the contract gem, tempted to do something reckless since it can shackle a willing soul. Once someone voluntarily swallows it, their life and mind become the summoner's personal property. While Zhang Ping broods over the fatal flaw, Jing Jiao suddenly asks what nonsense he's plotting. Hearing his sales pitch, Jing Jiao scolds him no sane person volunteers to be mind-controlled. The catch is obvious total willingness required, otherwise the gem is just expensive candy. Realizing his ability is laughably useless, Zhang Ping flops down to sulk, thankfully not spiraling thanks to past life grit. Jing Jiao scolds and cheers him on, insisting somewhere out there is a creature dumb or brave enough to sign. That sparks a genius idea. If it must be voluntary, why not volunteer himself? He immediately chomps the gem in front of Jing Jiao, who assumes has finally lost it. The gem slides down as a bizarre surge of power erupts, forcefully sealing the contract. When the energy fades, Jing Jiao nearly cries thinking he's dead, but Zhang Ping grins, still breathing. As they prepare to leave, Jing Jiao reminds him she joins the patrol team tomorrow. Zhang Ping then realizes she's truly graduating early to enter real combat. Having mastered theory, Jing Jiao chooses battlefield practice to protect her home, her long-held dream. Before leaving, she encourages him, saying one day they might fight side by side. Zhang Ping forces a bitter smile at his farmer class ability while green spiritual energy rises behind him. The energy condenses into a perfect clone of Zhang Ping, complete with its own consciousness. Seeing its master too shy to hug Jing Jiao, the shadow shoves him forward. Result: Zhang Ping accidentally hugs Jing Jiao tightly in public. He panics over losing control, while the shadow throws heart signs making Jing Jiao blush. Jing Jiao finally leaves, and Zhang Ping can only watch, softly wishing her safety. She turns waves with a smile, clearly believing they'll meet again. Alone, Zhang Ping recalls the hug and wonders who's really driving his body. To confirm, he tests how much control this self-contract truly grants. The test turns tragic when the shadow randomly punches him face first into the ground. After half a day of abuse, Zhang Ping admits he's absolutely not the boss here. Still, he discovers he can force his body to act, just not beyond normal human limits. Meaning if he trains hard enough, he could replicate any combat technique he knows. But before dreaming big, there's one more crucial thing to verify. The next morning, Zhang Ping wakes up in a crowded cafeteria. Instantly, brutal leg pain hits, nearly dropping him. Then he recalls ordering his body to jog in his sleep. Ecstatic, he realizes his body can execute subconscious commands automatically. In celebration, he notices everyone staring in one direction. Turns out campus beauty Luo Shiyu has arrived, stealing all attention. But when Zhang Ping looks, cold sweat pours. What he sees isn't normal. Before him stands a wooden wolf monster devouring people, unnoticed by the crowd. Moments later, Luo Shiyu approaches kindly, yet in Zhang Ping's eyes, she's a monster too. A sweet-talking monster makes his spine freeze. He knows he's seeing what others can't. To avoid tipping off the creature, Zhang Ping calmly claims he just slept poorly. Trusting his instincts, he quickly makes an excuse to leave, sensing danger. She doesn't stop him but clearly smells his fear, growing suspicious. Leaving the cafeteria trembling, Zhang Ping wonders why no one notices the mutated beast in school. Not daring to stall, he decides to report this nightmare to a teacher ASAP. But the moment Zhang Ping peeks into the staff room, his spine turns to ice. A monster is gnawing on a woman's corpse, likely his teacher. Realizing his next on the menu, Zhang Ping bolts without looking back. He doesn't stop running until he reaches the school rooftop, gasping for air. With his mind in chaos, he wonders if he's insane or if the world truly became hell. Staring at the contract gem, he suspects swallowing it unlocked this horror vision. After gulping it again, spiritual energy erupts and he sees strange bloodstains at his feet. A system voice announces successful appraisal and begins replaying the past. He witnesses a man brutally devoured by a monster right here. When the vision fades, Zhang Ping realizes he's awakened the appraisal ability. He immediately scans himself to check what the heck has become. The status panel shows his both human and his own summoned beast. It reveals the contract gem as ranks, and its level 1 effect is now active. That effect absolute commands summoned beasts must obey every order. Appraisal also lets Zhang Ping see other stats if the power gap isn't ridiculous. After thinking it through, he concludes his both summoner and summon talk about multitasking. The big issue: those Tiancheng foxes outrank him by miles, is only level 1. They wield perception distortion, making human eating look like casual chatting. Remembering Jing Jiao has mental abilities, Zhang Ping hopes she can see through them. So after class, he rushes to find her and confirm his theory. On the way, he shivers as he notices the monsters are everywhere. The laughing couples he sees are actually Tiancheng foxes in human disguise. He finally reaches the patrol team headquarters, supposedly the city's safest spot. A charming purple-haired receptionist greets him, but to Zhang Ping, she's another monster. Swallowing fear, he says he's here for Jing Jiao's registration today. Waiting in the lobby, despair deepens as he realizes even the patrol team is infiltrated. Just then Jing Jiao appears, surprised to see him. He lies, claiming he came to check if she's adjusting well. Jing Jiao happily introduces her new teammates, clueless about their true nature. She vows to grow stronger and hunt mutated beasts to avenge her parents. She even offers to recommend Zhang Ping to join, but he awkwardly declines. Knowing the place is Monster Central, he quickly leaves before his fear leaks out. Because those trusted teammates are monsters in disguise. Outside the building, Zhang Ping nearly collapses, realizing the patrol team is compromised. Scanning the city, he sees Tiancheng foxes have blended into human society long ago. Using appraisal, he confirms most are mid to high level, far beyond his level 1 self. The scariest part: even high-level awakeners in the patrol team can't eliminate them. The monster that killed Luo Shiyu terrifies him so much he dares not appraise it. His gut screams king tier. Unlike normal mutated beasts, Tianchang foxes are cunning masters of disguise. They prioritize hunting the strong premium prey only. Ordinary civilians are merely long-term food storage. Direct confrontation equals suicide, yet Zhang Ping can't ignore a city farm for meat. A silent week passes as he obsessively trains to grow stronger. One night near 4 a.m., he wakes and realizes his improved stamina means less sleep needed. After days of relentless grinding, Zhang Ping finally levels up. Besides training, he forges a gem daily and swallows it, hoping to unlock more talents. But after awakening appraisal, the next gems are colorless and utterly useless. Until today, a purple gem appears, instantly reigniting Zhang Ping's hope. Though it looks questionably edible, he gulps it down desperate times. The moment it drops, strange light flares, signaling fresh mutation. His status panel pops up stats surge, and a new talent awakens. The talent Nightwalker grants night vision, reduced presence, speed boost, and near shadow blending. Realizing each level up may unlock talents, Zhang Ping finally sees a viable path. No hesitation, he activates Nightwalker to test the upgrade. In the stadium's darkness, he runs and finds his night vision clearer than daylight. Mid-training, he spots a glowing ring hidden in the grass. Zhang Ping immediately uses appraisal on the suspicious item. Result: assassin ring causes living beings to subconsciously ignore the wearer. Appraisal replays Tianchang fox Lu Shiyu once standing where it fell. Opposite her was the ring's owner, a mysterious figure bold enough to fight her. In his eyes, Lu Shiyu was likely just human, hence the reckless attack. The outcome is instantly killed, exploding into a rain of blood. Yet his resistance proves others in the city are secretly fighting back. Knowing he's not alone and seeing the truth, Zhang Ping steals his resolve. Suddenly another Tianchang fox rushes over, shouting about a suspicious person. Thanks to Nightwalker, Zhang Ping stands right there completely unseen. The monster sniffs around but senses nothing, growing doubtful. It leaves to report to the prince that the ring has vanished. Returning the ring would expose him, so Zhang Ping keeps it as leverage. He realizes power comes not just from levels, but gear like the assassin ring. Just then, multiple Tianchang fox footsteps approach his dorm room. A young girl's soul suddenly appears, warning him they've arrived. Seconds later, Tianchang foxes smash through his door. Leading them is a king-tier Tianchang fox, greedily eyeing the sleeping Zhang Ping. He forms a blood orb ready to kill on the spot. But after observing, the prince stops. This weakling can't be the thief. The king-tier fox sneers, deeming Zhang Ping worthless food not worth killing. He tells his subordinates not to waste provisions and withdraws. Only after they leave does Zhang Ping open his eyes, drenched in cold sweat. He spits the assassin ring from his mouth, realizing how close that was. Luckily, he had ordered his body to sleep deeply, hiding his early riser habit. Calming down, Zhang Ping decides to keep acting normal to avoid suspicion. In the cafeteria, he hears students gossip about a murder near campus. The victim, Hai Zixing, Mingzhu City's top assassin, sliced in half. Zhang Ping instantly knows Luo Shiyu, the Tianchang fox, did it. Sensing escalating danger, he decides to seek more protective gear. After school, Zhang Ping immediately leaves to find weapons. But most city forges are already controlled by Tianchang foxes. Just then, the system announces appraisal has reached a milestone. After 100 uses, his skill upgrades to intermediate level. The new perk lets him see a target's growth potential. With it, he sees the Tianchang fox has only 1 star, level 15 potential. Not wanting trouble, he declines and searches for an uncontaminated shop. Passing another forge, Zhang Ping hears loud bargaining inside. A blonde punk is trying to scam an old man with a premium sword. Mid-brag, a hand suddenly grabs the blade. It's Zhang Ping, inspecting it while secretly using appraisal. The blonde explodes, thinking his shady deal's being sabotaged. Appraisal reveals the sword is a badly patched-up piece of junk. Right on cue, it snaps in half, exposing the scam. Humiliated, the blonde goes berserk and tries to hit Zhang Ping. He boasts as a direct disciple of a famous martial hall to intimidate him. With a flashy martial move, he lunges at Zhang Ping. Zhang Ping casually swings once and knocks him flat. Appraisal shows he has a weird talent that makes him believe his weak moves are god tier. Unconvinced, the blonde sneak attacks as Zhang Ping turns away. He gets punched again and ends up kissing the floor. Just then, someone steps out from inside the forge at the commotion. A graceful girl with icy eyes appears, instantly terrifying the blonde. After driving him off, she stops Zhang Ping, saying they need to talk. She introduces herself as struggling to run the forge while caring for her elderly uncle. She invites Zhang Ping to stay as a blacksmith to help both the shop and her uncle. He considers that learning forging means crafting anti-monster gear. Seeing more pros than cons, he agrees on the spot. The girl, Ju Se, slaps him hard enough to nearly make him cough blood, smiling all the while. From then on, Zhang Ping trains in forging while secretly preparing for war with the Tianchang foxes. At the forge, he practices a bizarre technique pressing hot steel until drenched in sweat. Ju Se explains its fusion tempering, fully merging materials before shaping. She heads to storage for molds, leaving Zhang Ping to watch the furnace. She warns him to keep feeding fuel nonstop or the flame dies. But the strange fuel like scarlet serpent scales makes Zhang Ping panic. Not knowing the method, he recklessly tosses a chunk into the furnace. The furnace immediately begins shaking violently. Seconds later, it explodes, knocking Zhang Ping unconscious. As his awareness fades, black smoke from the blast pours into his heart. The furnace flame is sucked into his body, burning him alive from within. After a furious scream, Zhang Ping suddenly snaps awake. He's alive, but the furnace is completely extinguished. His heart now pounds like it holds a raging inferno. He quickly uses appraisal to check himself. His stats have risen, and the contract gem has advanced to level 3. On top of that, he awakens yet another brand new talent. The talent Fire Devourer lets him consume flames and store fire energy. He deduces each new talent boosts his growth potential. If so, he could endlessly absorb abilities and scale infinitely. Yet he still doesn't know why the contract gem only activates at special moments. Right then, Juicy returns and sees the workshop blown apart. Hearing his brief explanation, she only cares that he's alive and asks how he extinguished the fire. Seeing the steel he forged, Juicy is stunned by its perfect fusion. She admits his talent qualifies him for Minju City's 3 major organizations. Curious, Zhang Ping asks what the third group is besides patrol and investigation. As she continues forging, Jusei begins explaining. She says Mingju City indeed has a third organization, but no one knows who they are. Jusei then hands Zhang Ping a freshly forged dagger as equipment. Appraisal identifies it as Beauty's Tear, a fine weapon deadly to mid-level mutated beasts. Hearing it's worth 100,000, Zhang Ping is stunned, but Jusei calls it his reward. After assigning him to guard the shop, Jusei leaves for a mission. Remembering the explosion might attract monsters, Zhang Ping activates Nightwalker for nighttime scouting. In an abandoned park, he spots a level 3 Tiancheng fox disguised as a little girl on a swing. Same level and new weapon in hand, Zhang Ping considers killing it. He plans to deliver the corpse outside the city to expose the monster infiltration. But just as he's about to strike, a cold voice behind warns him not to touch the child. An icy force instantly freezes Zhang Ping in place. She whispers that if he wants to live, meet her at the orphanage training yard. When she vanishes, Zhang Ping realizes she's not with the Tiancheng foxes. She knows his childhood training spot, meaning she's been watching him. At the yard, he finds a mutated rat and immediately uses appraisal. It's a level 5 armored poison-tail rat with venomous spikes. Though 2 levels higher, it cautiously backs away, making Zhang Ping consider retreat. But thinking of future victims, he draws his dagger to fight. He decides to kill it before the orphan kids stumble into danger tomorrow. Gripping Booty's Tear, Zhang Ping charges. The rat suddenly curls into a spiked ball and rockets forward. He raises his blade to block its drill-like spin. Its armor is too tough to pierce, forcing him to rethink. With a heavy shove, he knocks the rat back. The rat instantly channels poison into its spiked tail. Venom drips from the curved stinger tip. It fires toxins repeatedly, forcing Zhang Ping to dodge and analyze. He notices its rolled-up defense is strong but limits mobility. Immediately, he plans to use Fire Devourer to break its guard. He also applies Mingju Fist techniques to overpower the smaller foe. Despite poison shots, Zhang Ping closes the distance. He feigns a finishing strike, baiting the rat into panic. It curls and charges again. He pretends to stab as a decoy. The real attack is a left punch blazing with fire. The fiery blow scorches its armor, making it shriek. The moment its defense breaks is his only window. Zhang Ping lunges and lands the killing strike. After the kill, he reaches level 4, stats rising noticeably. Yet his uneasy inside the city should be only Tiancheng foxes, not other mutated beasts. Suddenly, a swamp-like shadow engulfs and drags him under. He's utterly powerless against this strange force. A cold hand pulls him up, granting 5 minutes to prove his identity. Zhang Ping recognizes the icy girl from before. She points her sword, demanding proof he's human. He realizes she also suspects beast infiltration. Unsure how to prove it, he stalls for time. Meanwhile, he frantically uses appraisal on her. After hundreds of failures, his appraisal upgrades to advanced. Result: Lucy Shan, level 28 awakener with water control talent. Her overwhelming strength explains why his stealth failed. She belongs to the cleanup team, likely Mingju City's mysterious third organization. As time runs out, she grows impatient and prepares to strike. In panic, Zhang Ping guesses she once lived at this orphanage too. To prove it, he reenacts the CC invincible fist she taught him, stunning Lucy Shan. He confirms she's the CSI from years ago, and she switches to interrogation mode. She recalls his contract gem was deemed useless and asks what has done since. Zhang Ping admits he swallowed it, turning himself into his own summon and immune to illusions. That's how he pierced disguises and spotted many Tiancheng foxes. Hearing this, CSI loses composure. This matches their perception distortion ability. Zhang Ping then lists numerous acquaintances who are actually low-level Tiancheng foxes. Cixi immediately contacts her teammates to verify Zhang Ping's intel. The other end confirms recent perception distortions matching his description. They've secretly detained 2 suspects for testing. Suddenly, a massive explosion erupts mid-call. 2 cleanup team members burst out of the blast in panic. Behind them, the breakfast shop lady transforms into a crazed Tiancheng fox. The monster charges straight at Jinbo. Jinbo roars and throws a counterpunch. One strike drops the Tiancheng fox instantly. The corpse reverts to fox form, proving Zhang Ping was right. Jinbo orders the entire team to begin a full purge. Meanwhile, at Mingju Academy, the Tiancheng Fox King disguised as Luo Shiyu opens her eyes. Sensing a subordinate's death, she looks toward the city outskirts. The Fox King immediately rushes out to hunt the killer. She realizes multiple subordinates are dying, things are spiraling. The enemy hides their aura after each kill, making tracking impossible. The Fox King nearly goes mad, unable to find who's hunting her. After confirmation, Cixi admits Zhang Ping told the truth, but trust is still partial. She decides to use him as eyes inside the city, while secretly protecting him. Zhang Ping accepts surveillance as long as Tiancheng foxes die. Cixi gives him half of a jade pendant for emergency contact. Ignite the cold jade with fire, and her warm jade will instantly respond. Still, she stresses he must grow stronger himself. Zhang Ping admits he wants martial training but lacks tuition money. Cixi generously promises to secure organizational funding for him. Backed financially, Zhang Ping is over the moon. In the following days, Tiancheng Fox numbers drop sharply as cleanup acts. Yet Zhang Ping senses Sisai still doesn't fully trust him. Fine by him, cooperation to kill foxes is enough. Just then he spots a fiery girl handing out martial arts flyers. Smelling opportunity, he grabs one immediately. The flyer promotes Beast King Fist with hefty fees per technique tier. The girl demonstrates the first 3 forms right before him. Watching closely, Zhang Ping realizes it far outclasses Ming Fist. A blonde man in a red suit mocks Beast King Fist as trash, trying to lure him to Xingji Fist Hall. Recognizing him as Brother Men's acquaintance, Zhang Ping deliberately misnames Lightning 5 Strikes, provoking him. Enraged, the blonde summons his lackeys, Shangda and Shang'er, planning to settle old scores. Seeing the trio ready to gang up, Wang Jimin steps forward, shielding Zhang Ping. Shangde and Shang'er unleash their aura, clothes tearing as their bodies bulk up like raging beasts. Zhang Ping immediately uses appraisal, charging blind against fake awakeners as suicide. Data shows they're from Xingji Hall, trading intelligence for body enhancement, strong but brainless. As expected, once provoked, they lose all reason and charge like bulls. He scans Wang Jimin to 7-star growth potential, monstrous future talent. Knowing her involvement worsens danger, Zhang Ping tosses back the flyer and pulls her aside. He claims this is personal business and he'll handle all 3 alone. His gaze turns icy perfect sandbags to test his new Beast King moves. The 2 enhancers roar and rush him together, aiming to crush him instantly. Zhang Ping sidesteps smoothly and chops one on the neck, proving brains beat brawn. Seeing his men falter, the blonde goes berserk and unleashes Lightning 5 Strikes, firing high-voltage blasts. Before he can brag, Zhang Ping lands a vicious kick to his weak spot, dropping him like an exploded bomb. Zhang Ping mocks him, saying his proud Lightning 5 Strikes is just a group combo without backup. After clearing the troublemakers, Zhang Ping and Wang Jimin head to Beast King Fist Hall to enroll. Excited that he learned a move in one glance, Jimin begs him to tutor her later. They arrive to Chaos Instructor Bai Di has returned early. The students turn pale like it's a death notice. Many haven't mastered half the set. Curious, Zhang Ping asks, and Jimin explains Bai Di is infamous for brutal training. Ironically, she brags she's punished most training a month and still failing the basics. The door slams open, a muscular man enters, and everyone snaps to attention. Jimin hurriedly drags Zhang Ping into line. Standing messy means instant punishment. Bai Di roars corrections. Anyone misaligned runs 50 laps. Zhang Ping appraises him, an advanced awakener with terrifying body morph abilities. Bai Di recognizes him as the guy who beat a Xingyi student yesterday. Without waiting, he attacks to test the rumor personally. Forced to dodge nonstop, Zhang Ping fumes at being attacked without a word. Bai Di demands to know if he truly learned Beast King form in one look. A punch nearly smashes his face. Zhang Ping feels the vast gap in power. At the last second, Bai Di turns the strike into a head pat, just testing reflexes. Laughing, he confirms the rumor and praises Zhang Ping's martial insight. Still, he calls the previous demonstrator a rookie and vows to reteach it himself. Then he turns to the trembling students, announcing inspection time. Rule spar 1 by 1 fail, and it's 500 push-ups plus a 10 run. Amid tension, Jimin pokes Zhang Ping, asking him to reteach her after class. He agrees, even inviting her to Iron Soul Forge, seeing her 7-star potential. Thus begins Zhang Ping's nightmare, fixing her mistakes daily to a chorus of apologies. At Iron Soul Forge, he keeps correcting her form. Bad foundations ruin Beast King Fist. Sadly, Jimin learns painfully slow, forcing him to break moves into baby steps. Even so, after days of practice, Zhang Ping feels his level edging upward. Just then, Juicy shouts outside she's back from a northern forest hunt. Telling Jimin to continue, Zhang Ping steps out. Juicy rarely returns empty-handed. Juicy complains the hunt was oddly difficult. Wild beasts have dwindled mysteriously. They had to go deep north and nearly got wiped by storm wolves. Luckily, they used earth escape umbrellas to flee, later profiting when wolves attacked forest folk. Juicy brings back a rare Windelement gem and hands it to Zhang Ping as reward. He instantly knows it's a wind gem that lets even normals launch wind blades. But upon touching it, strange whispers and feral roars flood his mind. His panel shows a new talent, Awakened Wind Whisperer, hearing nearby creatures' emotions. Realizing the contract gem triggered again, Zhang Ping calmly accepts it. With the new sense, he clearly hears 2 Tianchang foxes plotting to kill him and Jimin. They even plan the meal. One eats Zhang Ping, Jimin saved for dessert. Realizing an aberrant beast had marked him, Zhang Ping knew staying meant the forge would become collateral damage. Elsewhere, Sisai had just finished bathing when her jade, linked to Zhang Ping, started flashing like a disco ball. She instantly knew Zhang Ping was in trouble and sprinted off to play hero. Meanwhile, Zhang Ping nervously waited, aware 2 mid-level heavenly foxes could pop up any second. He calculated fast. Even with Jusei, beating such high-tier monsters was pure fantasy. To avoid dragging others down, Zhang Ping told Jusei to visit Uncle Lu while he went grocery shopping. Jusei suspected nothing and even cheerfully handed over the wind gem for safekeeping. Zhang Ping's real mission was to evacuate Jimin before the predators made their move. He found Jimin diligently practicing boxing, innocently asking if her moves were on point. With no time to explain, Zhang Ping grabbed her hand and bolted. The enemy was basically breathing down their necks. The moment they stepped out, 2 heavenly foxes blocked them, disguised as Jimin's parents. Zhang Ping shielded her immediately, knowing one step closer meant instant trap activation. His appraisal showed level 15 heavenly foxes with a perception distortion talent that made danger look harmless. So in Jimin's eyes, they were just loving parents calling her home. At peak despair, Cease's familiar darkness unfolded, casting a dark chamber over the area. The foxes realized their prey was slipping into a different dimension and lunged to pursue. Zhang Ping hugged Ji-min tight, telling her to cling to him if she wanted to escape in time. He shielded her with his body as they dropped into the spatial pit while the foxes snapped at them. One fox clawed Zhang Ping's back, leaving a deep gash before they vanished. In the dark space, Ji-min panicked while Zhang Ping drew his blade the hunters had followed. Sure enough, the two heavenly foxes appeared inside the dark chamber, making things even bleaker. Jaemin kept calling Mom and Dad, while Zhang Ping yelled that they were aberrant beasts in disguise. Despite dodging desperately, Zhang Ping felt the crushing level gap he was barely hanging on. At the critical moment, Sisai appeared and shouted for Zhang Ping to move. A colossal wall of ice erupted upward, skewering both heavenly foxes in one dramatic stab. Sisai moved so fast the foxes were shredded into pieces before they could even blink. After cleaning house, Sisai quickly asked if they were seriously hurt. Jaemin broke down, thinking her parents were killed, forcing Zhang Ping to bluntly explain they were disguised foxes. She refused to accept it, insisting they were her real parents in her eyes. Sisai explained a Fox King in the city might be amplifying illusions, fooling even high-level awakeners. Zhang Ping realized perhaps only his own talent could pierce such a disguise. To prove it, he yanked off the mask from the fox corpse. The brutal truth surfaced: Ji-min's parents had died earlier, and the foxes were merely borrowing their bodies. Faced with that cruelty, Ji-min nearly couldn't process reality. Elsewhere, the Heavenly Fox King posing as Luo Shiyu noticed 9 clan members had died within a week. He immediately suspected humans had cracked their illusion technique. One fox proposed slaughtering all humans in the city, but others objected no humans meant no food. The Heavenly Fox King silenced them and began plotting personally. He decided the best move was to lure the enemy out of the shadows and eliminate them step by step. Deputy City Lord Huang Ziming suggested inviting other races into the city to stir chaos and expose human elites. He insisted the city lord was still hiding in town, waiting for the foxes to slip up. The remaining foxes approved new food, and a broken stalemate sounded perfect. Back at the scene, Ji-min trembled at the pool of blood where her parents had died. She burst into tears, apologizing, thinking the tragedy could have been avoided if she had realized sooner. Zhang Ping bluntly told her that even if she had known earlier, her current strength wouldn't have changed a thing. That only made Ji-min blame herself harder, convinced everything happened because she was too weak. Seeing her on the verge of collapse, Zhang Ping pulled her into a hug to steady her. He confessed he'd also lost someone important to the Heavenly Foxes, so he knew that helpless sting. But even rewinding time wouldn't change the choices of the dead. The only option left was to grow stronger and protect those still breathing. His words finally calmed Ji-min, and she thanked Zhang Ping softly. Just as Zhang Ping vowed to wipe out the foxes in the city, he suddenly coughed up blood. Sisai and Ji-min panicked, realizing his back wound was far worse than it looked. Turns out he'd been running on sheer willpower, and now his body was cashing the bill. After a stretch of unconsciousness, Zhang Ping finally woke up. Jaemin lit up with relief the moment he opened his eyes. Sisai immediately warned him not to move, unless he wanted his wound to split again. Holding his hand, Ji-min declared she wanted to become strong. She swore to help destroy the Heavenly Foxes and avenge her parents. Sisai suggested she stay with them for now since her home was basically a danger zone. Suddenly, Zhang Ping heard a fox whisper about a sleeping king and someone named Huang Ziming. He quickly told Sisai had just picked up some crucial intel. After analysis, they concluded Deputy City Lord Huang Ziming likely betrayed humanity. Knowing the Fox King was in deep sleep, they chose to strike back with Zhang Ping as their fox detector. At the cleanup squad base, Manny and Chen Luowei prepared to deploy the Heavenly Curtain on Cece's order. Inside, Shuji activated an energy array to launch a citywide barrier system. Manny and Chen Luowei synchronized, completing the Black Veil and Light Illusion modules. The trio jointly activated the mysterious Light Heavenly Curtain, and the city's sky instantly shifted. A colossal barrier engulfed Mingju City, turning it into a fully controlled battlefield. After working together, the cleanup squad finally revealed part of their secrets to Zhang Ping. They were Mingju City's most covert organization, surfacing only during disasters. Their job: quietly purge threats before they snowball into catastrophes. Manny led the barrier team with her Black Veil ability, the very dark chamber Zhang Ping often visited. Suji handled energy supply with solar charge, while Lu Wei bent light for invisibility tricks. Combined, they could cast the mysterious Light Heavenly Curtain, dragging all beings below king level into a virtual battleground. On a street, 2 heavenly foxes disguised as women were scouting for prey. Minutes later, they sensed something seriously off in the atmosphere. When they noticed all civilians had vanished, they realized too late they'd walked into a trap. A terrifying golden beam slammed down on their location. Dodging the first strike, they recognized the attacker as the hunter who'd been killing their kin. They threatened to call reinforcements to force a retreat. Jinbo, hair spiked sky high, merely sneered, saying 2 level 25s were perfect warm-up material. Provoked, the foxes charged together to kill Jinbo. Jinbo punched the white-haired one straight in the face, sending it flying like a sandbag. Seeing its partner launched away, the other screamed and lunged recklessly. It aimed to shred Jinbo with its claws for revenge. But Jinbo grabbed its true body mid-invisibility like it was nothing. He snapped its arm and mocked that such skills were fine for ambushes, useless in a fair fight. The first fox recovered and rushed again, only to meet Jinbo's bored, mocking gaze. Seconds later, it too was tossed aside like a dodgeball. Jinbo leapt skyward and brought down a hammer-like kick on both. Beaten senseless, the foxes finally realized they'd been isolated from their clan and trapped. Jinbo gave them 0 comeback chance and finished them off cleanly. Watching from above, Zhang Ping couldn't help admiring the overwhelming display of power. Sai smiled and explained that was Jimbo, the combat team leader of the cleanup squad. Meanwhile, outside the barrier, plenty of heavenly foxes were still blending in as humans. Through her earpiece, Sai learned aberrant beasts beyond the city were gathering suspiciously for a riot. The leader ordered her to investigate and take Zhang Ping along for some live-fire training. Hearing that, Zhang Ping recalled Jusa spotting storm wolves gathering and suspected a link. Sai immediately took him out of the city, assuring the forge would be guarded. Soon they arrived at a barren wasteland outside town. As Zhang Ping stepped forward to explore, Sisi stopped him on the spot. She explained it was acid grass, whose fruit explodes into highly corrosive spray to spread seeds. After the lecture, Sai pointed at a nearby aberrant rabbit, his first opponent. Appraisal revealed a level 9 true water bullet rabbit that fires corrosive water from its ears. Zhang Ping chose to strike first, hurling a dagger before it could react. The rabbit's reflexes were insane. It dodged and bolted to widen the gap. Zhang Ping chased at full speed, priming a Ming fist. The rabbit perked its ears and fired long-range corrosive shots, halting his charge. The unexpected range forced Zhang Ping to dodge instead of close in. The rabbit even used the acid grass terrain, triggering natural traps while retreating. Dodging acid, Zhang Ping rapidly analyzed his prey's tactics. First conclusion, its senses were razor-sharp, making ambush nearly pointless. Second, it had ranged attacks and immunity to the surrounding acid. Third, it deliberately lured foes into the acid grass for terrain advantage. But Zhang Ping noticed the acid barely harmed him as much as expected. The rabbit kept spamming acid shots to push him back. Zhang Ping burned the incoming droplets away with flames. He realized acid feared heat, evaporating quickly upon contact with fire. With its ranged move countered, the rabbit angrily charged into melee. Zhang Ping felt the pressure. Small fry or not, level still mattered. They began exchanging rapid blows up close. One claw slashed toward Zhang Ping's shoulder, adding a corrosive effect. He realized the rabbit had fully switched to direct combat. To counter corrosion, he had to cloak himself in flames. But that drained energy fast, meaning the fight had to end soon. Zhang Ping devised a plan: set a fire trap instead of chasing. He attacked repeatedly, steering the rabbit along a calculated path. The real goal was herding it into a flame-encircled zone. Within moments, the rabbit was trapped inside a ring of fire. Just as Zhang Ping lunged to finish it, his fire energy ran dry and the rabbit slipped away. Instantly, he activated Devouring True Flame to absorb the remaining fire. After gathering enough energy, he coldly prepared the final strike. Zhang Ping hurled his dagger at the rabbit mid-leap. The blade pierced clean through, burning the rabbit to death on the spot. Though victorious, Zhang Ping was exhausted. The fight was tougher than expected. After the kill, all his attributes increased by 2 points. He realized stronger kills boost stats, though not necessarily rank. Meanwhile, Devouring True Flame advanced to mid-level, expanding its energy capacity. But during his break, a loud rumble echoed from afar. Turning back, he saw a whole pack of aberrant rabbits charging in for revenge, chills guaranteed. With no good options, Zhang Ping chose to run before being mobbed to death. The entire pack immediately unleashed a barrage of acid shots at him. At the critical moment, an ice wall erupted, blocking every attack. Recognizing the familiar element, Zhang Ping knew Sai had arrived. Sai raised her hand and unleashed a massive torrent, drowning the rabbit pack instantly. With a cold snap of her fingers, she activated her ice ability. The entire rabbit horde froze solid on the spot, leaving Zhang Ping utterly stunned. Sai frowned. She had barely left, yet an abnormal rabbit convention had formed. She instantly grew wary, sensing this wasn't over. Sure enough, many more burnt rabbits lurked nearby. Oddly, they ignored the duo and clustered around their rabbit king's corpse. Smelling something fishy, Sai switched straight into combat mode. She charged the remaining rabbits and began a ruthless cleanup. In moments, the entire pack was wiped out. Sissy guessed the secret lay inside the leader's body. She stepped forward and thawed the rabbit king to inspect it. Once the ice shattered, she searched for what had driven the pack mad. Inside, she found a strange orb called a solaring ring. Sai explained it was a tool of a mysterious faction, using scent to lure aberrant beasts. Low-level beasts would be irresistibly drawn to devour it. After swallowing it, they'd lose their minds and be forcibly tamed. Worse, it couldn't be digested, allowing continuous control of the host. Sai concluded recent beast riots were likely tied to this item. She decided to report to headquarters and continue Zhang Ping's training outside the city. Zhang Ping agreed. Seriously, things were clearly escalating. But in the distance, a black-clad figure had overheard everything. Sai detected him instantly and launched an attack. The tree he stood on was split in two, but the man had already vanished. A week later in a palace, the Heavenly Fox King gathered his entire clan to scheme. He declared humans had cracked their illusion arts, causing heavy fox casualties. So he ordered chaos to flush out the fox hunters. The Heavenly Foxes accepted the command and prepared to move. Meanwhile, over that week, Zhang Ping practically turned the forest into a rabbit graveyard. With Nightwalker at night, his hunting efficiency skyrocketed. In just 1 week, he reached level 6 and mastered the rabbit's combat habits. Step 1: neutralize their ranged attacks. Step 2: provoke them into reckless melee charges. Then burn the acid coating around their bodies. Using refined serpent scales as fuel made his flames last longer. Zhang Ping named the move Devouring True Flame Samadhi True Fire. After stockpiling enough fuel, he decided on a larger-scale hunt to level up. As predicted, he reached level 7 and all attributes rose again. But then a nearby rabbit corpse suddenly emitted strange black smoke. Though dead, the rabbit snapped its eyes open, putting Zhang Ping on edge. Zhang Ping immediately executed the revived rabbit with one decisive slash. Still, he frowned. Water bullet rabbits shouldn't have resurrection skills. Dissecting it, he found a peculiar crystal inside. He tried appraisal repeatedly, but the system kept failing. That alone told him this was no ordinary item. After many attempts, the name finally appeared: Dark Mist Essence. The description said it was power condensed from a creature called the Dark Mist Black Mountain Goat. Instantly, battle memories of that creature flooded Zhang Ping's mind. A lone Aberrant goat faced an entire pack of ferocious demon beasts. Outnumbered, it still charged without a hint of fear. The pack leader was a gigantic boar, yet the goat challenged it head-on. Knowing victory was slim, the goat suddenly dispersed into mist to evade attacks. It reappeared above the boar for a decisive strike. The boar reacted swiftly, clamping onto the goat's neck. But the goat willingly dissolved, letting itself be swallowed whole. Inside, the mist transformed into countless blades, shredding the boar from within. In the end, both perished in mutual destruction. Staring at the essence, Zhang Ping guessed it was like a rare gem, but had no clue how to activate it. The life and death memories hardened his resolve. He understood that being weaker than an ant meant he had no right to be picky about power. Gritting his teeth, Zhang Ping swallowed the terrifying essence whole. Instantly, agony tore through him like his brain was being shredded. In the pain, memories of Su Jingjio surfaced. From warm days together to the moment she was killed by heavenly foxes. Her voice echoed. No matter what, Zhang Ping had to keep living. In that memory, he swore he wouldn't die before wiping out every last fox. Then his status panel appeared, packed with dramatic changes. A new talent awakened Dark Mist Body, letting him control mist born from others' fear. Each mist point could form a mist entity with matching attack and defense. Even scarier, his growth rating jumped up by 3 stars. Zhang Ping laughed through tears at his newfound power. He told himself revenge for Su Jingjie was coming soon. Just then, a passing group called out to him, but he turned with a devilish gaze. They fled in terror, and his mist energy spiked from their fear. Zhang Ping realized he could absorb others' fear to fuel his mist. The mist could morph shape according to his will. In seconds, it shifted from claws into a blade. He spent 1 mist point to launch a slash. The strike cleaved a tree clean in half. Power confirmed. Seeing it as a trump card against heightier aberrations, Zhang Ping resolved to grow stronger. Recalling the mist aberration he'd encountered, Zhang Ping told Sisai everything, sensing deeper trouble. Hearing he'd swallowed Dark Mist Essence, Sisai froze, knowing how dangerous it could be. She exploded in anger, scolding him for ingesting unknown stuff and nearly killing himself. Zhang Ping weakly argued he'd used appraisal first, even thinking he could puke it out if needed. Sisi crushed that Navi idea. If it were a parasite, vomiting would be way too late. She explained Dark Mist was linked to a mysterious mist aberration few understood. It had no fixed form and parasitized other creatures. The beasts he saw were just puppets. When a host died, it hid in the organs, waiting to infect the next victim. Worse, it could control hosts, making Zhang Ping realize his earlier pain wasn't simple. He guessed swallowing the essence triggered a battle for control inside him, hence the agony. Sai suspected Zhang Ping was special, perhaps something scarier in him destroyed the parasite. But she coldly warned that if he showed abnormal signs, she'd cut him down herself. As tension peaked, a spider dangled down, almost mockingly stirring trouble. The moment Cece saw it, she lost all composure, screaming in panic. Instant comedy. She slashed wildly at the oversized black spider, which fled like an innocent bystander. Then Sisai clung to Zhang Ping for help, her icy persona completely forgotten. Zhang Ping burst out laughing, realizing she still feared bugs like when they were kids. Memories resurfaced of him proudly showing her a beetle he caught at the orphanage. One glimpse of the giant bug sent Sisai into chaos while young Zhang Ping grinned smugly. He eventually released it, and Cece complained, with so many kids there, why befriend insects? She promised that even after leaving the orphanage, she'd always be Zhang Ping's friend. The 2 kids pinky swore a vow etched deep in memory. Back to the present, Sisai realized she was hugging him and instantly switched gears. She shoved him away, froze the surrounding air, and coolly accused him of taking advantage. Then she sternly reminded him that in the wild, nothing is free, every strange item hides danger. Hearing her familiar scolding, Zhang Ping realized Sisai still cared about him just like before. Just then, Cisa's communication stone lit up urgent alert. After hearing the report, her expression darkened. Things were worse than expected. She announced the mission was over. Jinbo had been gravely injured by a heavenly fox. Calling for outside help risked alerting the enemy, so they had to return to Mingju City immediately. On the way, Sisai explained the outside world was overrun by aberrations, forcing humanity behind survival walls. Exploration teams had mapped only a fraction beyond the ocean lurked peak-level beasts no one dared face. The mysterious light heavenly curtain once kept the city stable until last night's incident. A mid-level heavenly fox nest appeared in Artisan Street, but it turned out to be a preset trap. The enemy leader struck personally, and Jinbo was injured, covering everyone's retreat. The captain ordered Sisai to assume temporary command to safeguard Mingju City. As Zhang Ping walked the street thinking things had calmed, a leaf suddenly froze midair. Time around him stopped, yet someone else could move, and called his name. A mysterious old man appeared. No matter how Zhang Ping appraised him, almost no data showed. The old man casually exposed Zhang Ping's appraisal attempt, even praising his infinite appraisal ability. Cold sweat dripped. This man even knew he'd forcibly pushed infinite appraisal. Sensing terrifying killing intent, Zhang Ping drew his dagger. This was no friendly visit. The old man asked lightly, "Do you need a reason to want strength?" clearly poking his hatred. At the mention of Su Jingjio, Zhang Ping snapped and lunged without hesitation. Eyes bloodshot, he slashed at the old man's throat, demanding he repeat himself. But mid-strike, the old man tore space, vanished, and reappeared behind him. Zhang Ping realized it was a rare space-time skill, instant repositioning, utterly overwhelming. He counterattacked desperately, but the old man caught his fist with ease and mocked his speed. Even suppressed, Zhang Ping stayed calm, making the old man suspect a hidden trick. Flames suddenly ignited behind Zhang Ping. His counter was ready. A fiery arm clamped onto the old man's arm, aiming to lock him down and turn the tide. But the old man's body blurred like a phantom. The attack passed through, trap sprung. Sure enough, the real old man stood far away, leisurely saying it was his turn. A blue beam shot at Zhang Ping. It was merely a water element clone attacking from afar. Then dozens more rained down, proving the old man was a complete monster. With no choice left, Zhang Ping activated his mist ability. He condensed a mist shield to block the incoming aqua strikes. The defense crumbled quickly under the massive power gap. Knowing he couldn't turtle up, Zhang Ping chose to attack and force an opening. He hurled dense mist forward to obscure the old man's vision. As the old man shifted, Zhang Ping used Nightwalker to launch a fierce sneak attack. The old man admitted Zhang Ping was clever but still far too weak. With a mere burst of aura, he blasted Zhang Ping away, praising his rarity at this level. Pinned by telekinesis, Zhang Ping bitterly admitted the opponent was outrageously overpowered. After fully dominating him, the old man released the pressure and told Zhang Ping to talk calmly. Realizing the man far surpassed Jinbo and CC, Zhang Ping guessed he might be the cleanup squad leader. They relocated elsewhere, and Zhang Ping respectfully asked how to address him. Though aware the cleanup squad had investigated him, Zhang Ping wanted to know the old man's purpose. The old man warned him not to overthink without first learning to block mind-raiding, raising Zhang Ping's guard even higher. The old man revealed Mingju City hadn't seen an infinite tier ability in 200 years, so he had to check it out. Zhang Ping was stunned, had thought peak tier was the ceiling. The old man explained infinite tier breaks talent limits, allowing endless new awakenings. He wanted to test whether Zhang Ping's copy ability could replicate his infinite talent. In exchange, he promised a gift and answers to all questions, an offer hard to refuse. He produced a golden treasure bracelet with spatial storage and ultra-rare awakened item. Realizing it was exactly what he needed, Zhang Ping's attitude flipped instantly. As requested, Zhang Ping extended his hand to begin copying. In the end, the old man admitted failure. Zhang Ping's power was too unique. Even derived talents couldn't be copied. Keeping his word, he gifted the golden treasure bracelet to Zhang Ping. But upon seeing memories of it being forged via human sacrifice, Zhang Ping demanded answers. The old man, Situ, said 200 years ago such gear required living sacrifices. He kept it, hoping someone worthy would redeem it. He recounted Mingju City's bloody past under the absolute rule of the beast-taming Zhu clan. Under the Zhu clan, citizens were futureless slaves whose lives meant nothing. Men labored day and night for scraps, just enough to keep serving. Beautiful women were seized as servants, toys for the clan's cruel heirs. Children were brainwashed young, taught to devote their lives to the Zhu clan. The elderly, once useless, were fed to the aberrant beasts the Zhu clan raised. Even awakeners weren't spared, enslaved as pawns or turned into crafting materials. That brutality brewed silent hatred across Mingju City. Eventually, heroes secretly united, preparing an uprising to topple the Zhu rule. Hearing this history, Zhang Ping began to grasp why Mingju City was so complicated. Still, he asked bluntly, if Situ was that strong, why not kill the Fox King outright? Situ sealed the sound and said the truth was more sensitive and more complex than imagined. He explained the investigation team hunted aberrations outside the city perimeter. Meanwhile, the cleanup squad handled infiltrating threats in the shadows. Most crucial was the divine artifact Sun Moon Bright Pearl, suppressing all beings within range to level 40. Thus, even a king tier aberration would drop to peak tier, and C2 was the strongest at that level. Zhang Ping instantly realized the issue. There had to be an insider in the city. C2 admitted that after the city lord vanished, only remnants of the Zhu clan knew how to forge the divine artifact. Zhang Ping clenched his teeth, suspecting they sabotaged defenses and released the heavenly foxes. C2 sighed. The Zhu remnants were like weeds, deeply rooted after a century. Questions flooded Zhang Ping's mind about the Zhu clan's true motives in the beast unrest. With the full conspiracy unclear, C2 had to act with extreme caution. Like a nuclear weapon in wartime, his power served as deterrence, not something to unleash lightly. After revealing everything, C2 stated plainly the cleanup squad needed someone like Zhang Ping. He directly invited him to join and protect Mingju City together. After a thoughtful silence, Zhang Ping realized this path led closer to the truth. He shook C2's hand and firmly agreed to join the cleanup squad. Meanwhile, at the Iron Soul Forge, Ji Min curiously asked why Jusei kept repairing gear nonstop. She chatted while working, muttering that Zhang Ping hadn't returned for days. Jusei teased her outright. Clearly, she missed her guy and couldn't focus lately. Though denying it, Jie Men still fretted that Zhang Pi might be in trouble outside the city. Jixei teased harder, turning her into a blushing bride and exposing her crush. GSA assured her that marked safe zones outside meant Zhang Pi was probably fine. She added that backward villages out there worship mutated beasts and hate outsiders with passion. If you meet those villages, run unless you fancy life as a slave or sacrifice. According to Jigsair, the real nightmare in the wild isn't mutated beasts, but those savage humans. As she was scaring her, Jie Men suddenly pointed behind them at a real shadowy figure. It was Zhang Ping in a mask, popping up just to spook them. Jigsair responded with a merciless kick, and Zhang Ping instantly paid for the prank. Sweating from the lethal blow, Zhang Ping pretended nothing had happened. He awkwardly praised Jigsei's vicious move, knowing another hit awaited and he slipped. Jessa pulled Jie-men back and demanded to know who the masked weirdo was. Zhang Ping removed the mask with a grin, saying he'd returned, and both sighed in relief. Even so, Jigsaw grabbed his neck and scolded him for playing ghost. Zhang Pingyi said he only heard them mention savages and wanted to spice things up, then got kicked. He explained training was over and had stayed in Miangji City to strengthen himself. Hearing that, Jigsaw said she'd found clues about Shan Shan and planned to investigate outside. She asked Zhang Ping to watch the forge, surprising him with the sudden trip. Jisa joked that unlike Jie-men, who missed him daily, she wasn't attached, making Jie-men blush crimson. Mortified, Jie-men hurried back to her room to avoid Zhang Pingyi. Yet at the door, she paused as if wanting to say more. In the end, she softly said his safe return truly meant a lot. That simple line made Zhang Ping feel home in this world for the first time. Just as he got emotional, Uncle Lute barged in and ruined the mood. He told Zhang Ping to claim he was gravely ill tomorrow so Jisa wouldn't leave the city. Seeing Zhang Ping confused, Uncle Lute tapped his head and admitted it was fake. He reasoned that since Shan Shan had been missing so long, she likely met a grim fate. Fearing Jigsei would risk her life searching, he chose this trick to keep her safe. Understanding this, Zhao Ping could only sigh at how much Uncle Lute bore. Uncle Li then decided to teach Zhao Ping the true flame forging art to boost his craft. He stressed it was the Lit family's secret technique, so Zhang Ping must take it seriously. Zhang Ping vowed not to disappoint him. Soon green smoke rose and a mysterious female voice echoed out. The voice called Zhang Ping's name, saying she was waiting. He instantly knew who it was. The name St. Jingjido echoed in his mind, shattering his calm. After that, Jigsaw stayed in the city while Uncle Lu secretly trained Zhang Pingyi. With the flame forging art, Zhang Ping refined his mist ability, making his skill form sharper and stronger. Meanwhile, Jie-men mastered the first 3 moves of the Flame King Fist. That night, Zhang Ping confirmed he truly heard Segjia's voice. The familiarity made him suspect she might not be dead. He quickly used a sound transmission stone to ask the cleanup squad if a Tiancheg fox was near the forge. But Elder Sti insisted the area was cleared, so that was impossible. This led Zhao Ping to suspect Esijengjido existed in another form, and he resolved to uncover the truth. 3 days later, a sneaky man broke into the house at night. He pried open the bedroom door with a crowbar and slipped inside. Seeing the girl asleep, he smirked, thinking his drug had worked. But as he moved, a sinister shadow and icy voice suddenly called his name. The shadow recited his twisted crimes of the past decade, terrifying him. Panicked, he fled, unsure if he'd met a human or a ghost. Zhang Ping controlled his mist into sharp needles, piercing the pervert's leg and blocking his escape. The mist behind him morphed into a demon-like shape, making him tremble and beg it not to come closer. The crushing fear knocked him out, wet pants included, while Zhao Ping kicked him in disappointment at his pathetic state. Retracting the mist, Zhang Ping figured his first cleanup squad mission was done. Using appraisal, he saw the man was an awakened with a drug talent tragically used for evil. The man's vile memories began flooding into Zhang Ping's mind. A mother once knelt begging for mercy, only to be kicked aside mercilessly. He then assaulted the girl before her mother and vowed to kill them both. And she wasn't the only one. Many girls had suffered under this monster. The brutal scenes etched into Zhang Ping's mind, igniting his fury. Just then, the criminal slowly regained consciousness, dazed. He lunged at Zhang Ping like a madman. Cackling, he claimed his drug could fell mutated beasts, so Zhang Ping was doomed. Zhang Ping stood unfazed, eyes cold as if staring at a corpse. The man panicked, clueless why the drug failed. In a flash, Zhang Ping's shadow sliced off his arm before he could react. Zhao Ping coldly said that strike was for the mothers who fought to protect their daughters. His gaze resembled a dark god judging sin. More blades fell, punishing him for the girls who chose death over submission. One cut honored a patrol member who died defending the city, another for a righteous scout who fell in duty, and one more for the nameless awakened who perished in the shadows. After the prolonged torment, the pervert lay barely breathing on the floor. Zhang Ping said if he could walk out that door himself, he'd spare him. In truth, it was a cruel game offering hope just to crush it. Zhao Ping even amped up the pressure so he'd believe it was his final lifeline. The pervert crazily crawled toward the door, eyes desperate to live. As he crawled, he swore revenge on Zhang Ping if he survived. He even screamed there were plenty of women left to abuse so he couldn't die. At last, he neared the so-called door of life. Trembling, he reached out just one push from escaping hell. Yet the tiny gap felt endless, and he pounded the door in despair. Following the blood trail, Zhao Ping said that door would never open for him in this lifetime. He declared the man had squandered his last chance. The pervert howled in despair, realizing it was all a game. Zhao Ping then ended him, cutting short a life steeped in sin. The system announced that killing a higher-level foe boosted all of Zhao Ping's attributes. Just then, he overheard secret voices saying today's target at Atnali Academy must be taken away. Elder C ordered Zhao Ping to scout immediately but absolutely not act rashly. Taking the order, Zhao Ping dashed toward Nai Academy. The white-haired leader fumed after 15 fruitless minutes searching for Chan Xuelo. A short man reported someone had entered the barrier, putting everyone on alert. The fat one panicked, but the leader insisted the true Dragon Stone and Lantern Ward kept them hidden. Still, he worried that if the intruder met the target, their kidnapping plan would collapse. Pressed for time, he ordered them to find Chen Xiao immediately. Meanwhile, Zhang Ping quietly reached the building they occupied. he noticed a strange black dragon coiling around a utility pole. Appraisal revealed it was an epic-grade true dragon stone used to erect a powerful anti-combat barrier. Seeing an epic item made Zhou Ping realize his foes were no small fry. Crafting memories surfaced, showing the true dragon stone required live human sacrifices. The revelation sent chills down his spine. Such evil relics were long banned. Judging their methods, he suspected they were remnants of the Zhou clan. The same clan that lured the teeming fox and sparked mutated beast riots outside the city. Zhang Piying chose to keep watching, certain this move would reveal their true agenda. Hearing movement, Zhong Png instantly used Nightwalker's stealth to vanish. Soon, the trio found their target and prepared to leave the building. The white-haired leader checked the barrier and confirmed the intruder wasn't inside. He ordered the shadow lantern turned off to save energy for emergencies. He also retrieved the true dragon stone to erase all traces. Zhang Piying seized the moment to appraise them and report via the sound transmission stone. He discovered the shadow lantern could completely conceal aura and evidence, but its energy was nearly drained, forcing them to retreat quickly. Appraisal showed the target, Jun Zhentengji, possessed the rare Holy Mother's blood talent. This ability could turn living beings into fanatics, making her a strategic goldmine. Realizing the Zhou clan wanted to exploit her, Zhang Piying swore to stop them. When he rushed out, they had vanished, so he contacted Manny via transmission. Manny confirmed they were fleeing outside the city, too fast for SCs to catch. Elder Se immediately warned Zhang Pi to prioritize his own safety. Still, Zhang Piying chose to intercept and buy time for reinforcements. In the forest beyond the city, the three hurried along. Suddenly, the white-haired man sensed something odd in the bushes. A mist wolf burst out, blocking their path. It was Zhao Piying using mist shapeshifting as camouflage. Thanks to the flame-forging art, the disguise was flawless, though he feared high-level appraisal. The white-haired man immediately tried to appraise the wolf's level. Zhang Ping fired mist spikes to interrupt the scan before exposure. Then he charged straight at the leader to break their formation. The fat man used hypnosis, locking eyes with the wolf. Zhao Ping pretended to be affected. His infinite spirit made him immune anyway. Closing in, he bit hard into the fat man's shoulder, making him scream for help. The white-haired leader angrily struck, blasting Zhang Peng away to save his ally. After killing the fat one, Zhang Ping's stats rose and his contract gem reached level 6, boosting his power. The remaining thin man retaliated with super-gravity telekinesis. Crushing force like 1,000 pounds slammed onto Zhang Ping. Even the mist wolves were pinned flat, unable to move. The white-haired leader appraised him and found he was only a level 9 cleanup rookie. Seeing this, he sneered, thinking Zhang Pi was just playing reckless hero. Zhao Ping stayed calm, searching for a way to break the gravity field. The white-haired man drew an epic golden bow, escalating the danger. One arrow shattered Zhao Ping's defensive mist shadow instantly. Even suppressed, he manipulated mist to counterattack and stall for time. Mid-fight, he noticed the telekinetic wasn't attacking directly. The white-haired leader sidestepped and fired another arrow. Zhao Ping used mist shadows to cushion the blow and avoid instant defeat. The leader sneered, convinced Zhang Ping's energy would soon run dry. But Zhao Ping spotted a weakness in the telekinesis. Seeing him pause, the white-haired man assumed victory was near. While blocking the next arrow, Zhang Ping decided to test a new move. Mist shadows transformed into a barrage of daggers flying at both enemies. It was a faint black bones underground had already locked them in place. Zhang Ping condensed a mist blade to finish the job. He lunged, stabbing straight into the telekinetic's abdomen. The thin man desperately triggered self-destructive telekinesis to break free. He yanked the blade out and laughed madly, thrilled to survive. The white-haired leader declared Zhang Ping out of energy and doomed. At that moment, Zhang Ping activated Devourer of Flames, igniting the battlefield. Enraged while burning, the thin man blasted Zhang Ping out of range. Simultaneously, the white-haired leader fired another lethal arrow. The arrow pierced Zhang Ping's chest, gravely wounding him. The thin man mocked him, boasting their clothes were fire-resistant. The two enemies prepared their finishing blow as Zhang Ping weakened. Zhang Ping muttered that the final moment had finally arrived. He admitted his real goal was simply to stall them. Right then, two water spears pierced the thin man, killing him instantly. The white-haired leader dodged in time and shot Zhang Ping's arm in retaliation. TT appeared with sword in hand and charged at him. Her blade clashed with the golden bow, forcing him back. Cornered, he decided to use his last trump card. A ring activated, summoning lightning to crash onto the battlefield. After the blast, TT shielded Zhang Ping, but the enemy escaped. As tension peaked, Manny's alert made TT drag Zhang back to the rendezvous. Bad news struck. The illusory radiant sky curtain shattered, meaning the city's vital shield was collapsing. From above, the Taincheng Fox King Lu Shixi silently observed, sensing something amiss. The Vice City Lord reported mutated beasts were assembled, awaiting Lu Shi's command. Suddenly, violent thunder struck. The abnormal lightning shattered the tense silence. The Vice City Lord realized it was Zhou Zhejian's myriad thunder summon in trouble, yet pretended it was natural thunder. Lu Xiagi pressed him, instincts of the Fox clan clearly on alert. Under that gaze, the Vice City Lord knelt, feigning fear of thunder to hide the truth. Lu Shiwai recalled the same sound from when that person vanished before his eyes. Back then, the target was gravely injured and should have died, yet something impossible occurred. After a single turn, the person vanished without a trace, baffling even a Fox King. He ruled out illusion techniques. Such human tricks were useless against foxes. Thus, he concluded something else was obscuring vision. Perhaps even Minenja City itself was a facade. Realizing this, he coldly saw events unfolding exactly as he had anticipated. Instantly, the Fox King unleashed his domain, phantom tails spreading like countless eyes scanning the city. Meanwhile, TT sensed the sky curtain truly dissolving. The crisis was out of control. Trembling, Zhang Pian pointed at the corpse, urging TT to use it as bait and retreat fast. At the same time, eyes on Lu Shi's tails swept every corner, missing nothing. After one scan, the final intel returned. He had found the target. In a corner of the city, a man in black carried the Saintess. While muttering, he nearly forgot the target. Lu Shi instantly noticed someone fleeing at night, chilling the Vice City Lord as the plan unraveled. Without delay, the Fox King shot off in pursuit, leaving the Vice City Lord calling out in despair. He knew it was beyond control. Nothing could stop the Fox King now. Elsewhere, urgent intelligence signals spread, reporting the night's operation had gone awry. News confirmed Zhao P, the mole in the city, had ruined the plan, and Hoen Ji-sen and Hoen Dreer were dead. Zhou Zhejian used Myriad Thunder Summon to call for aid, confirming the worst. Zhao P still lived. The white-haired elder ordered all blame set aside. The sole priority was evacuating the Saintess. Moments later, panic erupted as they discovered Lu Shibi had appeared. The remaining white-haired man frantically called for allies, met only with eerie silence. The Vice City Lord appeared coldly, declaring the plan shattered. Zhou Zhejian had been killed by the Fox King. Still, he insisted the Saintess lived, and was the only counter to the Tianchi Fox. If she wasn't taken to the City Lord's manor quickly, control over the Fox clan would vanish. The group raged. Losing the Saintess meant losing control of the Foxes. The Vice City Lord revealed his final card, a secret tunnel from the manor leading outside the city. He proposed guiding mutated beasts through it to sow chaos at the Fox clan's very heart. Amid the chaos at the City Lord's manor, he planned to sneak the Saintess out. A purple-haired man doubted it, noting UFUZ guarded the manor like a hawk. The Vice City Lord proposed a risky gambit: use sleeper agent Zhuangpi to lure UFUZ away. Strike Zhuangpiang's forge, and the cleanup squad plus UFONZ would rush over. While they're distracted, mutated beasts would storm the manor and catch the Fox clan off guard. The purple-haired man warned this meant war with the Tianjin Fox, but the Vice City Lord coldly said victory was the only option. The group finally agreed, acknowledging the ambitious Zhou bloodline heir before them. They chose to continue his grand play, betting everything on Zhou Zhejian to save the Saintess. Later, Zhang Piang woke to SS, anxiously calling him, fearing he was still in danger. Realizing he was at the cleanup base, he knew things had been dire enough to force retreat. Seeing Jan B injured nearby, he understood last night's battle was brutal. SESU revealed Jane B was gravely wounded by Lu Shui, proof the Fox King noticed them. Just then, XUJ entered and instantly noticed Zhang Piang's abnormal recovery speed. She bluntly demanded how he fought 3 foes 10 levels stronger and even killed one. Since a 5-level gap usually meant instant defeat, her question made things awkwardly sensitive. Zog Pien played dumb, claiming sheer luck, hiding his true abilities. XUJ cut the small talk and dragged him to a meeting to dissect the battle. Elsewhere, Manny drowned in paperwork while Lu Buli slept peacefully like the world wasn't burning. When Lu Bubly woke, Manny begged for help, desperate to escape report hell. Lu Buli promptly fell back asleep, sending Manny into exhausted fury. Manny lunged to smack him, but Lu Bubly dodged effortlessly, turning it into slapstick chaos. Elders T walked in to find the cleanup squad resembling a circus. He sighed, reminding them headquarters was understaffed, so patience was mandatory. Soon XUJ and Zhang Pien entered, and the emergency meeting began. Manny instantly clung to XJ for help with work, seeking his last sane ally. Elders T analyzed the big picture, suspecting the Zhou clan and T and Fox weren't truly allied. After all, the Zhou clan knew about the illusory radiant sky curtain, but hid it from the Fox clan, clearly skimming. They lacked strength to face the Fox King, so the girl from Hasai Nali Academy must be the key. XGJ added her identity: mysterious granddaughter of Chen Shael, dean of Hathaneli Academy. Oddly, Chen Shael had no wife or children, yet 40 years ago suddenly announced a granddaughter. Investigation showed Chen Jane T wasn't born in Miningji City but came from an outer village. Chen Shael had protected her obsessively for 40 years, barely letting anyone near. Even her citizen file was spotless, no recorded abilities whatsoever. Zhang Pi then revealed he knew her power from using appraisal. He disclosed its name, Holy Mother's Blood, shocking the entire room. Elder Stati immediately recalled the legend of Saint Ancestor village outside the city, though even he doubted it. As others hesitated, Zhang Pini prepared to explain the true danger of this ability. Meanwhile, at the manor, Lu Shiwagi had brought the Saintess back and imprisoned her in his lair. The girl casually ate pastries and even chatted, baffling the Fox King with her odd calmness. She offered him a pastry, saying sweets cheer you up, making the mood utterly surreal. Her innocence irritated Lu Shiya, who nearly killed her on the spot. But as his tendrils neared, her eyes glowed dangerously, making him freeze. She casually stuffed pastry into his mouth, and Lu Shigi was stunned. His body couldn't harm her at all. Worse, she actually felt shame for trying to attack the girl, an emotion she'd never known. Lu Shiagi grew deeply unsettled, realizing the child was subtly manipulating his emotions. He reassured himself he was flawless, so the anomaly had to lie with the human girl. Meanwhile, Jog Piang trained with SCSC, who noted his mist resembled the water element. Unlike water, however, his mist vanished once spent instead of cycling back. SCSC explained that if he could shift states like water, his ability would be far more versatile. Seeing him distracted, she barked at him to focus on the spar. She then blasted him flying to force a real combat reaction. Luckily, he cushioned the impact with mist and avoided instant defeat. SGS unleashed a blizzard to pressure him, while Jog Piing absorbed fear to replenish mist. Ice chunks rained down like hail, sending him scrambling for dear life. He soon realized the melting ice clung to him had fallen into a trap. SES closed in, warning that if opponents felt no fear, his mist would drain fast. His only option was a decisive finishing blow before running dry. John Pian burned mist into daggers, forcing SS to step back and assess. Not just one, countless daggers rained from above, flipping the tide. They even pierced her water barrier, genuinely surprising her. Zhang Ping thought it won, but SS calmly praised his overleveled damage. She speculated his mist might descend from a king-tier mutated beast. Still, she warned that in a real deathmatch, he'd already be dead. Suddenly, the water on him began boiling, making Zhang Ping cry out in pain. SCS seized the moment to stress that mastering every variation of one's power meant survival. Yet, while she lectured, Zhang Ping secretly morphed mist in his hand. He revealed a spider, instantly terrifying SCS. Losing composure, she attacked wildly. She was deathly afraid of spiders. Amid the chaos, some elemental water slipped straight into Zhang Ping's mouth. SES paled her water carried poison. Panicking, she grabbed his throat, trying to force him to spit it out. But his body suddenly went limp and uncontrollable. He began turning into water, clothes dropping to the floor. Extra watery arms even sprouted, making things weirder. Shocked, Zhang Ping quickly used appraisal on himself. The result, he had awakened a new talent, Aberrant Devourer. By ingesting a special item, he gained basic pure water body, granting physical resistance. He realized the level 6 gem had gifted him 2 new talents at once. Seeing him lick Fei, SES thought he was melting from poison. Zhao Ping reasoned that if water worked like mist, he should control it. His first try turned him into a puddle splattered on the ground. The second attempt reshaped him into a bizarre, twisted form. After many failures, he regained human shape, making SES blush. Just then, the sound transmission stone blared. Chi Hein Forge was under urgent attack. SES immediately ordered nearby reinforcements and prepared to rush over herself. Zhang Ping insisted on going, but SSI warned it could be a trap. He went anyway, having awakened pure water body. He could always escape as water. Unable to stop him, SAS took him along but demanded he stay glued to her. At the forge, they found black-clad assassins strewn everywhere. Clearly, a bloody battle had occurred. SES split the team to search survivors and set defenses against hidden threats. Zhang Ping rushed to find Uncle Lida Q-Men and Jigsaji. Soon, he found Jigsaji in miserable condition, struggling to call his name. Zhang Ping rushed over in panic to check Jigsaji's injuries. Weakly, Jigsaji pointed inside, saying Uncle Liv and Q-Men were gravely hurt. SCSS went in to assess them, leaving Zhao P to tend the wounded. As he bandaged Jigsaji, he discovered her arm had been severed. Even so, she gritted her teeth, saying one lost arm wasn't enough to kill her. The medical team soon arrived and evacuated all the injured. Seeing Q-Men merely unconscious and not dying, Zhang Ping finally exhaled in relief. Jigsaji warned the assassins were clearly targeting Zhang Ping. SES decided to move everyone to a safe house outside the city. Inside was too dangerous now. Zhang Ping suspected the Zhou clan was behind it, clearly out for his life. Just then, he heard Lu Shiyi's familiar voice tracing energy trails toward them. Without hesitation, the Fox King struck from above. Better kill wrongly than miss. Zhang Ping grabbed Sisai and dodged, barely escaping the ambush. Lu Shi eyed the water trail below, realizing these two were more interesting than expected. She was shocked Zhang Ping sensed her attack. They instantly understood the Fox King had been monitoring the entire city. Lu Xin clearly recognized Zhong Ping. SES charged a block, ordering Zhong Ping to retreat before it was too late. She unleashed a blizzard to stall him while Zhang Ping tried appraisal, but the distance was too great. Her attacks proved nearly useless, forcing her to unleash a killing move. Lu Shizui coldly concluded recent chaos indeed involved the cleanup squad. A spatial vortex suddenly formed behind S. The strike pierced her ice defense and blasted her back. The Fox King realized SCS predicted attacks by temperature shifts, not by seeing through illusions. She launched relentless assaults, pushing SCS toward despair. SCS spread freezing air to sense direction, but attacks came from everywhere. Zhang Ping shouted positions, guiding her to dodge each lethal strike. Working in sync, they weaved nonstop, causing every strike to miss. Lu Shi suspected Zhang Ping could see through Fox clan disguises. To confirm, she lashed a tentacle straight at him. After several failed hits, she confirmed he could indeed pierce their illusions. Zhao and Pien dodged while raising shadow barriers for Ceci, even taunting the Fox King to draw aggro. Enraged, Lu Shi unleashed thousands of tails, aiming to crush them in one blow. Zhao Ping's shield cracked as mist and stamina plummeted. He had seconds left. Above, Lu Shi sneered, their survival for even a second a miracle. With mist depleted, Zhang Ping despaired. Full power still couldn't match a Fox King. Suddenly, Elder Stee's clone appeared, shouting for Zhang Ping to hold on. He could create only one chance. Realizing it was the captain's clone, Zhang Ping knew he must gamble everything on this moment. Meanwhile, Lu Shishui kept bombarding, ready to shatter the last shield. Abruptly, swirling clouds bound the Fox King, stunning her. It was the first time she'd been restrained. Elder Sate roared for Zhang Ping to act now. Zhao and GPNG poured all strength into breaking the remaining shield to exploit the opening. He grabbed SCC's hand and pulled her out of the attack zone. Seizing the brief restraint, they fled desperately. Lu Xia ground her teeth in fury as her prey escaped before her eyes. With one swipe, she tore apart the clouds and broke free. Immediately, she ordered the entire Fox clan to hunt Zhang Ping at any cost. Later, Zhang Ping returned to the cleanup squad's safe room to assess the situation. At Jisaji's bedside, he explained Megusa City was now nearly under Fox clan control. Despite losing an arm, Jeeb Seiji thanked Zhao Piange for saving Uncle Li and Q Man. Zhang Ping swore to reclaim the forge, but for now everyone had to hide outside the city like Loki fugitives. Watching his back fade away, Sisai realized the kid had leveled up into a real man. Juct subtly warned Zhang Ping that someone was waiting for him outside. Meeting Sisi, Zhang Ping immediately asked what urgent quest she had for him. Him unconsciously calling her sister Sisai made the air awkward enough to slice. Sisi ignored the title drama and told Zhang Ping to follow her. She revealed his identity was exposed, so Mingju City was a no-go for now. Then she handed over the cleanup team's reward for his recent MVP performance. One glance at the vial and Zhang Ping knew it was rare golden blood. Sisai confirmed it was Jinba's golden blood, famous for healing and life extension. She warned that its power could be inherited, making him a walking target. Without hesitation, Zhang Ping chugged the golden blood, hoping his mutant devourer talent would pop a new skill. Sisai quickly asked if he felt any shiny new ability kicking in. At first, nothing seemed different, and both felt the disappointment creep in. Then blood dripped from his fingertip on its own plot twist activated. Zhang Ping instantly used appraisal to scan his updated status. The result, he awakened the pure blood body, able to turn blood into healing power. He realized the mutant devourer talent was terrifyingly OP, handing him rare skills nonstop. In this new state, Zhang Ping even spotted hidden injuries on Sisa's face. He explained the pure blood body could merge with others and heal any wound. Hearing that, Sisai immediately thought of restoring Just's lost arm. She wasted no time and dragged Zhang Ping off to test the healing on their teammate. While they were busy patching people up, the wilderness began stirring ominously. Mutant beasts in the wild went berserk, gathering in roaring hordes that shook the skies. At headquarters, Manny noticed Mr. C2 studying Saint Ancestor Village files and asked why. C2 explained that although the Zhou family was brutal now, they once saved humanity. During the Eastern Cold Catastrophe, Patriarch Zhou Qiang fused with the Solar Divine Crow to fight disaster. Each day he rose into the sky, radiating light and warmth to keep humanity alive. Zhou Qiang kept this miracle up for 10 years until he died of exhaustion. After his death, he was buried in the Sunset Mountain Range outside Mingju City. Those he saved stayed behind to guard his tomb in gratitude. Over generations, they formed a new settlement called Saint Ancestor Village. By tradition, every century the village births a saintess with blood that repels mutated beasts. Manny realized Chen Junting might be that saintess, and the Zhou family wanted her to control the Eternal Sky Fox. C2 found it suspicious that the saintess appeared in Mingju City so conveniently. If the village let her be captured on purpose, they'd have an excuse to wage war on the city. C2 recalled that 150 years ago, a tyrant city lord was hunted and exiled by the cleanup team. That same woman later became the leader of Saint Ancestor Village. She might have been biding her time for years to retake Mingju City. Meanwhile, the safety team built multiple secret shelters in the wild for emergencies. Inside one shelter, Sisi sensed the disturbance outside and chose to investigate. If this hideout were exposed, all the injured inside would be doomed. At that moment, Zhang Ping rejoiced as he finally reactivated the drain lantern device. Sisi was shocked since the lamp had been out of juice forever. Zhang Ping explained he tried charging it with his own energy instead of wasting it. He experimented with various abilities to power up the lamp. From real flame user to pure water body and even pure blood body, all failed miserably. Only when he used the nether mist body did the lamp finally respond. Infused with mist, the lantern reignited and worked even better than before. Zhang Ping placed the lamp in the room to conceal the shelter of Qi Min and Zhu Cti. Thanks to that, the two could leave the safe room with peace of mind to scout outside. Outside, mutant beasts stampeded like buffalo fleeing something scarier. From above, Zhang Ping and Cece saw an absurd number of mutated beasts. Sisai reported to HQ that roughly 10,000 were charging toward Mingju City. Zhang Ping realized they weren't attacking, they were running for their lives. Looking farther, they saw a crimson horizon and another army advancing. It was about 50,000 living corpses, stretching like an endless tide. Hearing this, Mr. Situ concluded Mingju City faced 3 threats at once. With current manpower, the cleanup team couldn't handle all of them together. After calculating, he chose to restart the Heavenly Curtain despite low energy. The plan was to project a warning on the Heavenly Curtain and rally all awakened citizens. Soon, 4 blazing words appeared in the sky: living corpse assault. Saitu ordered Zhang Ping and Sisai to stall the mutant beasts outside to buy time. Vice City Lord Zhou Ziming believed the Forge raid succeeded and moved to Phase 2. He used a sound transmission stone reporting Yu Fangzi was absent and action could proceed. Bad news came back: the beast horde lost control after a living corpse army appeared. Zhou Ziming raged, demanding it be fixed or everyone would die with the plan. Realizing allies were useless, he decided to find the Saintess himself and prepare to retreat. Just then, Patrol Team 1 led by Lin Qi suddenly appeared, startling him. Zhou Ziming feigned calm and questioned them, but they coldly marched inside. Their odd behavior made him suspect something was very wrong. Soon, the patrol directly opened the doors to the inner hall. Inside, a bizarre decadent party was in full swing. At its center was Chen Junning, the Saintess, supposedly taken by the Eternal Sky Fox. Lin Qi snapped sober mid-drink, confused about why he was even there. After a moment, he remembered his real mission was to capture Zhang Ping. Chen Junting thought he came to party and dragged him into the fun. As she wiped wine from his clothes, Lin Qi felt a pressure like royal bloodline might. He instantly knelt and addressed her as Saintess. Chen Junting was baffled. She just wanted friends, not worshippers. She pulled him up and invited him to dance like normal buddies. Zhou Zaming secretly analyzed that the Saintess was unconsciously controlling everyone. He suspected most of the patrol had been replaced or manipulated by the Fox clan. Seeing her value, he decided to win the Saintess over. He pretended friendliness, asking if she was enjoying herself to lure her away. Zhou Zaming tried coaxing her elsewhere for more fun, aiming to isolate her. But Chen Junting brushed his hand off since she didn't know him. She even questioned how he knew her name. Instantly, everyone in the hall turned to stare at Zhou Zaming. Outside the city, Zhang Ping and Cici fought desperately against the massive beast horde. Zhang Ping drew the beasts in one direction and shouted for Cici to freeze them. A single icy strike froze a huge batch of mutant beasts solid, but their overwhelming numbers kept the tide surging forward. Cici realized if this dragged on, they'd be drowned. Zhang Ping decided to charge out alone to block the horde. He summoned numerous mist monsters behind him to intimidate them. Their fear kept feeding him nether mist, making him stronger the longer he fought. From the mist, Zhang Ping forged a gigantic dragon. He roared that a mutant beast king stood before them, pushing them into panic. Zhang Ping dove into melee, farming nether mist and experience like crazy. Some intelligent beasts ordered a formation split to counter-encircle him. After chaotic fighting, the horde finally broke and fled. Cici immediately chased down the stragglers to clear the field. Surrounded by monsters, Zhang Ping even wished for a kill counter until Cici warned a fresh wave was coming. Just as pressure peaked, twin water and fire blasts struck together proof the puppet master wasn't some rookie. A closer look showed these corpses weren't just biters, they cast spells, shattering Zhang Ping's worldview. He appraised them and found they were level 6 insectoid living corpses from Saint Ancestor Village, meaning big trouble backstage. His dragon got swarmed, but Zhang Ping fixated on that faction name, smelling a larger conspiracy. Knowing time meant doom, he roared and unleashed power, blasting the corpses away before his mist ran dry. Cici dove in too, fighting while warning Zhang Ping to keep distance unless he fancied a zombie hug. He coated himself in water and formed a giant water hand, sweeping the field and grabbing several corpses. Lifting them skyward, Zhang Ping compressed fire into his palm and roasted them purely for science. The burning corpses became flaming projectiles, clearing mobs and boosting his fire attribute nicely. On the other side, Cici carved through insect corpses with her ice sword like sashimi on sale. Suddenly, a giant maggot wielding a mace roared and charged her. Clearly a beefier variant had spawned. Before it could flex, Zhang Ping's dragon crushed it, and his smug comment nearly set Cici off. After wiping nearly 1,000 in Wave 1, Zhang Ping predicted Wave 2 in half an hour. They questioned how corpses still used abilities, likely they were awakened before death. Mr. Situ confirmed the Zhou clan revered beast taming and wouldn't use corpses, so another faction was guilty. All clues pointed back to Saint Ancestor Village, matching Zhang Ping's earlier appraisal. Hearing the name, Cece's face darkened. Her past encounter with a woman from that village was not pleasant. Mid-discussion, toxic green smoke crept in, and Cece urgently told Zhang Ping to hold his breath. Smelling rotten eggs, Zhang Ping recognized highly flammable H2S from past rescue missions. Remembering it explodes on contact with fire, he realized it could be their counter-weapon. Skipping explanations, he stepped forward and told Sisu to back off. He was about to try something risky. He sparked a tiny flame on his fingertip, small but enough to trigger chaos. The toxic gas ignited, expanded violently, and erupted into a massive battlefield explosion. Luckily, Cici raised a water shield in time and avoided the blast. Zhang Ping, meanwhile, absorbed the raging firepower, growing even stronger. But in the distance, a full undead legion advanced, meaning the real fight had just begun. Leading them was a hooded old man radiating sinister energy, and every appraisal Zhang Ping tried failed. The old man sneered these two dared ruin his corpse poison, so now they had his attention. Realizing direct appraisal was hopeless, Zhang Ping switched tactics and scanned the surrounding horde instead. His appraisal skill spammed nonstop, harvesting data from the incoming undead storm. After nearly 17,000 scans, it leveled up into strategic appraisal with greater range and success rate. He finally saw the old man's identity: Zuo Zhangming, level 39 insectoid living corpse, wielder of contagious corpse poison. Too lazy to act personally, Zhu Jiangming ordered a green corpse to capture the two alive at all costs. Hearing level 39, Zhang Ping asked about fallen ones and realized this was no average boss. Sai Sai explained that weak minds get devoured by their powers, turning awakened into slaves of their own abilities. Such fallen ones are monstrously strong, meaning this time they'd met a true nightmare. While they spoke, the undead swarm closed in, making battle inevitable. Zhang Ping forged mist into a sword and charged into the horde. Better strike first than be swallowed whole. The green corpse leader charged in, roaring, clashing head-in with CC to kick off round 2. Mid-fight, CC sent a voice transmission to HQ. This enemy was way above DI level. She reported a fallen one riding a giant living corpse, leading an army toward Mingzhu City's north. Meanwhile, Zhang Ping appraised the green living corpse level 29, leagues above the fodder. Knowing the head must be controlled, Zhang Ping condensed nether mist into his hand to bind it. He fired energy chains to lock the green corpse in place. The beast bucked like a mad bull and shattered the chain's strength wildly beyond expectations. Zhang Ping realized this one wasn't in the same league. Stubborn defense would be suicidal. Just then, a ferocious roar erupted from Mingzhu City. They both knew things were worsening. The The sound from inside suggested the enemy had breached the defenses. Indeed, at the north gate, mutant beasts and living corpses flooded in like a tidal wave. Blocking them stood a muscular man, fists clenched, ready for war. One punch crushed several beasts, clearly the gate's ace defender. He declared himself Beast King Fist Hall Master Wang Fulai Xian and swore none would pass. With other awakened, they charged. Retreat meant the city's doom. Chaos erupted as beasts and living corpses clashed before the gate. Among them, a distinct living corpse surged forward, drawing instant vigilance. The brown-haired elder intercepted it, sensing its combat style wasn't mindless. A few exchanges left his arm bleeding, and trembling the monster was terrifyingly strong. The corpse unleashed combo punches like a seasoned martial artist. Recognizing the familiar form, he gasped it was Beast King Fist Monkey King style. The corpse muttered foolish junior brother, and Lai Shun froze at the familiar voice. Roaring, Lai Xian grabbed its shoulders and yanked it off the ground. He headbutted it skyward and smashed it down with monstrous force. The impact thundered, yet the battle wasn't over. A token fell loose. Lai Xian picked it up, feeling deja vu. The name Lin Banshee carved on it stunned him. It was his senior brother's token. Knowing the fist style and token, he realized the corpse was his missing senior brother. As it attacked again, Lai Xian recalled his brother vanishing while probing disappearances years ago. To meet again like this turned into a puppet was cruel fate. They fought fiercely like reenacting their old training bouts. Lai Xian painfully accepted only the shell remained. His true brother was gone. Memories of youthful training flashed through his mind. Though their master favored others, his senior brother had always patiently taught him. Seeing the distorted fist technique now, he knew someone was defiling it. Enraged, Lai Xian blasted the corpse back and roared for the culprit who desecrated Beast King Fist. He tore off his shirt, revealing a blazing red mark, vowing to find the mastermind. He activated the Scarlet Emperor Undying Body, turning into a Crimson War God. His temperature, stamina, and speed exploded. He became a battle monster. Without hesitation, Lai Xian charged his brother's corpse at terrifying speed. He clenched his fist and drove it into the corpse's chest with ultimate resolve. The corpse rasped that junior brother was strong, proof a final shred of awareness lingered. Struck decisively, it collapsed in ruin. The brothers' battle ended in tragedy. Lai Xian turned away, murmuring for his brother to rest, though his fury still burned. From afar, the sinister old man coldly lamented his ruined artwork and vowed to remake Lai Xian as the replacement. Hearing that vile voice, Lai Xian spun around to find the mastermind of this tragedy. He roared, demanding who dared turn his senior brother into a living corpse puppet. The sinister old man calmly admitted it, an endless undead army stretching behind him like mockery. Amid the chaos, HQ summarized the Zhou clan's schemes and the forces behind them. The Forge plan succeeded. Yu Fangzi was lured out and now frantically hunting Zhang Ping. Releasing mutant beasts into the city lord's manor failed, and the corpse tide lost its beast supply. The Saintess kidnapping also failed, as the Eternal Sky Fox had gathered to guard the area. HQ suspected the Zhou clan wanted to use the Saintess to control the Eternal Sky Fox and rule Mingju. New clues, however, tied the corpse tide directly to Saint Ancestor Village. Mingju City activated its grand defensive array and alerted citizens of the living corpse assault. The first tide hit the north gate, spreading west and east. The south was shielded by mountains. At the north gate, Beast King Fist Hall and many awakened formed the last defensive line. Far away in Saint Ancestor Village, followers gathered under a mysterious woman. A subordinate knelt, reporting all forces assembled, awaiting the cult leader's command. She ordered living corpses to sow chaos, loot supplies, and spread their faith and wrote. But once the Zhao brothers secured the Saintess, everyone must retreat immediately. A subordinate worried about the king-level beast in the city ruining everything. The cult leader calmly said the fox had long awakened and was merely waiting for the right moment. As long as the Saintess influenced the Eternal Sky Fox, the Beast King wouldn't act rashly. Their true concern was the mysterious cleanup team guarding Mingzhou. Thus, she arranged for an insider to open the gates and maximize internal chaos. Once chaos peaked, the cleanup team would be forced to activate the Sun Moon Pearl to purge anomalies. That would expose the cleanup team and strip their secret advantage. When the cleanup team and the Fox King crippled each other, Saint Ancestor Village would seize Mingzhou. The city would fall into their hands with minimal effort. Still, a subordinate feared the Zhou clan might also covet the Saintess and ruin the plan. The cult leader believed the Zhou clan couldn't persuade her, hence sending the Zhao brothers instead. Their holy disciple bloodline allowed direct communion with the Saintess, boosting success odds. Even if the Zhou clan used force, it wouldn't be easy to snatch her. The Zhao brothers' strength wasn't something those fools could handle. Orders given, the cult leader led her followers away to prepare the next move. Back at the battlefield, Zhang Ping and CC still fought desperately against waves of corpses and beasts. The sheer numbers made Zhang Ping realize prolonged battle meant inevitable exhaustion. Suddenly, a blade-wielding living corpse broke formation and charged at Sisai. Zhang Ping rushed to help but was blocked by other corpses. As the blade was about to fall, an iron shield appeared and blocked it, saving CC. A fat man in armor roared that his shield wasn't for decoration as he braced the strike. Recognizing the familiar chubby figure, CC knew her savior was Zhang Shaozong. Meanwhile, surging sword Qi shredded the corpses around Zhang Ping. Reinforcements had arrived. A seemingly frail girl kicked living corpses away with flawless precision, flipping the tide. She was Chen Shuji, apologizing for being late while fighting with ruthless efficiency. The axe-wielding corpse tried to attack again but faced incoming sword Qi. A blast rang out as the sword Qi knocked it flying, breaking its momentum. The swordsman was Chen Ming, who casually asked if everyone had adjusted to his combat rhythm. Chen Ming's sword Q kept raining down, trying to pin the green living corpse in place. But everyone soon realized physical attacks barely scratched this monster. Zhang Ping stepped up, claiming he'd figured out how to kill the muscle-bound corpse. He asked Chen Ming to stall it briefly. He needed a clean opening for the Dali Isher. Catching on, Chen Ming pressed in with relentless sword strikes to lock it down. Zhang Ping circled behind, recalling the fallen one used corpse poison to control them, so that had to be the weak spot. He hurled a specially made device onto its back to sabotage the poison source inside. Then he condensed mist into a warhammer and roared out red serpent scale. The hammer crashed like thunder into its back, driving deep into its body. With the trap set internally, Zhang Ping prepared the final blow. He ignited roaring flames and slammed a heaven-shaking punch into the breach. Fire erupted from within, blasting the green corpse away and punching a hole through its back. Chen Shuji stretched and said that wrapped it up, but everyone knew it was just one ripple in a storm. Zhang Ping warned the real danger had already infiltrated Mingju City. He noted many injured remained in Safe House Soda 4, and their concealment prop wouldn't last forever. Chen Ming's group chose to stay and handle evacuations, having seen Zhang Ping's combat chops. Chen Ming urged him to return to the city at once. The inner battlefield was worse. Zhang Ping didn't hesitate and left immediately. Chen Ming also told Sisai to head back with him. They had this front covered. Sisai ran after Zhang Ping, telling him to wait as they rushed toward the city together. Meanwhile, at the south gate, defenders still struggled against swarming living corpses. Lai Xian had to activate both Scarlet Emperor Undying Body and Super Speed Regeneration to fight and heal simultaneously. Baidi entered Berserk Wolf form, rampaging to protect the line. Suddenly, a blast of firepower struck near the corpses beside Baidi. Lai Xian roared, challenging the sinister old man to use every trick if he dared. The old man coldly said his corpse poison was supreme, recently only disrupted by some fire user. Before he finished, Lai Xian charged, vengeance for his senior brother burning hot. His fist smashed toward the old man, aiming to end it instantly. He followed with a storm of punches, blood splattering across the field. Yet, just as he thought the leader dead, the corpses kept attacking wildly. The old man suddenly sprang up and punched Lai Xian's gut very much alive. Sneering, he revealed he'd injected corpse poison into Lai Xian. Once it spread, had become the next puppet. Lai Xian couldn't believe he'd been poisoned, but new delay meant the North Gate's fall. He activated Scarlet Emperor Undying Body Level 2, body heat soaring past 1,000 degrees to burn the toxin. The old man chuckled. Self-immolation detox was doomed to fail. He explained the burnt poison was the lowest tier. His true control toxin was far more complex. The strongest corpses carried layered poisons, making them near immortal under his command. On his order, the green corpse near Chen Ming suddenly went berserk and charged back in. Simultaneously, all corpses around Lai Xian were agitated, swarming him in a frenzy. Cornered, Lai Xian roared that he would kill the mastermind no matter what. The old man laughed louder, telling him to reunite with his senior brother in death. Realizing time was short before the poison spread fully, Lai Xian chose a swift resolution. He charged fist-to-fist against the old man's monstrous mount to break the encirclement. Despite heavy injuries, he knocked the giant beast back. Seeing his hand blackened by poison, Lai Xian knew it was spreading fast. Before he could steady himself, more living corpses closed in to attack. Fighting on, he understood that if this dragged out, he too would become one of them. The thought of the North Gate falling drove Lai Xian into despair. Mingju would be devoured whole. Just as his spirit waned, a sky-splitting shout echoed from afar. Zhang Ping and Sisai arrived in time after hearing the hall master was surrounded. They plunged into the living corpses, carving a path toward Lai Xian. Poison fog and daze, Lai Xian barely saw two figures breaking the siege. Sisai slashed forward, yelling for him to hold on. Hearing that, Lai Xian gambled everything to clear a path for them. He unleashed Beast King Fist, sweeping away a huge swath of corpses. Reaching Zhang Ping, he urged the boy to leave this place was death. Zhang Ping refused, saying he came to heal him first. Using pure blood body, he treated the poison wound, stunning Lai Xian. Zhang Ping reassured him this was his special therapy, no panic needed. In moments, the surface wounds closed and Lai Xian's stamina rebounded. Still, Zhang Ping admitted the corpse poison was complex, he could only slow its spread. Lai Xian was satisfied. A little time was all he needed to finish this. He asked Zhang Ping to stabilize the poison while he killed the mastermind. Zhang Ping appraised him and discovered Scarlet Emperor Undying Body had a terrifying ultimate form. But facing a fallen one meant the fight was still deadly. Lai Xian erupted with fire aura, blasting corpses away to clear his charge. His body temperature soared to 3,000 degrees, power and speed skyrocketed. He pierced through the corpse sea like a blazing red spear toward the sinister old man. Upon closing in, Lai Xian threw a punch carrying all his accumulated might. Zhang Ping warned the old man's life was linked to nearby corpses, they had to be wiped out. Lai Xian immediately incinerated the area, burning hordes to sever the link. To raise the heat further, he swallowed all red serpent scales Zhang Ping gave him, preparing to detonate his power. Seeing the surge, Zhang Ping laughed. Now this was a true flame user. The surrounding corpses went berserk, charging him, basically volunteering for cremation. With one aura burst, nearby corpses were blown away like trash. Sisai and the martial artists were stunned. It was their first time seeing the Hall Master's peak form. Baidi grew excited when Lai Xian unleashed this. The end was near. This was Scarlet Emperor Undying Body Sunflame form, 6,000 degrees that incinerated all toxins. The power was monstrous but taxing, so Lai Xian relied on Zhang Ping's constant healing support. he ordered everyone to retreat. The battlefield was about to become a sea of fire. Obeying, all martial artists withdrew into the city to avoid friendly fire. The sinister old man froze Laishan's internal poison was completely gone. Furious, he commanded all corpses to capture Laishan alive at any cost. Instantly, the corpse ocean surged like a flood. Laishan exhaled a stream of white flame, halting the entire charge. The white fire rolled like a tide, burning layer after layer of corpses. In moments, the surrounding area was reduced to ash. Watching this, Sisai realized Laishan ranked among the top 3 strongest shed ever known. Suddenly, a messenger arrived with grim news. The other 2 fist halls had betrayed them, and east and west gates had fallen. Laishan was stunned. Ao Donghai and Wu Ruoyu betraying Mingju was unthinkable. The sinister old man laughed. Mingju's collapse had begun. He retreated on his demonic beast, declaring Laishan won today, but next time would be to the death. Laishan ordered all forces back into the city. The main battlefield had shifted inside. He told Zhang Ping to go as well. The poison was handled, and the city needed him more. Inside, mutated beasts rampaged, civilians fleeing in panic. From above, Huang Ziming watched the chaos and laughed. This was exactly the effect he wanted. He declares Minju must pay for losing the Zhu clan with a nice serving of chaos. He then asks his minion how the mutant beast takeover is progressing. The underling reports about 1,000 mutant beasts are inside the city and fully under control. Huang Ziming immediately orders them to rush the city lord's mansion ASAP. He explains Chen Junding hasn't fully awakened, so her mind is basically in toddler mode. In that state, she subconsciously commands every beast nearby like a clueless queen. If too many mutant beasts swarm her, her power will overload and wreck the mansion. Meanwhile, Chen Junding is happily playing with a Sky Constant Fox, blissfully unaware of doom. She looks around in shock as Sky Constant Foxes suddenly pop up everywhere. Staring at a strange fox, she innocently asks what on earth it is. The entire scene is being live-streamed in Huang Ziming's watchful eyes. He realizes the plan is working as the beast surge starts scrambling her control. Chen Junding steps into the corridor, confused by the growing crowd of Sky Constant Foxes outside. The chaos makes her scream as her powers spiral out of control. Elsewhere, Zhang Ping appears just in time to muzzle a mutant beast attacking a little girl. He swiftly kills it and angrily curses the beasts, trashing the city. The girl's mother trembles her thanks and flees, while Zhang Ping and Sisai urge everyone to clear the danger zone. Zhang Ping eyes the residential area ahead, knowing one more push means catastrophe. Sisai uses a sound transmission stone to order cleanup teams to form a defense line and evacuate civilians. Facing a sea of mutant beasts, she worries defending might level the neighborhood behind them. Zhang Ping insists on holding the line. Every second bot saves more lives. Suddenly, the Sky Constant Foxes howl in unison, making the mutant horde freeze mid-charge. Reports come in that mutant beasts elsewhere have also abruptly stopped moving. At the city lord's mansion, Chen Junding suddenly loses control and floats into the air, stunning Huang Ziming. In a blink, he realizes things just turned extremely dangerous. A bizarre fragrance spreads from Chen Junding's body, quickly blanketing the area. His subordinates panic, reporting all mutant beasts in the city have broken free from control. Huang Ziming realizes the Holy Mother's blood within her may have fully awakened. Chen Junding innocently leaps out the window, flying down toward the beasts that caught her interest. Knowing his target is escaping, Huang Ziming immediately gives chase with his men. Midway, he senses a terrifying pressure only a king-tier beast could emit. He instantly suspects the Moon King of the Sky Constant Foxes has awakened. If that happened ahead of schedule, his whole plan just became a death trap. He orders his men to keep chasing Chen Junding while he tactically retreats. Deep down, he knows if the Sky Constant Fox King is truly awake, showing his face now equals suicide. At the south gate, Baidi organizes disciples into squads to wipe out remaining living corpses. Lai Xian says Zhang Ping has healed most of his wounds, so a short rest will have him battle ready. Baidi smashes a rock in fury, hating the 2 traitorous martial halls more than mutant beasts. Lai Xian calmly orders the battlefield cleared before rushing back to reinforce the city. Just then, disciples spot a large group of fake awakened approaching from the north. A closer look reveals the blazing Sun Fist Hall, instantly thickening the tension. The uniformed members quickly form ranks under their leader's command. Lai Xian grits his teeth and calls out Wu Ruoyu, knowing the traitor has arrived. He orders preparations for battle, as blazing Sunfist Hall abandoned the west gate. Lai Xian demands to know why Wu Ruoyu betrayed Mingju City. Wu Ruoyu laughs loudly, asking if Lai Xian has ever considered changing humanity's fate. He points at the burning city, telling Lai Xian to face reality. According to him, Mingju is merely dragging out a fragile existence while countless die each year. He believes forging a true human king will flip the entire game board. A king born from sacred ancestor village will stop humanity from being beast chow. Lai Xian finally realizes the human supremacy preachers were all his planted pawns. He rejects it outright because that plan sacrifices all of Mingju. With talk exhausted, both sides throw down at the city gate. Meanwhile at North Park, Zhang Ping and Sisi spot Chen Junding flying overhead. Appraisal reveals she's a fallen one with Holy Mother's blood able to charm all living beings. Still stunned, Sisi yanks Zhang Ping down. Someone else is approaching. 2 Zhu clan members see Mingju in Corpsic House, but their mission forces them to risk it all to retrieve the girl. As they argue advance or retreat, a cold voice exposes the Zhu clan's dirty meddling. 2 strangers with beast pets step out, Zhao Yanlong and Zhao Yan, casually ordering them to become obedient living corpses. Zhang Ping appraises Yanlong from Sacred Ancestor Village, blood packed with stimulants, power boost plus lethal toxin. Yang is worse, higher potential, fragrant blood that lures low-intellect creatures like moths to doom. Realizing they share origins and abilities with Chen Junding, Zhang Ping senses a major clue. CC decides instantly they must be captured alive to extract the bigger secret. The Ju pair know there's no retreat left, only a desperate gamble for survival. They unleash their power and charge, clearly betting their lives. One breath later, their eyes glaze over, minds locked by an unseen force. Seizing the chaos, Yanlong and Yang command their pets to attack, sneering that struggling only speeds up death. Poison mist spreads as the Ju duo realize they've stumbled into a deadly toxin trap. A tiger mauls one down instantly, the other fights hopelessly against venom and fangs. Yanlong smirks, knowing the poison is draining his foe second by second. He coldly suggests surrendering, and becoming a living corpse. Resistance just means extra misery. Crushed by a serpent's coils, one Ju screams and gathers all strength to self-destruct. The explosion roars skyward, dragging enemies into a bloody mutual annihilation. Amid the chaos, Chen Junding appears, asking why her two subordinates look so battered. They kneel and call her Holy Maiden. She pretends to heal them while secretly channeling power inside. She claims something unclean is in them and kindly offers removal. Bless their gullible hearts. Horror strikes as their sacred disciple blood is suppressed, an impossible nightmare. Backlash agony erupts, they beg her to stop, warning forced bloodline erasure brings dreadful consequences. Meanwhile, the exploded beast pets regenerate fully, proof control has been stolen. Two beast command blood droplets appear in Chen Junding's hands, simple, ruthless, total takeover. The beasts instantly fawn over her as their new master, and she strolls off like it's a finished errand. The two men despair, recognizing bloodline suppression. The Holy Maiden has fully awakened. Hearing the sacred ancestor village's sect leader may be in Mingju, Zhang Ping demands to know who. Sisai answers Li Oxu, the second-generation city lord of Mingju, now a top-wanted criminal. She killed Sisa's master and left her scared, her strength rivaling even their captain. Unable to control Chen Junding, the duo decide to capture the two subordinates alive for intel instead. Ambushed from the shadows, the Yanlong brothers panic. Turns out they weren't the only hunters. They dodge, but Sisa's blade is already at Yanlong's body, freezing him in place. The other tries to react, only to be bound by Zhang Ping's shadow ability. Zero resistance left. Zhang Ping coldly warns that if he releases poison, his buddy dies first. Sisai demands their purpose in Mingju and Li Oxu's whereabouts, no secret spared. Yanlong smirks, clearly choosing death over loose lip. Skips the chatter and slices him hard. Interrogation upgraded to torture mode. Zhang Ping adds icily that silence is fine, they'll just heal him and keep torturing. Soon only his screams echo, his will crumbling bit by bit. Not long after, Sisai reports a major lead back to headquarters. She confirms they captured sacred ancestor village members, whose mission was to retrieve Chen Junding. News that Li Oxu is also in Mingju makes Mr. Situ and Manny realize things just escalated. Mr. Situ orders continued interrogation. If it's as bad as feared, he'll step in personally. Ending the call, he tells Manny to prepare the teleportation array for the final plan. Manny worries activating the Sun Moon Pearl will expose Mr. Situ and put him in danger. The original plan required luring out the Sky Constant Fox King before activating the relic to avoid interference. Only once the king was restrained could the Sun Moon Pearl be safely activated. But Li Oxu's sudden appearance throws a dangerous wildcard into the mix. Mr. City gambles activate the Sun Moon Pearl first and save Mingju before the enemy reacts. Soon, a massive teleportation gate opens in the city's Monument Plaza. Mr. City leads the cleanup squad out, battle ready to defend the city. Surveying the chaos, he knows once people's hearts waver, the tide becomes unstoppable. Ju clan or mutant beasts can be blocked, but shifting human hearts are another story. A voice suddenly exposes their intent to use the Sun Moon Pearl as a last resort. Li Oxu appears, boldly claiming she already won the moment he confronted the living corpses. Mr. Sidu retorts that her path breaks worldly laws and may doom humanity. He accuses her of allying with heretical forces and walking the demonic path. Li Oxu coldly laughs. Any road to kingship demands blood. Mr. Sidu rages that such ambition will slaughter countless and risk human extinction. Unmoved, Li Oxu declares she won't let anyone activate the Sun Moon Pearl today. Mr. Sidu is shocked to see Yu Chenghai beside her. Even Mingja's city lord has betrayed them. Yu Chenghai argues humanity needs a single king to stand against the Sky Constant Fox. Admitting words won't sway Mr. Sidu, he chooses battle to clear his path. Both sides charge. The decisive battle for Minju officially ignites. In the southern forest, a massive explosion signals the battlefield expanding. Chen Junding and her beast pets feel the tremor and turn toward the fight. Zhang Ping and Sisai also sense the violent shaking from the plaza. Without hesitation, Chen Junding heads straight for the battlefield with her pets to see the commotion. Zhang Ping guesses their captain has acted, pulling Chen Junding toward the clash. After handing prisoners to a branch unit, the two rush off to reinforce. Soon the battlefield reaches its most brutal phase between the factions. Amid widespread melee, Li Oxu personally duels Mr. Sidu. Mr. Sidu roars that restraining her even briefly could flip the entire situation. A barrier instantly forms, trapping Li Oxu in surprise confinement. She quickly realizes Mr. Sidu wants to stall her to activate the Sun Moon Pearl. So she orders Yu Chenghai to destroy the pearl before activation completes. Manny's three subordinates block the path, vowing no one passes while they live. Yu Chenghai slams his staff down, shattering the ground and blasting them aside. Zhang Ping rushes in just in time to stop further sabotage. Spotting Chen Junding from afar, Li Oxu knows the Zhao brothers have failed. Sensing Chen Junding's wildly unstable aura, everyone suspects the Holy Mother's blood fully awakened. Drawn as if summoned, she approaches the Sun Moon Pearl curiously. Upon touching it, she feels an eerie familiarity like a long-lost bond. The moment her hand lands, the energy erupts violently, shaking the entire plaza. The Sun Moon Pearl blazes, immense power surging as if about to explode. Even Liaoxiu's ceiling barrier shatters under the shock, stunning her. Mr. Siddha realizes Chen Junding is absorbing the pearl's energy and panics. A newborn aura suppresses living corpses, mutant beasts, and humans alike. Amid the transformation, Chen Junding murmurs that her father seems to be calling from afar. Liaoxiu instantly understands the Holy Maiden completed her metamorphosis early thanks to the pearl. Chen Junding then leaves with the mutant beasts, as if answering a distant summons. Liaoxiu guesses the Holy Maiden sensed sacred ancestor village's call and will return there. She sound transmits Yu Chengkai to escort the Holy Maiden. This power will crown her king. She also knows that without Chen Junding's suppression, the Sky Constant Fox will soon awaken. Sensing chaos imminent, Liaoxiu decides to retreat before the Fox King appears. Before leaving, she mocks that Mr. Citus' charged pearl ultimately benefited her instead. Sisi furiously charges to block her, determined to avenge her master. Liaoxiu scoffs, asking what Sisi could possibly use against her. With a single strike, she sends Sisi flying like a leaf. Zhang Ping immediately rushes to save his teammate from worse injury. As he catches her, her shattered glasses reveal the deep scar Liaoxiu once gave her. Meanwhile, Liaoxiu departs calmly, as if victory were assured. Mr. Sidhu chooses not to pursue, prioritizing the city's remaining crisis. Zhang Ping says they're only lightly hurt. Sisi bitterly admits she's still too weak. Manny wonders if beasts and corpses left, what caused the tremors. Mr. Sidhu realizes it signals the Sky Constant Fox King approaching. A group rushes in, but Manny detects their disguised Sky Constant Foxes. Their leader orders surrender or face immediate death. Manny activates the teleportation array, while Zhang Ping warns of their invisible attacks. But Mr. Sidhu unexpectedly says retreat isn't needed yet. He activates brainwave resonance to directly control the disguised foxes. They instantly clutch their heads, screaming as their consciousness is assaulted. Mr. Sidhu orders the cleanup team to withdraw from Mingzhu immediately. Zhang Ping wonders why Chen Junding didn't take the foxes. Sisi guesses the Fox King hid them. Mr. Sidhu thinks if the Fox King truly appears, staying would mean pointless deaths. Following orders, everyone retreats through the teleportation gate. Once alone, Mr. Sidhu looks at the disguised foxes and challenges the Fox King to show itself. A colossal fox silhouette appears before him. Appraisal reveals terrifying abilities, perception distortion, and reality subversion. Without hesitation, he unleashes True Void Fusion Blast, firing golden spheres through the Fox King's body. The Sky Constant Fox tanks the hit calmly, and Mr. Sidhu realizes his attack did absolutely nothing. While dodging nonstop, he rules out sensory distortion and clones. That blast could pierce a mountain, yet the fox stands spotless. The fox sneers that even clones wouldn't escape its grasp. Snatched in its hand, Mr. Sidhu grasps the truth rule reversal, shattering physical laws. The fox tightens its grip, ready to crush him on the spot. Yet he survives. Its power breaks common rules, but not those bound to him. He instantly casts a time barrier and traps the Fox King with time stasis. The Fox King laughs, saying kill him, and the barrier vanishes. But when it strikes, time rewinds to the moment the skill activated. The Fox King realizes it's stuck in an endless time loop if Mr. Sidhu keeps resetting. Thanks to rule reversal, it retains memory through each rewind, meaning Mr. Sidhu dies and revives infinitely while the Fox King remembers every round. It cruelly vows to kill him over and over as entertainment. It even admits humans are terrifying, always inventing counters to stronger foes. But to mutant beasts, humans are just walking upgrade materials. It orders the Sky Constant Fox clan to quell Mingzhu's chaos. Humans must survive in sufficient numbers to reproduce as future resources. In the city's south, martial halls still clash violently. A Sky Constant Fox appears mid-battle, freezing everyone in place. Lixian shouts for Lin Qi to release captives and explain himself. The fox mocks humans for slaughtering each other with disaster at the door. The traitor, seeing himself surrounded, chooses a desperate final strike. He attacks the fox, aiming to kill it outright. Instantly, an invisible force clamps around his head. One sickening pop blood sprays as he's crushed on the spot. Lixian is horrified. The fox's strength far exceeds expectations. The fox remarks that just days without patrols and the city collapses like this. It orders everyone to drop weapons immediately or die. Then it commands Hall Master Feng to follow and explain everything. In safe room 8, Zhang Ping's group teleports in and regroups. Sasai notices her power is weakening abnormally. Manny and the others feel stamina draining fast, bodies growing heavy. Sisi suddenly suspects this relates to their captain. Manny explains Mr. Sidhu once granted the cleanup team a national-level blessing. Blessing is a rare guardian ability granting semi-permanent buffs. It reduced stamina drain, fatigue, or body weight for each member. Now that it's gone, they fear something happened to him. Just then, the bracelet Mr. Sidhu gave Zhang Ping vibrates with his voice. Mr. Sidhu appears as a virtual consciousness, saying he can only last about a year before the Fox King truly kills him. He clarifies he's merely an artificial persona stored in the bracelet, not the real man. Sasai anxiously asks how to save him, while Zhang Ping realizes this is memory-bearing intelligence. Mr. Sidhu reassures them events align with his predictions, and even in death he saw hope. The Sky Constant Fox King is trapped in a time loop and can't escape for at least a year. That year is humanity's only window to strike back and wipe out the Fox clan. And shockingly, the linchpin of the entire plan is Zhang Ping. Only Sisi immediately trusts the captain and asks for the next step. Mr. Sidhu reminds them that facing the Zhu clan was once even more hopeless, given their endless treasures. Back then, they were nearly empty-handed without weapons capable of harming a beast king. But there exists a place only infinite-level ability users may enter to obtain weapons against kings. It was there Mr. Sidhu once acquired an arrow capable of twisting world fate. So this time, all hope rests on Zhang Ping if he truly is Infiniteer. Hearing that, Zhang Ping feels wildly unqualified for such a burden. Mr. Sidhu smiles, saying that place is humanity's foundation and may reveal the world's secrets. Manny gets hyped, ready to depart immediately. But Mr. Sidhu asks them to wait and calls Zhang Ping aside. In the cleanup team's dungeon, Zhang Ping asks if there's any way to save him. Mr. Sidhu says this was the least worst choice without stalling the Fox King. Things would be worse. Scenario 1, Mingzhu falls to Liaoxu and half the awakened die. Scenario 2, they beat Sacred Ancestor Village, but the Fox King wipes out humanity's elites. Now, with the Fox King trapped, only the Moon King Hair remains strongest. In single combat is terrifying, but group assault gives a chance. Thus, Mr. Sidhu believes this path minimizes casualties. He then asks Zhang Ping to take Zhou Yanlong's blood. He asks if Zhang Ping has been stuck at level 9 for a long time. Zhang Ping admits he nearly broke into level 10 but was blocked at the last second. Mr. Sidhu tells him to drink Yanlong's blood to trigger a new ability, then Hell Guide the breakthrough. The blockage isn't a limit, it's because Zhang Ping has too many abilities. Those with many powers must choose a core path or get stuck upgrading. Only by deciding his true path can the mid-tier breakthrough happen naturally. After drinking the blood, Zhang Ping awakens Old King's blood, turning pain into strength. Mr. Sidhu tells him to sense every talent inside without activating them. Then look inward and discern the path he truly wants. Once his will is clear, his abilities will answer that choice. Soon Zhang Ping's eyes glow red as all his powers resonate. Mr. Sidhu asks if he's made his final choice. Zhang Ping hesitates between the core contract gem and the power-rich devourer. At last, he knows one must be the center of his evolution. With that decision, he breaks through to level 10 mid-tier awakened. The contract gem evolves, unlocking 3 forms: ability weaponization, gear fusion, and hidden contract beast. Zhang Ping realizes one level up, but mid-tier is leagues beyond beginner. His stamina, spirit, and control surge, he feels the difference instantly. Sensing the shift, Mr. Sidhu asks and Zhang Ping confirms success. Now he understands why Cis combat power soared after mid-tier. Zhang Ping tests the contract gem's weapon form. The gem instantly reshapes according to his will. Even previously useless gems can now be repurposed. Mid-tier gem hardness is extreme, perfect to skill carriers. Mr. Sidhu notes Zhang Ping chose contract gem over Devourer as his core. Zhang Ping admits he wavered, but Devourer never truly fit him. Mr. Sidhu adds Devourer is strong, but awakening powers with it risks fatal backlash. Contract gem evolves slower, yet always awakens exactly when needed. Just then, news arrives: Sky Constant Foxes are purging elites under patrol team guise. Zhang Ping immediately recognizes the voice, it's the Moon King Hair. Mr. Sidhu explains the Moon King Hair recruits awakened, then secretly eliminates dangerous ones. He sighs, likely those who fought before will be targeted. Hearing this, Zhang Ping decides to return to Mingzhu to warn Hall Master Feng. Otherwise, the Sky Constant Foxes will quietly replace them one by one. Sizzy grabs his hand, begging to come along. Solo sounds suicidal. Manny suggests splitting up to warn trusted awakened contacts. Mr. Sidhu warns they can't tell who's already been replaced by Sky Constant Foxes. Leaks are likely. Zhang Ping insists his mid-tier now sneaking alone means better escape odds. Chenming firmly objects Zhang Ping is their key hope. But Zhang Ping won't watch comrades get eaten, and he has personal grudges too. He reassures Ceci has prepared an escape plan, even against the Moon King Hair. Chenming challenges him, instantly suppressed by Zhang Ping's shadow and fire. Mask on, Zhang Ping calmly declares the match decided. Chenming is stunned, his power skyrocketed after leveling up. Mr. Sidhu explains Infiniteer potential puts Zhang Ping far beyond normal awakened. He agrees to let him return to Mingzhu, but first offers a treasure. Zhang Ping instead asks Zhang Shouzhong for help before taking it. Appraisal reveals Shouzhong can convert fat into crafting materials. Zhang Ping drags him outside, promising a huge favor. Soon, Shouzhong's screams mix with Zhang Ping's villainous laughter. When they return, everyone's shocked round Shouzhong is suddenly slim. Zhang Ping follows Mr. Sidhu to a secret chamber and sees a strange scythe. It's the Fear Reaper, absorbs blood to evolve and spreads terror. Mr. Sidhu hands it over, perfect for Mingzhu's trip. Holding it, Zhang Ping senses a sleeping demon within. Under moonlight, Sisai bluntly asks if he's returning for revenge. After reaching mid-tier, Zhang Ping admits revenge crossed his mind. Power changes perspective. At least now he's not the guy fake sleeping while the Moon King Hair searches rooms. Still, he assures her this return is mainly to save people. As for avenging Su Jingjiao, he won't act without the right chance. Sisai remains worried he's going back alone. Zhang Ping says he's got a hidden trump card, escape odds are solid. Later in Mingzhu, citizens coexist with Sky Constant Foxes unknowingly. Zhang Ping slips into the city and notes patrols are heavily reinforced. Even Mingzhu Plaza is sealed off, the tension is thick. Mr. Citus' bracelet voice reminds him to focus on the plan, not worry about him. Zhang Ping replies he's fully prepared. At Feng Laxian's martial hall, he senses a stealthy aura entering. The aura condenses into Zhang Ping, startling him before recognition hits. Laxian is delighted to see the one who helped him before. Zhang Ping smiles, the past events make for a long story. After hearing the full truth about the Sky Constant Foxes, Laxian is stunned. He hasn't even processed that the city lord fled and beasts now hold power. Right then, Captain Lin of the patrol team requests an audience. Zhang Ping reminds him the patrols are fox replacements, one look will confirm. Meeting them, Laxian instantly recognizes their fox forms. The fake captain announces good news. In Lai Shen's eyes, they're just beasts in disguise. They claim the city lord wants to appoint him vice city lord of Mingju. Though furious inside, Lai Xian feigns gratitude. Once they leave, he clenches his fists at the fox's arrogance. Only thanks to Jiang Ping's possession ability could he see their true forms. He knows Jiang Ping must have a counterattack plan ready. Jiang Ping suggests using the vice city lord title to host an awakened banquet. At the feast, they'll secretly reveal the truth to those not replaced. Anyone wishing to leave will be escorted to the transport gate before Fox control tightens. Lai Shen knows many still have families, so ditching town isn't an easy sell. Seeing the gym packed with disguised celestial constant foxes, Jiang Ping smells danger instantly. Lai Shen admits that in this mess, nobody can play universal bodyguard. So he sticks to Jiang Ping's plan and vows full cooperation. At least they've sparked a tiny hope of wiping out the mutant beasts. Just then, Jiang Ping spots a familiar face and his radar goes wild. It's the celestial constant fox that killed Su Jingjiao and stole her look. Rage spikes as Jiang Ping faces the monster that murdered his friend. Elsewhere, Luo Xiu quizzes her subordinate about recent news in Mingju City. Soon Lai Xian's banquet kicks off, with awakened folks crowding in to toss the new vice city lord. The old man plays genial host, masking the scheme simmering backstage. Bing too relaxes at the peaceful vibe, assuming Feng Laishan just wants party perks. In the crowd, a pink-haired girl catches Jingjiao's eye and his gaze turns deliciously sinister. Noticing his itch, Bing Tu tells him to wait till the party's over, too many witnesses now. Inside the mansion, Feng Laishan gathers his inner circle and lets Jiang Ping explain the emergency. Jiang Ping greets Bai Di, and his surprise appearance screams this is serious. After hearing the report, everyone reels if true. Mingju City's leaders were swapped ages ago. Bai Di confirms the patrol squad and Lin Qi have been acting odd. Backing fears the city lord is gone. Feng Laishan swears he saw the celestial constant fox himself, killing all doubt. He warns these beasts are disguise pros. Several guests outside may already be replacements. Realizing the stakes, Feng Laishan begs his old comrades to trust him and fight together. Bai Di and the pink-haired girl agree at once, loyal to Jiang Ping in past battles. Jiang Ping says to beat the celestial constant fox, they must lie low and save strength for a counterstrike. He lists the unreplaced people and orders everyone to quietly rally them. The cleanup squad will soon trigger a secret teleportation array to extract the trustworthy. Those who agree to leave must loop back after the main gate and slip away via the array. Someone worries about family, since this rush plan leaves no prep time. Feng Laishan admits it's desperate, only Jiang Ping can spot the imposters. If word leaks, the celestial constant fox will slaughter the awakened, so secrecy is life. Jiang Ping takes watch at the banquet, ready to signal with fire if a beast slips up. Half a day later, the feast ends, guests leaving clueless about the covert operation. Suddenly, Jingjiao's soul pops up, warning Jiang Ping to stay sharp. Scanning the crowd, Jiang Ping sees the Jingjiao fox leaking killing intent at Chen Weiwa. Knowing an attack would blow everything, Jiang Ping must lure the beast away. The fox sidles up to Weihua, chatting sweetly while plotting a dark ambush. Oblivious, Weihua agrees to walk with it straight into the trap. Seeing the fox expose itself, Jiang Ping smirks, finally his move. He jumps into their chat, faking a chance reunion to grab the beast's focus. Jiang Ping drops his disguise, revealing himself to Jingjiao and putting it on edge. While talking, he secretly sends a voice transmission telling Weiwa to seek reinforcements in West City. The celestial constant fox is stunned to see Jiang Ping in town, totally not in the script. But greed quickly wins. Capture Jiang Ping and his highness will surely pay big. Once Chen Weiho is safe, Jiang Ping bolts to drag the monster away. The celestial constant fox chases hard, yelling as it refuses to lose its prized prey. Jiang Ping activates Dark Mist Nightwalker, his speed spiking and messing with the distance. The fox grows suspicious. Jiang Ping is way faster than expected. At a crossroads, Jiang Ping suddenly darts into a narrow alley to set up an ambush. While the fox fumbles for his trail, Jiang Ping loops behind and swings his scythe in surprise. The precise slash rips open its belly, kicking off a true predator showdown. Jiang Ping coldly exposes its identity. Since it showed up, he won't let it leave alive. He vows it won't die quickly, his bloodthirsty stare promising Diluc's torture. The fox is stunned. He can see through their near-perfect disguise. Before it can finish talking, a dark mist blade shoots in like lightning, forcing it to dodge. As it reels, Jiang Ping closes in, making it panic that is possessed by dark mist. His scythe tears its abdomen again, and it howls in the night. Not giving it a breather, Jiang Ping turns dark mist into hunting chains. The chains crush tight as he coldly mentions the one who pushed him onto this path. Before it understands, his blade keeps stabbing down, terrifying it with sheer power. He growls that she was his childhood friend, and the most important person in his life. The fox begs, trembling, but Jiang Ping drives a blade into its chest without mercy. Every stab is fury as he roars why they dared hurt her. The fox laughs madly, saying he'll never know how despairingly she died. The taunt hits his deepest wound, and he tortures it even harder. Broken beyond limit, the fox begs for one mercy, quick death. Before dying, it mimics Su Jingjiao's voice calling Jiang Ping, trying one last mind trick. Jiang Ping rips off the disguise mask, killing the final illusion. Its extreme fear even earns him extra dark mist points. He condenses dark mist into a giant broadsword behind him, ready to finish it. He enunciates that the only thing he wants dead is the filthy fox before him. His figure blurs into afterimages as the final slash falls. One clean cut, the fox dies instantly. The hunt ends in a blink. Afterward, Jiang Ping silently stares at the mask, facing his painful past. Then Luo Xiu appears, casually praising him for killing Yuer Shilio. Zhang Ping replies while casting appraisal on her, hunting for survival odds. The skill keeps failing, proof the power gap is brutal. He finally reads it. Luo Xiu, Moon Prince of the Celestial Constant Fox, level 39, 8-star potential. Without waiting, Lu Xia's tail sweeps in like wind, forcing Zhang Ping to trigger Dark Mist Body. One tail strike shreds his defense, showcasing the massive gap. He tries countering with his scythe but is crushed by her raw strength. The next blow launches him like a stone from a catapult. Watching closely, he realizes all attacks stem from Luo Xia's mutated tail. Knowing brute force won't work, Zhang Ping shifts to pure water body to nullify physical damage. Luo Xiu grows intrigued, seeing he has more tricks than expected. Yet, she coolly reminds him that no number of abilities bridges this power gap. Her tail changes color and freezes even his pure water body solid. As his iced over, Luo Xiu curiously asks how he pierced their illusion. Outwardly trapped, Zhang Ping is still gambling on one final move in his mind. As Luo Xiu lands, she notices something glowing at her feet. It's a red gem neatly planted like a welcome to my trap sign. That's the cue. Zhang Ping detonates the device, dumping all his power into a desperate counterstrike. Luo Xiu looks at him with pure disdain, as if has a lucky ant that slipped death once. Zhang Ping calmly admits solo escape from this high-level fox was never happening. So from the start, his best plan was simple: drag reinforcements onto the stage. Right on time, urgent shouts echo, backup has arrived. Feng Laixian and Bai rush in, reporting everyone else evacuated safely. Lu Xiu pieces it together. The explosion was bait to lure her into an ambush. Realizing the setup's blown, she goes straight for a killing move on Zhang Ping. Zhang Ping reacts fast, shoving Feng Laixian aside and tanking the hit as a warning. Even wounded on the ground, he forces out that the enemy is a celestial constant fox. Feng Laixian instantly shifts to battle mode, telling Baidi to guard his student. Baidi hesitates. The Luo Xiu before him looks perfectly human. Zhang Ping liquefies and splashes onto Baidi, freaking him out. He activates Resonant Vision, letting Baidi see the fox's grotesque true form. As Lu Xia's tail lashes again, Zhang Ping shouts out its weak point. Thanks to the warning, Feng Laixian narrowly dodges a lethal sweep. The massive tail scythes through a building, showcasing nightmare-level power. Zhang Ping directs Baidi into a strange preparatory move for coordination. He orders him to shove what is holding into Feng Laixian's mouth. Trust the process. Baidi instantly gets it and moves to assist. He tosses the blob of fluid toward Feng Laixian like passing battle gear. Feng Laixian swallows it without hesitation to trigger the effect. Infused with Zhang Ping's blood, he now sees Luo Xia's true body clearly. With vision restored, Feng Laixian nimbly dodges her next attacks. Baidi charges into, helping suppress the enemy. Furious over his slain student, Feng Laixian activates his strongest battle form. Baidi transforms into a majestic warrior form and joins the fray. Zhang Ping warns his blood buff won't last long, they need a quick finish. Feng Laixian growls that the time is more than enough to kill this beast. The two powerhouses unleash a combined assault, forcing Luo Xiu defensive. Luo Xiu panics as her illusions get shredded one by one. Cornered, she roars and decides to kill them all to end the nuisance. Multiple gigantic foxtails erupt behind her, prepping for larger-scale combat. She calls hidden subordinates to join the fight. Another celestial constant fox steps out from her shadow and obeys. Feng Laixian warns that this newcomer is even stronger than expected. Zhang Ping is alarmed at hid in her shadow, unnoticed the whole time. He hands over his last snake scale, asking Feng Laixian to unleash maximum power. His plan: the two stall the enemy, while he prepares an escape route from the city. After swallowing the scale, Feng Laixian's body ignites at 4,000 degrees, ready to go all in. Baidi charges head in at the celestial constant fox, igniting a brutal melee. Baidi takes a direct hit, his chest ripped open, yet he grits his teeth and holds formation. The fox plants its feet firmly, ready to keep overpowering him. Zhang Ping realizes it's exploiting Baidi's shadow for blind spot attacks. Meanwhile, Feng Laixian keeps dodging Luo Xia's tails, inching closer to counter. Fighting and observing, he knows staying pressured like this means eventual defeat. Feng Laixian shouts for Baidi to execute a high-risk coordinated tactic. The celestial constant fox mocks Baidi's strength as barely a tickle. Provoked, the beast flies into a rage and launches a ferocious counterattack. Its sharp claw plunges straight into Baidi's abdomen in a lethal strike. Baidi staggers, blood spilling from his mouth, yet refuses to fall. Seizing the moment, he grabs the beast's head and locks it in place. With a roar, Baidi pours in all his strength for a final blow. He hurls the celestial constant fox toward Feng Laixian for a combo kill. At the same time, Feng Laixian is blasted back by Luo Xia's tail sweep. Luo Xiu is stunned as her subordinate gets thrown right at her. Feng Laixian instantly activates Beast King Profound Meaning, cloaking his body. Two thunderous explosions erupt as attacks collide midair. In that split-second chaos, Zhang Ping makes his move. He tosses them a gem and orders them to hold tight for the escape plan. Both instantly cooperate as Zhang Ping primes the gemstone. In a flash, all three are yanked skyward, flying off the battlefield. Baidi panics at the sudden getaway, while Feng Laixian laughs in thrill. Watching Mingzhu City shrink below, they realize they've truly escaped. But Zhang Ping is nearly spent after non-stop healing and fighting. He mutters that the gem will send them safely back to base. The moment he finishes, Zhang Ping collapses unconscious. The two shout his name in alarm, but he's already out. Zhang Ping later awakens in a forest outside Mingzhu City, night fallen. He groggily opens his eyes after the long blackout. Realizing he's alive, he blankly stares at the night sky. His bracelet glows as Captain Siduhai's voice checks on him. Siduhai says he stopped the bleeding while Zhang Ping was out, but his own strength is nearly drained, so he must rest. Zhang Ping is grateful. Without him, he'd be long dead. Exhausted, he tries contacting headquarters for help. With no response, he knows survival is now solo mode. He shelters in a cave, starts a fire, and bandages wounds he can't self-heal. The system warns his resources are nearly empty. Great timing. While rummaging, he finds Su Jingdao's hairpin. Memories flood back, and he realizes revenge didn't fill the void. In despair, he wonders if pure blood can regenerate bodies. Could it revive Su Jingjiao? He recalls restoring Sister Xiang's arm perfectly proof it rebuilds living flesh. He even replaced Feng Laishan's trachea once, so revival isn't pure fantasy. Betting on fate, Zhang Ping lays down the remaining facial skin of Su Jingjiao. He channels all pure blood power into his fingertip, unsure it will activate. At that instant, pure blood responds, hope flickers alive. His blood drips onto the skin like fuel for a resurrection ritual. The blood spreads rapidly, covering the remaining flesh. Though drained, Zhang Ping forces all his energy to keep the regeneration going. After frantic effort, Su Jingjiao's flesh and bone body gradually forms before him. But he quickly notices her arm has formed with a strange deformity. He suspects his severe injuries caused an incomplete reconstruction. Even so, Zhang Ping refuses to accept failure and vows to fix it. Gritting his teeth, he keeps channeling energy despite nearing collapse. Meanwhile, Feng Laishan and Bai fly toward the forest to find him. Sensing something off, Feng Laishan prepares to land immediately. The two descend into the forest like entering a fresh battlefield. Feng Laishan lands lightly while Bai follows, scanning warily. At the rendezvous, Chen Ming steps forward to confirm identities as reinforcements wait. Zhang Yuzong retracts his excess fat ability and apologizes for the scare. Feng Laishan laughs it off and asks about Zhang Ping's condition. Lu Sisi anxiously questions them upon noticing Zhang Ping isn't with them. Bai falls silent for a moment, bracing to reveal the heavy truth. He recounts that Zhang Ping fell into the perilous lost forest. This forest is infamous, easy to enter, nightmare to exit, so they don't dare rush him blindly. Chen Ming suggests using the Purge Squad badge to map a way out. Lu Sisi and Feng Laishan immediately decide to personally search for Zhang Ping. Chen Ming assigns roles clearly before the rescue team moves out. In the cave, Zhang Ping keeps reviving Su Jingjiao, his breathing growing faint. All night he channels energy, his body nearly drained dry. At the brink, the system announces pure blood has advanced to intermediate. The surge in power convinces him this time resurrection might truly work. A thin wisp of smoke appears, the final sign of bodily reconstruction. When he opens his eyes, tears stream down. He knows a miracle just happened. Su Jingjiao truly revives, smiling at Zhang Ping like she never left. Zhang Ping stands frozen, unable to believe the girl before him is real. Then he collapses from exhaustion, and Su Jingjiao panics, catching him. She gently lays him down, scolding him for still risking his life like before. She understands how much he has endured and struggled all this time. Seeing him grown and surrounded by good allies makes her sincerely happy. Su Jingjiao softly tells Zhang Ping has done well and should rest now. Yet as she speaks, silent tears slip down her face. She admits she wishes she could keep walking beside him. Sadly, her soul is exhausted and cannot linger much longer. She believes that if it's Zhang Ping, he'll one day find her again. With that, her figure fades like smoke, leaving a final goodbye. Zhang Ping jolts awake as if from a strange dream. He frantically calls Su Jingjiao's name and scans the cave. She still lies on the ground where she was revived. Steadying himself, he steps closer to check her condition. He gently shakes her shoulder as if waking a sleeping girl. But her lifeless eyes tell him something is terribly wrong. A chill runs down his spine, her body is ice cold. Trembling, he checks her breath and finds no sign of life. Zhang Ping is stunned, unable to grasp what just happened. He clearly remembers her speaking moments ago. Has heard her voice before in the past as well. That convinces him it wasn't mere hallucination. Finally, he realizes the body revived, but the soul had already departed. He must accept resurrection cannot be complete without a soul. Lost in thought, he notices a giant ant crawling past. The mutated creature looks like it just woke from a bizarre hangover. Outside the cave, he sees an entire swarm of giant ants. Zhang Ping stays still, observing the strange insect. When it fully wakes, he curiously crouches down to talk to it. Seeing it weak, he guesses it's starving. He offers food and notes the ant doesn't attack him. Mid-meal, the ant suddenly looks alert toward one direction. It circles where Su Jingjiao once lay, as if searching for her. Sadly, Zhang Ping tells it the girl has gone to a faraway place. Unexpectedly, the ant pushes some food back to him, sharing. It's the first mutated beast Zhang Ping has met that doesn't try to kill him. That small gesture reminds him he should keep living instead of drowning in despair. He decides to use appraisal to see what kind of ant it is. The result, a post-variant mobile fortress ant with extremely high potential. Zhang Ping is shocked its talent ranks at king level. The data reveals it can reproduce asexually and command an ant swarm. He never imagined this tiny creature could become a future ant queen. But just then, another swarm of ants approaches the cave. Appraisal shows they are low-level mutated worker ants, yet countless. Zhang Ping first assumes they're here to retrieve the little ant. But the ant trembles in fear like prey being hunted. He begins to suspect the swarm has come to eliminate it instead. Sure enough, a black tide of ants floods into the cave. Zhang Ping instantly shifts into pure water body to avoid detection. Watching closely, he realizes the little ant is likely being hunted by its own kind. The swarm suddenly halts and collectively stares at Zhang Ping and the tiny ant. Busted, Zhang Ping grabs the ant queen and sprints for his life. While running, he guesses the colony sees this low-level queen as a threat worth eliminating. Looking at the fragile creature in his hand, he sighs king tier talent, baby tier strength. After a dash, a gigantic bear blocks his path. In desperation, Zhang Ping provokes the bear to spark chaos. Before the bear even processes it, is already bolting far away. But a horrifying sound behind makes him glance back. The giant bear is stripped to a white skeleton by the swarm. Zhang Ping scrambles up a tall tree, assuming ants can't fly. He quickly regrets it as the swarm devours trees like a living flood. The ground trembles, forcing him to cling tight to the trunk. He thinks it's an earthquake. Then a colossal tree trunk rises upright like a living being. The giant tree stomps down, sending rocks and dirt flying. The ants immediately swarm up its trunk to attack. Other massive trees crash down in retaliation, igniting a fierce clash. The scene turns into an all-out war between plant monsters and mutated ants. Zhang Ping tries to exploit the chaos to escape. He activates Dark Mist Nightwalker to slip away. Suddenly, vines lash around his waist and yank him back. The giant tree creature calls out to him has been spotted. Zhang Ping attempts appraisal, but the system keeps failing. Finally, Data appears Ye Changchun, a high-level silent one. Zhang Ping is shocked the tree being was once human. He doubts it since other silent ones he met were pure monsters. Staying cautious, he feigns friendliness to seek an escape. Ye Changchun gently bends down and asks where Zhang Ping is from. Zhang Ping replies he's from Mingju City. Ye Changchun laughs, he once came from there too. But he admits most of his memories are gone. Zhang Ping asks if he knows he's a silent one. Ye Changchun looks confused, has never heard the term. Zhang Ping explains he learned his name through appraisal. Just then Zhang Ping's bracelet glows as Siduhai awakens. Siduhai instantly recognizes Ye Changchun and calls him by name. Zhang Ping is surprised his captain joins the conversation. Ye Changchun curiously eyes the bracelet and asks about his past. Siduhai recounts how they once built a resistance army against the Zhu family. Ye Changchun served as a spy but was exposed and vanished. Living too long in a false normal state, his mind adapted and forgot his true self. Since fake syncing surpasses normal human psyche, no mind control method has ever reversed it. Catching the hint, Zhang Ping blurts out should they feed Senior Ye a contract gem. Hearing there's a way out, Ye Changchun eagerly leans down, clearly willing to gamble. Zhang Ping explains restoring a sinking mind requires contract guidance, meaning full bodily control to him. Before risks are even explained, Ye Changchun snatches the gem and tosses it into his mouth. Chewing casually, he shrugs as if it's no big deal, leaving Zhang Ping stunned. A green light erupts from his body, illuminating the forest. The contract activates. The system confirms a successful contract with Ye Changchun. The gamble worked. Zhang Ping stands frozen. The old man swallowed once and boom, contract done absurdly fast. To verify, he orders Ye Changchun to raise his hand, testing if control truly works. The beam hits his body, convulses violently, and Zhang Ping panics. He only meant to test it, not actually succeed. After the tremor, Ye Changchun reverts to human form, proving the sinking state is shattered. Staring at his hands, he screams as memories flood back. Everything buried by sinking resurfaces. The system announces a side effect from the gem and unlocks an additional beast summon contract. Zhang Ping realizes the new mechanic, consuming contract gems can trigger surprise bonuses. Ye Changchun studies him like appraising a rare jewel and asks his name, clearly reassessing the young man. Hearing Zhang Ping sounds too modest, he scoffs. Someone who breaks sinking can't be ordinary. With nothing precious to repay him, he presents a half-living, half-dead oddity kept for years. One glance and Zhang Ping recognizes it as ultra-rare Dark Mist essence. Appraisal confirms it's Dark Mist energy condensed in a nether black bear's gall. Consume at your own evolutionary risk. Ye Changchun apologizes for the humble gift, but Zhang Ping reassures him it's gold to him. Recalling Lucius' words that nether creatures act like parasites, Zhang Ping knows strong will means control. With foes like the Moon Prince looming, he must gamble for power to survive. Decision made, he shuts his eyes and swallows the Dark Mist essence to force evolution. Instantly, purple light erupts from him, nether energy invading. High-voltage numbness surges through his body, but he grits his teeth and endures. The system confirms success. Dark Mist body upgrades to intermediate and can absorb rage's energy. Zhang Ping exhales in relief. One misstep, and that stunt would deleted him. The joy continues as levels rise and the contract gem upgrades too. Watching Violet Black power coil in his palm has stunned. One gamble netted 3 tiers of growth. Ye Changchun gapes, muttering that Mingju City truly breeds monsters. Suddenly, he turns. Someone has been watching all along. A cold voice from the shadows mocks Ye Changchun for trusting too easily. Zhang Ping's heart jumps. Another expert, while Ye Changchun laughs, asking if the lurker plans to sinking forever. The indifferent reply makes Ye Changchun sigh. This one has forgotten too much. He plays his final psychological card. Don't you want to see your family again? The question hits home. The ground shifts, and a colossal face rises. The hidden watcher is a giant earthman. Family memories seemingly awakened. Zhang Ping's appraisal keeps failing as the earthman trembles, repeating family. Final appraisal succeeds. Su Qingba, legendary investigator, fallen into sinking as an earth monster. Hearing the name, Zhang Ping freezes, while Ye Changchun angrily tells him to look at his monstrous form. Siduhai speaks from the bracelet, confirming Su Qingba's identity. This just escalated. He was the founder of Mingju City's investigation team, a legend missing for years. Zhang Ping grows suspicious. 2 powerhouses lost in the wild can't be mere coincidence. Ye Changchun recounts being gravely injured by the Zhu family and turning into a tree to heal, trapped for years. At mention of a granddaughter, Zhang Ping feels struck by lightning, thinking of the girl he carries. A clue clicks and he shouts, drawing Ye Changchun's puzzled gaze. Skipping explanations, Zhang Ping summons Su Jingjiao's body to confirm. One look and Su Qingba goes deathly still as if his world collapses. Family voices echo in his mind as buried memories surge back. Overwhelmed by the chaos, Su Qingba clutches his head and screams he can't even remember who he is. His gaze locks onto Su Jingjiao, and he trembles, sensing the kid is somehow tied to him. He frantically digs through buried memories, green light flaring as he tries to recall his true identity. Shattered memories of the investigation team and Mingju City spin in his head like a broken carousel. At last, he roars the ultimate existential crisis: who on earth is he? Seeing him about to lose it completely, Zhang Ping panics. If he sinks deeper, has beyond saving. But the newly upgraded contract can't be activated again, leaving him stuck between a rock and despair. Even so, Zhang Ping decides to gamble. Saving a life beats careful math right now. He leaps up, hurls the gemstone at Su Qingba, and yells for him to swallow it to break the sinking state. In madness, Su Qingba swats Zhang Ping away, thinking he's being tricked. He howls about Ma Bin, convinced everyone's scheming to seize Mingju City. Ye Changchun snaps him awake, pointing out the girl before him as his own granddaughter. The words pierce his memory, and Su Qingba slowly turns back to Su Jingjiao. Seizing the hesitation, Yi Changchun offers the gem and urges him to swallow it to restore his memories. Hearing family, Su Qingba trembles and clutches the stone like his last lifeline. The contract succeeds instantly, and Zhang Ping commands the sinking state to shatter. The massive shell of rock cracks apart, revealing Su Qingba's true human form. Fully awake, he shakily cups Su Jingjiao's face and asks who hurt his granddaughter. Choking up, he apologizes for failing to protect her. Situ immediately brings up Ma Bin, the man who became investigation captain after Su Qingba vanished. At that name, Su Qingba explodes, revealing Ma Bin is actually from the Zhu clan. He pounds the ground in fury. Not only lost Minju City, but failed his family too. Zhang Ping finally understands why the investigation team stayed suspiciously idle during the crisis. He solemnly informs the two seniors that Mingju City is now in grave danger. Injured while seeking reinforcements, he had no choice but to hide in this forest to recover. After hearing everything, Su Qingba suddenly asks about Zhang Ping seeing visions of Jiajiao. Zhang Ping insists he saw her guiding him multiple times. No way, that was just a hallucination. Su Qingba reveals Jiajiao had a special ability, soul projection, even entering others' dreams. So he speculates that before dying, her soul escaped, meaning she might still exist. Hearing this, Zhang Ping realizes Su Jingjiao may exist as a hidden sinking entity. He understands her earlier words were meant to cut ties and keep him out of danger. But recalling how she secretly helped him time and again, Zhang Ping fumes at her for wanting him to quit. He swears he'll find her no matter what. After all this, walking away isn't an option. Steadying himself, Zhang Ping asks the two seniors what they plan to do next. Ye Changchun laughs. After dedicating half his life to Mingju, how could he stand by now? Su Qingba says little, but has already decided to return. He wants his granddaughter back. Both unleash phantom projections of tree and stone, declaring they'll return with Zhang Ping to save Mingju City. Meanwhile, in another forest, Laixian Chenming and Lu Sisi urgently search for Zhang Ping. Lu Sisi worries as Zhang Ping's signal vanished right near this area. Surveying the terrain, Chenming asserts Zhang Ping must have fled ahead. Lu Sisi suddenly spots blood on the bushes, proof Zhang Ping was badly hurt. Without hesitation, she parts the shrubs and pushes deeper into the forest to track him. But the sight ahead makes her freeze at the sheer devastation. The forest looks shredded, like it just survived a nightmare-level battle. Studying the marks, Chenming concludes it was a strike from the Black Mountain Bow, meaning Zhang Ping faced a major foe. Hearing this, Lu Sisi wants to dash off, but Laixian abruptly stops her. Right then, a bizarre swirling spatial gate materializes before them. From the portal, a gigantic fist shoots out and swings straight at Lu Sisi. She snaps up an ice shield, but the shockwave makes her defense wobble like cheap glass. The shield shatters, sending Lu Sisi flying. Luckily, her teammates catch her in time. A wave of corpse soldiers marches out, their leader sneering a frosty greeting at Laixian. Laixian eyes them with disdain, clearly the enemy faction's undead goons. The foe orders the corpse soldiers to charge, their ambush clearly preplanned. Chenming fires a fireball without hesitation, already suspecting an insider tipped them off. Lu Sisi cuts one down and coldly remarks that killing them all will solve everything. Realizing he has the main target, Laixian tells the other two to find a chance to retreat. But more corpse soldiers block the rear, sealing off escape. With no options left, Laixian activates the Scarlet Emperor Undying Body, his temperature and power skyrocketing. Facing a giant punch, he calmly catches it like he's been waiting all day. He then flings the massive corpse soldier away like a sack of potatoes. A spatial portal instantly swallows it, proof the enemy is space warping behind the scenes. Before he can process it, another portal opens right behind Laixian. A giant arm bursts out and sucker punches him from the void. Laixian blocks in time, but the impact rattles him hard. Yet another portal opens and delivers a cross-space punch straight into him. Lu Sisi screams a warning at the sight. Bombarded from all angles through portals, Laixian can only keep blocking to stay alive. He quickly realizes these spatial punches aren't coming from just one attacker. Done playing defense, Laixian unleashes the 6-5 fist, erupting a golden cyclone that blasts foes away. Two portal manipulators watch from afar, doubt creeping in as Laixian still stands. Suddenly, Laixian charges straight at them, aiming to break the attack at its source. They hurriedly open a portal to block him, but Laixian sneers has spotted their weakness. One accomplice calmly says to observe closely. Their plan accounts for everything. They're confident, having studied Laixian for ages and knowing his power state well. According to their math, without sunlight his body temperature drops, killing his burst potential. Right on cue, Laixian's internal system alerts him his temperature is plummeting and stats declining. That's why they chose a nighttime ambush to nullify his advantage. At that moment, Zhang Ping rushes onto the battlefield, recognizing Lai Xian's signature Golden Storm. Elsewhere, Lu Sisi and Chen Ming finish off their foes, briefly stabilizing the field. But as the corpse soldiers fall, corpse poison seeps from their bodies and spreads fast. Realizing it's corpse toxin, Liu Sisi urgently tells everyone to hold their breath. Meanwhile, Lai Xian remains surrounded by portals, enduring non-stop surprise blows. Sai Xiangming seizes the moment, lunging from behind with claws aimed at Lai Xian's back. Prepared, Lai Xian counters with a heavy punch straight to Shi Xiangming's gut. Sent crashing down, Shi Xiangming still laughs. He never bet on that strike anyway. He coldly reveals the real target isn't Lai Xian, but his teammates. Lai Xian whirls to warn them, but is too late. A black portal silently opens behind Lu Sisi. A giant corpse soldier steps out and slams a crushing punch into her back. Chen Ming panics and calls out when he sees her ambushed. Before recovering, Chen Ming is ambushed too and must defend with sword techniques. But the corpse soldier is too strong, kicking his twin swords away with ease. Seeing his teammates in danger, Lai Xian tries to rush to their aid. Shi Xiaoming anticipates this and orders the corpse soldiers to encircle and stall him. Blocked off, Lai Xian erupts in fury, throwing rapid punches to blast the undead aside. Sai Xiangming sneers, convinced the final trap has just snapped shut. Right then, an explosion booms. Yi Changchun appears in colossal tree form like a walking forest boss. He drops a massive kick, forcing Shi Xiangming to scramble out of the way. The enemy stares in shock. Terrifying reinforcements just crashed the party. Lai Xian dashes over to check on Lu Sisi and Chen Ming. Zhang Ping arrives too, shouting loudly so everyone knows he's back in action. Seeing Zhang Ping safe, Lu Sisi finally exhales in relief. As they regroup, Shi Xiangming stays wary, sensing yet another killing intent nearby. Suddenly, Su Qingba emerges from the shadows and pierces straight through his chest. Shi Xiangming is horrified. He has no clue when Su Qingba showed up. A giant corpse soldier lunges in to rescue its master. Su Qingba instantly disperses into Q to dodge, knowing the brute has an undying body. At that moment, the sun rises, bathing the battlefield in light. With sunlight back, Lai Xian goes full throttle. His body temperature rockets to 800 degrees. Seeing the enemy hesitate, Lai Xian sneers and dares them to use every trick they've got. The enemy side wavers, realizing Zhang Ping's backup is no joke. One suggests retreat since capturing Feng Lai Xian is no longer timely, but Shi Xiangming roars in refusal. He stubbornly believes just a bit more effort will secure the target. At that instant, a spatial portal opens behind him. Shi Xiaoming is sucked in, only managing a furious scream before vanishing. Lai Xian wants to chase, but Zhang Ping stops him, suspecting another trap. After considering it, Lai Xian reins in his anger and agrees to withdraw to base. Lu Sisi leads them to a giant tree, revealing the secret base hidden there. Zhang Ping is stunned. The place has been completely renovated from before. The base is expanded for more people and sits close to the trial land. Inside lies secret base 08, 1,800 meters underground, capable of housing 2,000 people. Zhang Ping marvels at the captain's centuries-long preparations. Situ reveals the investigation team once set up numerous hidden strongholds around the city. Mentioning the current team, they confirm the present captain is Ma Bin. Hearing that, Situ immediately asks Su Qingba about his claim that Ma Bin belongs to the Zhu clan. So Qingba sighs and begins recounting the truth from 10 years ago. Back then, Vice City Lord Hong Ziming ordered the investigation team to wipe out a Zhu clan base. A mysterious informant appeared, raising his suspicions, yet he followed orders anyway. After a week of tracking, they finally located the Zhu clan's headquarters. But just as they prepared to strike, they were ambushed. It was a trap all along. Exhausted from the long pursuit, the team suffered heavy casualties. At that critical moment, Ma Bin betrayed them and ambushed Su Qingba. Tortured with a sinister blade that sealed his powers, Su Qingba faked death to escape. Hearing this, Ye Changchun finally understands why his friend grew so wary and slowly sank. Situ deduces that the investigation team has been manipulated by the Zhu clan for over a decade. Lu Sisi shivers, realizing she'd been living right inside enemy territory. Just then, Manny returns with Chen Lufei and Xu Ji. She curiously studies the two senior figures beside Zhang Ping. Upon hearing the little ant has king tier potential, Manny and Xu Ji perk up instantly. After the intense battle, the group decides to rest at the base to recover. Situ bluntly warns that the current investigation team may now be their enemy. Before making their next move, they must prepare carefully for the looming danger. Manny still looks confused, while Zhang Ping can only give a bitter smile and say it's a long story. Elsewhere, Sacred Ancestor Village is tense, packed with heavy patrols. They've sealed the area under strict orders from the cult leader. Suddenly, a spatial portal opens in the middle of the camp. Sai Xiaoming is thrown out, rolling on the ground in fury. A majestic voice echoes from the shadows, instantly grabbing his attention. Lina Goksu steps out icy as ever, lightly telling the old man to cool his temper. She coldly declares that by exploiting the Saintess power, she'll reach king tier soon enough. She casually permits Sai Xiaoming to use high-level awakeners as corpse refining materials. After arranging everything, she announces a closed-door cultivation to prepare her breakthrough. Before leaving, she warns the old man to obediently stay in his lane. Hearing that, Shi Xiaoming drops to his knees, face pale as paper. All his earlier ferocity vanishes now. He just trembles and obeys. A week later, violent clashes echo nonstop inside the training room. Zhang Ping and Wang Jimin unleash a relentless combo assault on their instructor. Baidi blocks both kick and punch with a single hand effortlessly. He scoffs that their power feels like they skipped breakfast. Triggered, Zhang Ping springs up, ready to hit harder. Activating the Dark Mist body, he slams down with Beast King Fist. Baidi still stops it one-handed, making Zhang Ping even more annoyed. Right then, Wang Jimin suddenly locks Bai Di from behind. A vortex erupts, dragging all three into the eye of the strike. They crash down with a boom, shaking the entire training room. Sitting on the floor, Bai Di curses his old injury hasn't healed and now his students are wrecking him. Zhang Ping mutters back while Wang Jimin hurriedly bows an apology. Chen Weiho restrains the instructor as Zhang Ping grabs Jimin and bolts for food. Despite the scolding, Bai Di secretly marvels at their rapid progress. Entering the lounge, Zhang Ping hears Jinba calling him. Jinba jokes that the infirmary is boring, so he came to move around. Later, Zhang Ping and Jimin visit Zhang Shouzong to repair the battered training room. The blacksmith says they practically wreck equipment daily. When Jimin invites him to eat, Zhang Ping says he has things to handle and tells her to go ahead. He quietly returns to his room, clearly preparing for something. Sidhu calls him over, saying there are crucial matters before heading to the trial land. Meanwhile, in a dark room elsewhere, black-robed figures hold a secret meeting. They blame Zhu Zaming for letting the Saintess be taken yet daring to return. The Grand Elder dismisses it the Saintess awakening accidentally advanced their plan. They predict that if Zhang Ping truly has infinite potential, he'll surely come to the trial land. Zhu Yamping Ma Bin confidently says the investigation team will wait there and ensure Zhang Ping never returns. But the Grand Elder warns them not to underestimate someone with infinite talent. The bigger issue is Sacred Ancestor Village snatched the Saintess before the Zhu clan could exploit her. Another elder mentions the Zhu clan's secret trump card. Someone else fumes he once betrayed the clan to pursue righteousness. Even so, a proposal arises for a scheme forcing him to serve the Zhu clan. This plan requires cooperation from Xiao Zhuang. At the mention of the Forbidden Land, the room turns heavy with tension. The Grand Elder finally makes a cold decision, ordering the Chosen One to depart immediately. Zhu Hongfang grasps a feather flames ignite plan officially activated. The blazing fire signals the launch of the Zhu clan's secret ritual. He vows to complete the mission and not disgrace the family. Deep beneath Mingzhu, Zhu Enlong grumbles about babysitting for the clan. Zhu Hongfang calmly notes only Yuanlong can handle Xiao Zhuyang. He recounts how the brat once wrecked the armory with heavenly lightning, yet Yuanlong still shielded him. They stop before the massive gate leading to the Zhu clan's Forbidden Land. Zhu Yuanlong eyes the gate skeptically. It looks far too ordinary. He bluntly curses the Zhu clan for treating lives like grass, leading to their decline. In his view, such demonic paths will eventually be crushed by righteousness. But stepping deeper inside, he abruptly halts at a horrifying sight. Within lies the gigantic skeleton of the Sun Divine Bird, stunning him. Zhu Hongfang calmly says, "First, let's find Xiao Jiang." He shouts for the kid, but the silence is brutally unhelpful. Zhu Yanlong spots one of Xiao Jiang's coins and his suspicion meter spikes. He coldly states he knew from the start the brat was never here. Yuanlong locks eyes on Zhu Hongfang, demanding she spell out the scheme. Zhu Hongfang claps, praising him as an outstanding awakener. Then she bluntly reveals the real target is Zhu Yanlong himself. Hearing has to be turned into a divine bird, Yuanlong explodes in outrage. Zhu Hongfang calmly says this is the Zhu clan's years-long research result. According to her, only Yuanlong can withstand the Sun Divine Bird's possession. Yuanlong warily asks the price of such power. He bluntly guesses as the sacrifice. He then realizes the surrounding assassins all answer to Zhu Hongfang. No hesitation, he activates Beast God Possession Lightning White Ape King. An assassin charges scythe-swinging Hedon. Zhu Yuanlong catches the blade bare-handed, quick as lightning. He twists and grips the weapon's shaft tight, then blasts the assassin away with a thunderous punch. Another foe instantly hurls a bone-binding chain that locks onto him. Gritting his teeth, Yuanlong recognizes it as a spirit beast suppressing weapon. Even surrounded, he stays calm, ready to counter. Seeing the demon-sealing weapons, he knows they came fully prepared. He roars and erupts with power, shattering chains and blasting assassins aside. Dusting off his hands, he mocks Zhu Hongfang as that all. But suddenly, a sinister face appears with a chilling grin. Zhu Yanlong instantly realizes he's fallen into Xiao Jiang's puppet curse. Zhu Hongfang immediately orders the sacrifice ritual to begin. Back at the base, violent tremors shake the ground. Zhang Ping fears a beast tide. Birds scatter wildly as the earth quakes, signaling a major catastrophe. Even the reinforced walls crack. This is no ordinary earthquake. Manny takes command at the gate, organizing evacuation and prioritizing the injured. Jinba reports he checked every corner, no one left behind in the chaos. From the bracelet, Sidhu Shibai reminds them the Zhao brothers still hold key Sacred Ancestor Village secrets. Understanding the stakes, Zhang Ping volunteers his pure water body boosts survival odds. Lucy objects anxiously, but Zhang Ping assures her he can retreat using water abilities if needed. Still, they warn him if the portal vanishes at 800 meters deep, he's basically doomed. Ye Changchun offers to go with Su Lao to force intel from the prisoners, noting the contract still allows gemstone retrieval. So Qingba sets off immediately. Time waits for no one while Zhang Ping tells the team to move ahead and hell catch up. Elsewhere, Zhu Jian lounges on a sofa reading, utterly unfazed by the chaos outside. The boy smiles darkly, jealous that Zhu Enlong found joy beyond home. Zhu Enlong wreathes in agony underground, while Zhu Jiang laughs like it's prime entertainment. Yuanlong's screams echo through the Forbidden Land. The brutal ritual is underway. Zhu Hongfang calmly declares the ritual complete no matter how strong he was. Now he's just an offering. He claims becoming part of the Divine Bird is more glorious than being human. This sacrifice was long planned. Someone questions why they once cooperated with Tiancheng Fox and stole the Saintess if revival was possible. Zhu Hongfang snaps back. Every move targeted their greatest foe, Situ Shibai. The Zhu clan has fought him for over a century and knows his terrifying power even below king tier. He rivals one. His only weakness is poor mental resistance, so they sought Tianchang Fox and had the Moon King severely wound him. Zhu Hongfang admits that unless cornered, he'd never risk this insane Sun Divine Bird revival plan. The blood before him is the fruit of 40 years of humiliation, raising a lineage strong enough to tame the Divine Bird. Even so, he concedes his blood is far inferior to the Saintess, meaning control will be imperfect. Meanwhile, the Saintess has returned to Sacred Ancestor Village, and Zhang Ping may reach king-level power directly threatening the Zhu clan. Driven into danger, Zhu Hongfang gambles, using an incomplete blood pact to forcibly revive the Divine Bird. After the ritual, the forest trembles violently, as if a colossal being is breaking its seal underground. A deafening explosion tears through rock layers, and a massive shadow rockets into the sky. The Sun Divine Bird awakens, blazing red like a second sun, scorching the heavens. At cleanup bays No. 8, Manny shields her eyes, doubting that light is natural sunlight. Lishan squints, horrified it's a gigantic creature soaring overhead. Linking it to the quake, everyone realizes this disaster is caused by a mutant beast. Manny grimly concludes it's the Zhu clan's Sun Divine Bird, capable of regional annihilation. On a mountaintop, Zhu Hongfang cheers wildly, believing his revival plan succeeded. He boasts the Zhu clan will now control everything their greatest enemy restrained. But mid-celebration, the Divine Bird raises a massive claw and dives at the crowd below. Its stomp leaves a colossal crater before it flies off clearly beyond anyone's control. In Base No. 2's prison, the Zhao brothers realize escape is impossible and await death in despair. Knowing their fate was sealed at capture, they still comfort each other for the end. Suddenly, a gigantic boulder plummets toward them at inescapable speed. With no hope left, Zhao Yanlong and Zhao Yanhu close their eyes for death. Just before impact, a flash and a shout, Zhang Ping charges in to save them. Using Beast King Fist, he braces both arms to hold the falling boulder, the impact shaking the ground, yet he stands firm. Seizing the moment, Su Qingba and Ye Changchun drag the Zhao brothers out of the collapsing zone. Zhang Ping hurls the boulder aside with full force, blasting open an escape path. Wasting no second, he sprints for the exit of the crumbling base. The stunned Zhao brothers barely recover before Zhang Ping warns they're not safe yet. Run to the portal. Looking up, Zhang Ping sees another gigantic boulder crashing down at terrifying speed. The sight triggers buried memories of being buried alive in a past life, freezing him in despair. Urgent shouts snap him back to reality in this life-or-death moment. He sees Su Qingba and Ye Changchun transformed, straining to hold the boulder but nearly spent. Zhao Yanlong still mocks coldly, earning a sharp hush from his brother amid danger. The harsh truth: the base is fully collapsed, and the portal is nearly hopeless. Hearing their resignation, Zhang Ping curses them. They're still hostages and don't get to die easily. Ye Changchun says they could tunnel out, but it would take days' time they absolutely lack. Zhang Ping calculates the air lasts half a day, he might survive, but the Zhao brothers surely won't. From the bracelet, Sidu Shibai reveals their blood can trigger unique energy fluctuations. He suggests Zhang Ping absorb both bloodlines to awaken new power and gamble for escape. Zhang Ping bluntly asks, die here or risk everything in a deal with him. Zhao Yanhu doesn't hesitate, he slices his wrist, offering blood for a shot at survival. At first nothing happens, then Zhang Ping is racked with explosive pain, coughing blood. Su Qingba and Yi Changchun panic at the bizarre reaction from the Zhao brothers' blood. Zhang Ping's eyes flare bright, miscoiling around him, new power loading. A voice in his head confirms it, new talent awakened, King's Gemstone. Above, the colossal Sun Divine Bird keeps flapping, heat roasting the forest alive. Everyone realizes if that monster stays, the inferno never ends. Lu Sissy tries to run back, but Manny yanks her, forcing her to think straight. He stresses the portal's shut and Zhang Ping can self-rescue, no suicidal heroics. Plus, the Divine Bird just killed Zhu clan members and is out of control, staying means burning alive. After inner turmoil, Lu Sissy finally agrees to retreat. Then a voice behind them orders everyone to step back. Lai Xian's squad arrives, declaring they'll hold off the Divine Bird. The team rallies, facing the blazing Titan charging like living fire. With a roar, they all surge forward to block the monster's path. The Divine Bird simply opens its beak, unleashing a shockwave that blows the formation apart. Lai Xian grits his teeth, even he can't withstand that power. At the brink, massive roots burst from the earth. Reinforcements have arrived. Ye Changchun appears with Zhang Ping and the Zhao brothers, fresh from the rubble. He and Su Qingba explode with power, shouting they'll fight together. Lu Sissy rushes over, firing off worried questions at Zhang Ping. Zhang Ping answers briefly, no choice now but forward. He explains he drank Zhao Yanlong's blood, triggering the old king bloodline within him. The contract gemstone evolved into King's Gemstone, boosting contracted beast's stats briefly. He instantly buffs the two seniors to temporary level 40, enough to break free. But absorbing the blood also flooded his mind with strange, cryptic memories. After a beat, he smirks. Sacred Ancestor Village still hides plenty of secrets. Suddenly, Ye Changchun bursts into flames and collapses, making Zhang Ping shout in panic. Overhead, the Divine Bird whips up a sea of fire, blasting Su Qingba and Bai Di away. Lai Xian growls. The Divine Bird's flames carry true solar force far beyond normal fire. Zhang Ping quickly deduces Ye Changchun is elemental countered, only Su Qingba can barely hold on. At the word countered, Manny's eyes flash with an idea. She summons the barrier team, ordering them to stall the Divine Bird for 30 minutes to set a trap. Inside the bracelet, Sidu Shibai quietly marvels the little girl's all grown up. Meanwhile, Zhang Ping wipes blood from his lips and activates King's Gemstone on himself. Power erupts as his level temporarily jumps 5 ranks, ready to face the Divine Bird. The divine bird shrieks and rains down massive fireballs from the sky. The team unleashes everything, blasting the incoming fireballs apart. Behind them, Zhang Shouzhong collapses from sheer energy exhaustion. Manny outlines the plan. Lu Sizi will suppress the divine bird's solar energy. The barrier team must then deploy signal generators to construct a control trap. Meanwhile, the divine bird tilts its head, charging another annihilating strike. But the fireball suddenly fizzles. The energy supply is cut. Ye Changchun explains he created a vacuum around it, snuffing out the flames. Massive roots surge up, binding the divine bird's legs and dragging it down. With explosive force, Ye Changchun slams it hard into the ground. Bai Di, Laixian, and Jinba charge the instant the vacuum effect fades. The trio pours all energy into a combined strike aimed at the beast. A catastrophic explosion shakes the region, dust swallowing the sky. Within the haze, Chen closes his eyes, chanting to summon a colossal sword. From the void, a gigantic blade slowly materializes, radiating terrifying power. At the same time, Zhang Ping feels his strength skyrocket as he breaks into level 19 through bloodline fusion. He wraps Mingwu around Chen Ming's sword, giving it an extra punch. The two roar in unison and unleash their ultimate move together. The massive blade shoots out like lightning, aimed straight at the pinned divine bird. It pierces clean through the monster in one brutal thrust. The divine bird shrieks as blue light erupts across its body. When the dust settles, only a blazing red feather drifts down. Everyone pants, wondering if they just took down a king-tier beast. But the feather suddenly flares red, hinting the show's not over. Situ Shibai warns grimly that the divine bird isn't truly dead yet. Sure enough, it reappears midair and rains down fireballs again. Su Qingba rockets upward, casting a vacuum move to snuff out the flames. The fire keeps raging without air, proving its power laughs at physics. Ye Changchun counters with massive tree branches to bind the beast. In a blink, every branch is burned to ash. Its heat is insane. Zhang Ping turns into a winged black stream, slamming into the bird's neck and making it screech. He shouts that has got it restrained and tells everyone to go all out. The team charges, unleashing every skill they have to finish it. Even Chen Ming's sword melts on impact like ice in the sun. Jinba panics, realizing its heat surpasses even his strongest flames. Turns out the divine bird controls temperature itself, not just fire. Before anyone reacts, it condenses a sun-like energy sphere. The blazing orb shoots straight at Laixian, leaving him no time to dodge. Ye Changchun swiftly catches the falling Laixian, saving him from a fatal crash. Su Qingba appears on his shoulder, coolly announcing their enhancement buff has expired. The others, along with Zhang Ping, quickly land and gather around Laixian. They call his name anxiously, fearing the blow was too much. Laixian coughs blood but forces a smile, saying he nearly kicked the bucket. Meanwhile, Zhang Ping notices his gem effect didn't activate and worry creeps in. As is thinking, Lu Sis's voice suddenly calls out to him. Calm as ever, she says the trap is ready and tells Zhang Ping to lure the bird in. Without hesitation, he flies up, taunting to grab the monster's attention. Mid-flight, he shouts for Ye Changchun to get ready to coordinate. The divine bird charges through Ye Changchun's tree body, making Zhang Ping panic. Below, Manny and Lu Sizi stand ready, waiting for the perfect moment to trigger the trap. At the signal, the group unleashes ice magic, blasting the divine bird head in. The overwhelming heat is crushed by frost, and the monster's body begins to freeze. Its feathers and giant beak slowly ice over. At last, the divine bird becomes a colossal ice statue on the battlefield. Manny warns the trap won't hold long, so they need to retreat ASAP. Ye Changchun pops out of his tree form with a light chuckle, assuring Hes fine. The two seniors decide to retreat into the contract gem to rest after heavy exhaustion. Zun Zhuji realizes the base is completely destroyed, leaving them homeless. If the divine bird breaks free, this whole area will turn into a sea of flames. Sidu Shibai suggests fleeing to the backup base near the training zone. Hearing that, the group bolts at full speed from the battlefield. As expected, cracks begin spreading across the ice encasing the divine bird. Manny glances back and panics as the trap starts failing. She urgently tells everyone to find cover before the monster breaks out. Zhang Ping takes out the Mingwu lamp to conceal their aura and leads the escape. The group quickly hides inside a nearby cave to avoid the divine bird. Seeing Zhang Ping collapse from exhaustion, Lu Sisi rushes back, bombarding him with worried questions. Zhang Ping wipes his sweat and assures everyone he just overused Mingwu and needs a short break. Chen Ming worries that going deeper into the training ruins might lure the divine bird there. Zhang Ping firmly says it's an ancient human relic, so no way they are letting the bird wreck it. Situ confirms the training ground has a mystical aura concealing trait, so the bird can't track them. However, he warns the investigation team there may have long been infiltrated by a mysterious force. Hearing Shanzu, Laixian jolts, knowing it's a terrifying king-level beast. Sidu says Shanzu is near the training zone, so they must detour and carry morning glory flowers to avoid it. Zhang Ping finds it odd that a king-tier beast fears such an ordinary-looking flower. After thinking it over, he decides to hunt for food and gather more morning glories. Laixian and Bai Di offer to go instead, knowing Zhang Ping is exhausted. Zhang Ping explains nighttime is when his powers shine brightest. Lu Sisi chooses to join, and Zhang Ping agrees since she knows the wild terrain well. Before leaving, he tells Zhang Shouzhong to set extra traps just in case. At a nearby lake, many mutant beasts drink peacefully, clueless about the looming danger. In the dark, a purple-black glint with predatory eyes creeps closer. As a mutant boar struggles in a trap, Zhang Ping turns Mingwu into a black panther and pounces. He finishes the prey in seconds, securing dinner for the team. The system chimes, announcing Mingwu has regained energy. Zhang Ping grins, hunting with Mingwu is fast and recharges him too. Just then, Lu Cece calls out, sounding like she has found something. She points to a glowing red flower in the treetop, saying it's a morning glory. Zhang Ping steps closer to inspect the strange glowing flower in the dark. It looks perfectly normal, which only deepens his curiosity. The moment he touches it, the flower sprays a horrendous stench like a booby trap. The smell nearly makes Zhang Ping puke, and he instantly understands why Shanzu hates it. Lu Cece laughs, saying some places even use its stench as a torture method. Suddenly, Zhang Ping notices countless shimmering lights among the treetops. The dreamy scene makes him marvel at its rare beauty. Lu Cece explains their seeds of luminous firegrass drifting on the wind to grow elsewhere. Gazing at the peaceful sight, she sighs, wishing the world had no conflict. Zhang Ping quietly takes out a small bottle to protect the glowing seeds. He says the future isn't always set in stone. The bottle not only stores the seeds, but also blocks the awful morning glory smell. Blushing, Lu Cece turns away and urges him to hurry back before the others worry. Elsewhere, the divine bird soars through the sky, its body blazing. It suddenly unleashes a rain of fire, incinerating the mutant beasts below. Meanwhile, in the cave, the team grills meet around a fire after their escape. Eating barbecue amid life and death chaos makes it feel oddly like a camping trip. Just as the Zhao brothers gloomily discuss their tool-like fate, a plate of grilled meat appears. Zhang Ping laughs and hands them the meat, telling them to stop moping and eat. The brothers exchange looks and accept it, feeling treated like humans for the first time. The brief peace shatters as the ground suddenly trembles violently. Lu Cece rushes to the cave entrance, pointing at the blazing red glow outside. Outside, the forest burns fiercely as herds of mutant beasts flee downhill in panic. A massive flaming silhouette then shoots into the sky. Everyone realizes the divine bird is using wildfire to flush them out. Zhang Ping calmly checks the wind direction and decides to stay put until the beast tide passes. After a while, the flames weaken and the forest grows quiet again. Elsewhere, investigation team Captain Ma Bin lies in ambush, waiting for someone named Zhang Ping. He's especially wary because rumors say Zhang Ping is an infinite-level awakened. Intelligence claims his contract gem ability is bizarre and still hiding many skills. Ma Bin warns his men never to underestimate this dangerous target. Meanwhile, Zhang Ping gets a notice that Wind Whisper has ended and spots the ambush. He tells Lu Cece there are at least 2 top-tier awakened outside. Lai Xian calculates that at full strength, he could handle one of them. Zhang Ping says even as mid-tier, his appraisal skills let him hold his own. He orders the team to rotate guard and rest up before making a move. At dawn, sunlight pours into the cave, marking a new day. Just then, Zhang Shozong rushes in with bad news. The group bolts outside to check the situation. The sight freezes everyone in shock. The entire forest is scorched by the divine bird, only a path through the burned land remains. Sidhu confirms it's the sole route to the training zone, no detours possible. Zhang Ping worries the Mingwu lamp is running low and won't hide them long. When he says with great power comes great responsibility, everyone is impressed. The Zhao brothers recall being saved and treated like humans for the first time. In their eyes, Zhang Ping suddenly becomes a heroic savior. They abruptly shout, baffling the rest of the group. Zhao Yanlong declares has found a way to help Zhang Ping. Zhao Yan who immediately kneels, asking to follow him. The brothers swear lifelong loyalty and pledge to obey Zhang Ping. They even offer to swallow a contract gem to prove it. Zhang Ping seriously asks what made them decide this. They reply their lives were saved by him, so they want to follow someone trustworthy. First, Zhang Ping asks how many innocents they've killed to judge their character. He warns the contract gem is domineering once signed, there's no turning back. The brothers insist they've thought it through and won't regret it. Finally, they swallow the gems and form a contract with Zhang Ping. The system confirms 2 new summoned beasts, Zhao Yanhu and Zhao Yanlong. Sweating, Zhang Ping waves them off, saying no need for worship, just be teammates. Still, he asks what plan they actually have to help the team. The brothers request a short leave to prepare. The group watches them leap away like jungle apes, doubting their reliability. Some even suspect they now see Zhang Ping as a god, hence the weird behavior. Zhang Shozong jokes that maybe Zhang Ping used mind control to gain their devotion. Zhang Ping instantly denies it, saying if he had that power, he'd aim at Sissy or Xuji instead. Zhang Shozong blurts out they're twins, making the atmosphere even stranger. Suddenly, the ground trembles and a huge mound rises before them. The Zhao brothers reappear riding a colossal burrowing beast. Sidhu explains it's a divine burrow lizard capable of tunneling underground, but he warns it won't dare approach the territory of the king beast Shan Zhu. Even so, the team decides to use it to get as close to the training zone as possible. The lizard immediately digs deep, carrying them forward underground. The bumpy tunnel ride leaves everyone horribly motion-sick like a roller coaster. When it stops, they tumble out, realizing the beast won't go farther. Sidhu eyes the canyon ahead and recognizes it as the gateway to the training zone. Before entering, they distribute morning glory flowers to avoid Shanzu. Lu Cece quickly hands one to each member. Zhang Ping asks for 2 extra to prepare for the seniors inside the contract gem. He worries not only the Zhou family's ambush, but also the divine bird might strike again. Bai Di reminds them another attack from the divine bird would be disastrous. Clutching the gem, Zhang Ping says this time he has a counterplan. He arranges for the weak and injured to retreat to safety before going deeper. In the sky, the divine bird spots Zhang Ping's group and sends a signal elsewhere. A young girl spots them and reports their location to Captain Ma Bin. Ma Bin sneers, saying Zhang Ping's luck is about to run out. He orders the ambush ready, kicking off a full-blown massacre. Unaware, Zhang Ping's group enters the training zone on high alert. Suddenly, 2 redayed mutant beasts leap down from above. Baidu reacts fast, springing back to dodge. He spins and throws a devastating punch in return. The creature explodes, shocking Zhang Ping with its freakish strength. Sidhu explains it's a demonic hamster bear, as strong as a reinforcement type awakened. Just then, Zhang Shouzhong panics and points at the sky. A giant toad appears. They recognize it as the king beast Shanzhu. Zhang Ping also notices someone perched on a tree, watching them. Lai Xian attacks instantly, forcing the ambusher to leap out in panic. Zhang Ping swings the Mingwu scythe and cuts the foe down on the spot. The system announces Mingwu has broken through to a new level, its energy surging. A girl hurriedly reports that a Lu is dead. Their ambush has clearly been exposed. Hearing this, Ma Bin calmly smokes, realizing it's a provocation, and orders a counterattack. The man condenses energy into a giant spear and hurls it at Zhang Ping, aiming to crush him. Seeing it fly over, Zhang Ping smirks, hardly worth panicking over. He raises a Mingwu shield, casually testing if the new level can tank a full-force hit. The spear collides in a thunderous blast, yet the Mingwu wall stands firm. As dust clears, Zhang Ping retracts Mingwu and coolly asks, making it clear the attack did nothing. Zhou Sanqi turns serious, shocked a mid-tier awakened blocked his full strike. Ma Bin appears behind them, eyes icy. An infinite type must die before maturing. Su Qingba flares up at the sight of Ma Bin, while Zhang Ping activates appraisal at once. Realizing the enemy has 3 peak tier awakened, Zhang Ping quickly splits battle rolls to avoid being crushed. Lu Sissy and the cleanup squad take on the 6 high-tier foes. Boasting 7 on 6 would be embarrassing to lose. Ma Bin grows more determined. Having suffered under Sidhu Shibai, no more infinite monsters allowed to grow. He orders no holding back and summons the Zhou family's most terrifying trump card. Drawing his blade, Ma Bin charges, declaring their sole mission: kill Zhang Ping. As they clash, a wind blade slashes in, forcing Ma Bin to retreat instantly. Answering the call, the spirit of blazing flames begins awakening in the sky. The heavens ignite as the sun divine bird descends, its heat warping the battlefield. Seeing the divine beast, Ma Bin laughs mid-fight. The tide has turned. Using Zhang Ping's momentum, he disengages and orders everyone to retreat from the center. Lu Sisi is horrified at the sun divine bird, while Zhang Ping realizes it should have been out of control. Above, the bird condenses a colossal fireball, turning the sky apocalyptic. Sensing doom, Zhang Ping shouts for everyone to dodge before the cataclysm hits. Dozens of fireballs rain down like meteors, smashing the ground and forcing even Zhang Ping to roll for cover. Amid chaos, he notices the strange fact: the bird still seems controlled. A thought flashes and Zhang Ping dashes straight at Ma Bin, as if spotting the key. Seeing him charge, Ma Bin frowns but raises his blade, thinking it's desperation. Zhang Ping activates pure water body, flowing past the blade and making Ma Bin's counter miss completely. At that moment, Ma Bin looks up to see a massive pillar of fire crashing down toward them both. The fire pillar detonates on impact, shockwaves turning everything nearby into a raging inferno. Ma Bin staggers back, gasping, realizing Zhang Ping dragged him into the bird's bombardment zone on purpose. Zhang Ping mocks him, saying summoning a divine beast mid-battle means accepting it might die here. Amid the chaos, Zhang Ping calls everyone together and triggers the backup plan. The King Contract Gem glows as he orders the 2 seniors to execute the preset strategy. Ye Changchun and Su Qingba appear in special battle forms, directly blocking the divine bird. The duo openly taunts the beast, drawing all its aggro onto themselves. Seeing Su Qingba alive, Ma Bin's jaw drops. He was sure the old man was dead. Su Qingba coldly declares he'll pluck the bird first, then settle scores with Ma Bin. When Ma Bin turns back, Zhang Ping's entire group has vanished. He instantly realizes he's fallen for a Lurathettiger trick stalled so Zhang Ping could escape. Ma Bin orders pursuit, convinced Zhang Ping can't outrun his hunt. Meanwhile, Zhang Ping leads the team with the Mingwu lamp, saying they're just over 10 kilometers from the target. Lu Sisi worries if the whole team couldn't hurt the bird before. Can just 2 seniors really hold it off? Zhang Ping smiles calmly. This lurid retreat plan was calculated in advance. He explains Shanzhu is fiercely territorial. Once it senses intrusion, it will show up. The seniors carry morning glories to stall, waiting to spark a monster showdown. Someone fears the Zhou investigation team might interfere and ruin everything. Zhang Ping smirks. He deliberately flew the bird over them and saw they had to dodge too. That proves the Zhou family can't truly control it, only barely restrain it. He urges everyone to speed up. The enemy will track them sooner or later. On the other side, a subordinate reports they can't sense Zhang Ping's group at all. Ma Bin suspects a treasure masking their aura, but how can it hide an entire squad? After brief thought, he decides on an extreme method to break the concealment. His subordinate panics, knowing the severe side effects, but Ma Bin insists. He coldly asks who'll bear the cost if Zhang Ping reaches the trial zone, silencing objections. Ma Bin opens a box, revealing a sinister purple-black eye, and swallows it without hesitation. Instantly, his body convulses in agony as twisted power tears through him. Grinding his teeth, he unleashes all stored souls, unlocking the monster within. Thousands of purple-black souls scatter like hunting wraiths, tracking the target's trail. Ma Bin sneers, hide the aura if you want, but soul traces can't escape his evil spirits. The spirits quickly catch up, and Zhang Ping notices they resemble his Mingwu in structure. Realizing they're wraiths, has met with a sudden assault from a wraith king. A soul blade slashes down, forcing the group to react instantly. Feng Laishan roars in disdain and smashes the wraith apart, loathing such sinister tricks. Amid the melee, Ma Bin's squad arrives and joins the battlefield. One enemy rises skyward, forming a massive fireball aimed at Zhang Ping. Lai Xian shatters the first strike, but enemy pressure keeps mounting. The girl hurls another giant fireball, intent on burning the entire team. The explosion engulfs Zhang Ping and Lai Xian, smoke thick enough for foes to assume they're dead. Yet a calm voice echoes from within the flames, stunning the enemy. Lai Xian steps out in Scarlet Emperor Undying Body, Phoenix Flame form, even thanking them for powering him up. Their flames prove useless against him, and the enemy finally realizes Zhang Ping's team is far more dangerous than expected. Right then, Ma Bin appears behind them with sky-high killing intent and orders targets split. He declares he'll personally kill Zhang Ping, his body now twisted like a monster. Lai Xian unleashes Beast King Fist, creating a massive fire tornado that incinerates incoming wraiths. An enemy realizes Lai Xian counters him and immediately swaps out. The replacement hurls a mysterious flying dagger straight at Lai Xian like a hidden kill move. The seemingly harmless blade pierces the fire vortex, shattering Lai Xian's defense. It drives through the flames and into his chest, freezing the battlefield in tension. The enemy charges in, determined to finish Lai Xian the moment his guard breaks. Closing in, he locks both of Lai Xian's shoulders with twin blades, forcing deadly close combat. He coldly praises Lai Xian's strength, sounding like a hunter savoring prey. Elsewhere, Zhang Shouzhang and Man are tightly bound by wraiths, the pressure crushing tighter. Lu Sisi, Chen Ming, and Jinba rush in to disperse the wraiths and rescue them. The girl coldly forms a massive fireball and hurls it into the battlefield. The blast shakes the area, making Zhang Ping turn an alarm for his team. Seizing the moment, Ma Bin swings his great blade from behind, roaring to cut Zhang Ping down. Zhang Ping dodges, but Ma Bin chases madly, eyes glowing red like his lost control. The blade slams down, yet Zhang Ping turns into flowing water and slips past it. Seeing Ma Bin's frenzy, Zhang Ping senses some force is overstimulating him. He suspects cursed armor or sinister power is forcing a beyond-limit outburst. A bizarre eye suddenly attacks, forcing Zhang Ping to evade and question its origin. Realizing the situation is spiraling, Zhang Ping knows retreat is slipping away. He casts Mingwu into a massive barrier, enclosing Ma Bin to seize control of the field. Trapped inside, Ma Bin shows no panic, his gaze only grows eerier. Zhang Ping dashes past and swings terror-reaping scythe to end it swiftly. The system reports a surge in Mingwu conversion after the strike, but the cut feels too light, something's wrong. Ma Bin didn't even defend, as if waiting for something to happen. Zhang Ping suspects his body is cursed and being devoured by that power. A colossal wraith phantom erupts from Ma Bin, howling and shaking space itself. At that instant, a familiar voice in Zhang Ping's mind warns him to run. He realizes it's Su Jingjiao's voice and is stunned at her sudden presence. While resisting the pressure, he guesses Su Jingjiao may be trapped inside that eye. Seeking answers, he orders the system to appraise the eye's origin. The system activates, replaying past images tied to the sinister object. A memory shows a terrified child held tightly by her mother amid chaos. A Mingju city soldier shouts that the military won't forgive the Zhou family's crimes. Has kicked into a pit mid-sentence, proving the Zhou family already controls everything. A subordinate reports preparations complete, the ritual can begin immediately. The captives realize the commander is Investigation Captain Ma Bin. The Zhou family ignores pleas and coldly proceeds with the evil ritual. A massive magic circle forms around the pit like a sacrifice engine. Countless grotesque arms reach up from below, driving the captives into panic. One arm grabs a victim's leg and drags him underground like prey to hell. Cries and pleas echo everywhere, yet the Zhou family remains unmoved. Sinister flames descend, devouring each person as if savoring the sacrifice. From the horrific ritual, a colossal eye slowly takes shape. When the eye opens, grotesque slime clings to victims and begins parasitic takeover. Learning its crimes, Zhang Ping declares a planned change. Ma Bin cannot be spared. Knowing Ma Bin's sins, Zhang Ping decides to stay and finish him personally. He flash steps forward, swinging his death scythe at the foe. The monster reacts instantly, blocking with a sword, its power clearly far beyond before. The counterstrike blasts Zhang Ping away, proving Ma Bin's mutation is a full upgrade. It follows with a lethal energy beam to end him outright. Zhang Ping dodges, but the monster presses relentlessly, no breathing room. A blade nearly splits his skull, yet he liquefies in time to slip death by inches. Regaining footing, he realizes the mutation massively boosted his opponent. Refusing delay, Zhang Ping burns 500 Mingwu to max out his attack power. In a blink, he closes in, slashing to test the monster's reaction. With the King Contract Gem, he now wields two energies simultaneously. The two forces can even fuse into an entirely new power. He merges Mingwu body with Devourer of True Flame, creating a new ability, Nether Flame. Targeting the eye's weak point, Zhang Ping strikes with precision. In an instant, he rips out the sinister eye and crushes it on the spot. The system announces he slew the evil grudge eye beyond his level and has broken through. He advances to Heidir Awakened, sensing this leap ties to his evolution path. Zhang Ping guesses further growth may follow the aberrant Devourer route. Meanwhile, Ma Bin reverts toward human form, body collapsing as if drained dry. Yet he still sneers, implying it's far from over. He claims destroying the evil grudge eye only released something worse. Zhang Ping immediately thinks of Su Jingjia's soul. Where is she imprisoned? Another eye appears, absorbing all resentment, as Ma Bin screams the real consequence is coming. A bizarre illusion unfolds before Zhang Ping's eye. In it, Zhang Xiaozhang panics as more and more souls gather. A wraith suddenly pierces through a body, plunging the scene into chaos. Zhang Ping senses something deeply wrong with the surrounding space. He wonders what cursed realm has been dragged into. Cries for help echo everywhere, as if countless souls beg for rescue. Trying to reach them, he passes through their bodies like a ghost. He then watches helplessly as the souls are seized in despair. A stabbing pain assaults his mind, and he grits his teeth to endure. He realizes his directly empathizing with their agony. Each time a soul falls, his own body feels as if it died too. Zhang Ping understands he's been pulled into a layer of soul memory. Perhaps this is the final memory of those sacrificed. Worse still, he must relive every death in relentless succession. This is the true power of the Scourge Grudge Eye. After enduring dozens of deaths in the illusion, Zhang Ping is nearly spent. Then he sees a monster about to bite a child to death. He rushes to pull it off Su Jingjiao, only to find he can't touch it. Bitterly, he realizes his forced to witness her pain as cruel punishment. Suddenly, a soul identical to Su Jingjiao appears before him. Zhang Ping recalls a senior saying she split her soul before death to preserve awareness. But that meant she had to watch her own body be devoured. Finding her soul yet unable to save her, Zhang Ping can only apologize for breaking his promise. But when he reached out this time, Zhang Ping actually grabbed her soul. Surprise, it's solid. Realizing he could touch her, Zhang Ping was instantly shaken. He figured her soul wasn't gone, just overloaded into a depressed, power-crashed state. Looking around, Zhang Ping saw the formation looked eerily like the earlier sacrificial ritual. He guessed Ma Bin was fueling it with living energy and countless wandering souls. If a soul got fully sucked in, resistance was basically game over. So Zhang Ping chose to gamble his life to save her, no hesitation. He immediately used the contract spell to yank Su Jingjiao out of her soul slump. The entire soul space began shaking like it owed someone money. A restriction circle flared underfoot as Zhang Ping screamed her name. He insisted she wasn't dead nor just another swallowed wandering soul. Zhang Ping reminded her of her dream to join the patrol team and protect her family. He recalled her wish for them to fight together for a shared future. Every time he survived hell, it was because she guarded him from the shadows. Pouring in all his strength, Zhang Ping dragged her soul closer. He handed her the gemstone and ordered her to wake up. An old memory surfaced of him once giving her that very stone. Back then she coldly refused, not wanting to rely on him. Yet that memory sparked the last ember of will inside her soul. Finally, Su Jingjiao reached out and accepted the stone. The system promptly announced Su Jingjiao's soul had signed the contract. Zhang Ping immediately ordered her to stop the formation from devouring her soul. Moments later, she collapsed into his arms as consciousness trickled back. Su Jingjiao opened her eyes and saw Zhang Ping right in front of her. Zhang Ping finally breathed easy, had dragged her back from total collapse. He explained the formation specialized in refining souls once caught. Escape was nearly impossible. Had even thought at least he could say goodbye before the end. Su Jingjiao instantly scolded him for being an idiot who gave up too soon. Realizing she stood outside the formation's range, she pulled Zhang Ping out at once. They fell out of the soul space and hit the ground in spectacularly pathetic fashion. Zhang Ping was stunned to find his injuries almost fully healed. Su Jingjiao explained her soul tempering ability let her influence other souls. She added the formation was imprisoning countless souls to absorb resentment as fuel. Now soul-linked with Zhang Ping, he could borrow her power to save the rest. With their soul link, Zhang Ping used nether mist to drag all trapped souls out. Hundreds of nether mist strands shot from the sky like cosmic tow ropes, freeing each soul. Waking up, Zhang Ping realized he'd returned to the real world and searched for the others. Su Jingjiao sighed in relief, but complained had just drained way too much of her soul energy. Zhang Ping grinned, saying she was the one who told him to pull everyone out in one go. He was just glad she was finally back, even if everyone had waited ages. Su Jingjiao smiled softly. Shed always believed Zhang Ping would save her. Zhang Ping brought out the body he had prepared and said it was finally time to return it to her. Seeing her well-preserved body, Su Jingjiao felt touched and slightly weirded out. She explained her soul had actually stayed by his side all along, though he couldn't sense it. Her ability allowed out-of-body soul attacks on minds, but returning to her body was tricky. If she forcibly possessed another body, its host energy would corrode her soul forever. Zhang Ping realized the issue was her soul hadn't accepted that body as truly hers. He immediately used the contract to command her to recognize the body and return. Instantly, a force sucked her soul straight back into the flesh. Seconds later, Su Jingjiao opened her eyes, fully revived in her own body. She was surprised that returning to her body turned out far easier than expected. Still wary, she asked Zhang Ping if he'd ever used the contract for any weird commands later. Soon after, the others escaped the soul world one by one. Everyone was annoyed at being trapped helplessly inside the formation. They quickly realized Su Jingjiao had shattered it with soul power and saved them all. Someone worried that if they escaped, Ma Bin's side might have too. Su Jingjiao explained the formation needed many operators, but Ma Bin self-sacrificed to force it on. So he never expected her to break it or Zhang Ping to wake her inside the soul world. Those tied to her family's tragedy had also perished in the battle. Lai Xian checked the battlefield and confirmed all remaining enemies were wiped out. Ashu curiously asked why Su Jingjiao suddenly awakened after so long. Before anyone could explain, the ground began to quake violently. Zhang Ping instantly knew it wasn't an earthquake. Shanzu was waking underground. On another battlefield, the Solar Divine Bird counterattacked with a barrage of fireballs. Shanzu responded by spewing massive energy to blast the bird away. The Solar Divine Bird flared with blinding light to resist the strike. The clash of the two colossal beasts made sky and earth tremble. The Morning Glory flower worked perfectly, successfully provoking the two anomalies into battle. Thanks to that, the two seniors believed Zhang Ping's group had enough time to retreat. On Zhang Ping's side, C2 explained they stood at the entrance to the trial land. Only Zhang Ping could open the true gate, but he needed more prep time. They decided to rest while waiting for the two seniors stalling the beasts. Zhang Ping revealed Su Jingjiao's grandfather had once told him about her ability. Meanwhile, a distant group in black secretly watched, vowing Ma Bin's death would be in vain. After the intense battle, Zhang Ping casually grilled meat for everyone to recharge. Even during downtime, they trained because in this world, slacking equals dying. As Zhang Ping focused on grilling, someone staggered toward him. A gaunt figure begged for food and Zhang Ping almost attacked, mistaking him for a zombie. But a closer look showed he was weaker than a corpse, not an actual zombie. Turns out it was Shou Zhong, so Zhang Ping tossed him a roasted drumstick. While others ate and rested, Su Jingjiao's group chatted inside the tent. Manny curiously asked about Su Jingjiao and Zhang Ping's relationship after learning they were classmates. Su Jingjiao said she left the orphanage early and lost contact with Zhang Ping. Teasing followed, leaving her blushing and speechless. Still, she seriously said they'd fight together from now on and hoped for everyone's support. Manny was touched. It was the first time someone called her big sister instead of a kid. She immediately dragged Su Jingjiao into the cleanup squad and vowed to protect her. Just then, a familiar voice outside stunned Su Jingjiao. The two seniors returned, saying the solar divine bird was still locked in battle with Shan Zhu. Hearing her grandfather's voice, Su Jingjiao rushed out instantly. Seeing his granddaughter alive, her grandfather froze in disbelief. Trembling, he asked if she was truly Su Jingjiao. Zhang Ping explained Zhu Yamping had used a soul-sucking formation that dragged her in. He seized the chance to pull her soul from its slump and rebuild her body. Hearing this, her grandfather was so relieved he nearly cried. Su Jingjiao hugged him tightly, having thought he was dead. He could only apologize for failing to protect the family from tragedy. Rage surged as he demanded to know where the culprit was. Su Jingjiao calmed him, saying Zhang Ping had already killed him. Her grandfather laughed happily. His granddaughter had finally grown up. But then he collapsed from exhaustion, sending everyone into panic. The group quickly surrounded him to check his condition. Turns out Grandpa only suffered serious internal injuries from the earlier fight. After some quick treatment, everyone confirmed he'd pull through. A full day of non-stop combat left the whole team utterly drained. Zhang Ping offered to stand guard while the others rested. In the dark, the black-clad group crept closer, sensing a perfect ambush chance. But one of them panicked. The guard was the guy who killed their captain. In the end, they decided to call reinforcements before making a move. Two black-clad squads gathered and plotted a surprise attack. The next morning, Zhang Ping's group headed to the secret realm gate to enter. C2 explained the secret realm had 8 trial levels, each a brutal checkpoint. Once activated, everyone would see a completely different scene. As soon as they entered, the black-clad group chased in right behind them. Crossing the gate, they were tossed into a strange forest, the true battlefield of the mission. A system mission notice popped up mid-forest, shocking everyone that this wilderness was still monitored. Hearing about the exotic beast bird A Traba, they were baffled. None had heard of it, maybe ultra-rare. The captain explained each trial had a different target, so they'd have to track this mystery bird themselves. No sooner had he mentioned tracks than a swarm of small snakes poured out, like the forest RSVP'd. The rookies panicked, thinking it was an attack, unaware the snakes were tied to the captain. He calmly reassured them it was he who summoned them, sparking curiosity about his real plan. His blood irresistibly attracted snakes, turning them into living intel sources in the forest. He asked the snake leader about bird A Traba, but the hist reply was disappointingly useless. Even the snakes knew nothing, forcing the team to investigate without local beast gossip. Insulted as small-brained, the snake leader flared up, scales raised for a lesson in respect. The young man quickly apologized. Picking a fight with a snake swarm was suicide. Just as tensions peaked, someone suddenly had a splitting headache. Something was wrong with the air. He realized it was toxic gas in the forest and ordered gas masks before anyone dropped. At the command, they yanked gear from backpacks seconds slower and they'd be done. Masks on, the team steadied their breathing before the poison seeped deeper. One tried detoxifying with an ability but failed. The forest toxin was nastier than expected. Jinba used his golden blood to purge the poison and suggested the snakes guide them to safety first. Led by the snakes, they ventured deeper where exotic beasts grew denser. While moving, he spotted a strange feather on the ground and bent to inspect it. But mid-crouch, his instincts flared. Something felt off. Closer inspection revealed a hollow tree trunk nearby, hinting something once occupied it. The rotted, insect-eaten tree suggested long abandonment or a former nest of something big. When asked, he confirmed the feather belonged to a zui bird, proving many bird species lived here. Teammates suspected the feather linked to bird A Traba and asked for deeper analysis. He cautiously dismissed it. The forest was vast. One feather proved nothing. So they chose to keep searching for better clues nearby. As night fell, they split up to hunt and capture every bird possible. The mission could involve any species. Sasai acted directly, using ice freeze to immobilize an entire flock by the lake. In moments, all birds around the lake were frozen solid. Inspection loot secured. Elsewhere, teammates caught birds barehanded, determined to check every species. After the hunt, they roasted one bird to eat. Field research and dinner in one go. The more they hunted, the weirder it felt. The simple mission target, bird A Traba, was nowhere in sight. Someone fake mourned the slaughtered birds while chewing enthusiastically, earning instant ridicule. He defended himself, claiming his gas mask saved everyone from the toxic forest. Mid-argument, he sensed someone spying behind them and barked for them to come out. Tension spiked. Enemy or lost traveler. Some hadn't sensed a thing. One member stepped forward gently, trying to coax the hidden watcher out without panic. A trembling stranger emerged, clearly terrified by the group. The child stuttered, asking if they were heroes hunting Bird A Tra-Ba, so she knew something. At the name Bird A Tra-Ba, the group bombarded her with questions. She introduced herself as Jujo from Bamboo Origin Village, a place in deep trouble. Before finishing, Jujo teared up, hinting at something truly awful. She sobbed that Bird A Tra-Ba attacked the village, leaving everyone in a horrifying state. The group calmed her and asked for details. Know the monster to kill the monster. Jujo said it was once just legend until she saw the creature's true form. It began when a villager brought home a stunningly beautiful woman. From then on, she sang each morning, enchanting villagers into abandoning work to listen. No one suspected a thing until Jujo ate a strange fruit yesterday and fainted. Upon waking, she saw the woman's face twisted into the legendary Bird A Tra-Ba. Legend says the bird disguises as a beauty and drains human spirit power through song. Jujo tried waking the villagers, but all were lost in the melody, unresponsive. Her resistance caught the monster's attention, turning things deadly. She fled the village in terror. Oddly, the creature didn't chase, leading her to the heroes. Seeing the feather in their hands, Jujo believed the prophecy had come true. She warned Bird A Tra-Ba feeds on spirit power and excels at disguise and mind control. The group concluded it was a mental type anomaly and needed careful prep. Not wasting time, they asked Jujo to guide them back to identify a target. Soon, they arrived at Bamboo Origin Village where it all began. Jujo joyfully ran in to call her parents, believing rescue had arrived. But within steps, the group sensed something wrong. The village was eerily silent. At this hour, the monster should have been singing, yet the silence was chilling. A bad feeling hit. Jujo panicked and ran to find her parents despite warnings. The moment a door opened, a sight froze everyone in place. 4 Bird A Tra-Ba had ambushed the village, clearly premeditated. With no retreat, the group charged before being overwhelmed. Manny realized they'd walked into a trap, but fighting was the only option. The birds unleashed piercing sound waves, rattling minds like they'd explode. Some members were controlled by the sound, nearly dragged off mid-battle. Zhang Ping stayed sharp, slashing repeatedly at the bird's wings to break momentum. Thanks to him, several captured teammates were rescued in time. The team coordinated instantly, each focusing on taking down one bird to ease pressure. As they neared the last one, it suddenly roared and counterattacked fiercely. The powerful strike blasted a member far away instantly. Zhang Ping moved to chase, but Sisai stopped him. Too dangerous right now. She warned they were ambushed, and injured pursuit now was suicide. Zhang Ping quickly used appraisal on the anomaly to confirm its true nature. The appraisal confirmed it a mental-type monster that kidnaps humans to feed its chicks. Knowing the villagers might still live, Zhang Ping chose to risk it and hunt the nest despite the danger. The team agreed to move together, letting Ada track the trail to Bird A Tra-Ba's lair. Someone worried whether those left behind could survive a counterattack. Zhang Ping reassured them the bird's wings were mostly broken, they would dare return soon. C2 suddenly warned the lair's layout mirrored one from a century ago. This ruin was baiting them into overconfidence. As they advanced, the guide snake signaled alarm. An anomaly lurked ahead. They halted before a colossal ancient tree, likely the nest's core. 2 Bird A Tra-Ba perched on the trunk as guards the first defense line. Zhang Ping crept closer, alert them, and the whole nest would wake up. He used appraisal, confirming they were gatekeepers but still deadly. Level 33, weak point at the throat bone, perfect for a fatal strike. Suddenly the 2 birds grew suspicious. Exposure was seconds away. Turns out the guide snake was eyeing them hungrily, accidentally drawing attention. The snake slowly slithered up the trunk, distracting the guards at the perfect moment. Zhang Ping and CC seized the chance, striking before any alarm call. One sword, one punch, both hit the weak points. The guards dropped instantly. The ambush was so swift the birds died before reacting. Zhang Ping even chained their necks to ensure no sound reached inside. Jingjiao scanned the area and confirmed only those 2 were on watch. They guessed the entrance was nearby and left a dot outside on guard. With time short, they split up. Any danger meant immediate signals. Zhang Ping chose to go deeper alone. His spirit power suited this enemy. Inside, a strange gust made him pause and listen. It wasn't wind, it sounded like a massive creature breathing in the dark. Following the sound, he reached a deeper cavern mouth. Curious yet cautious, he leaned down to see what lay below. The sight chilled him. The nest's ugly truth was exposed. Inside were eggs and newborn Bird A Tra being raised. Worse, the chicks' faces bore twisted human-like features. For a moment, Zhang Ping hesitated. Killing them meant slaughtering the young. Just then, teammates reported the villagers were alive but trapped in a hypnotic sleep. He realized the villagers were merely stored food for the chicks. Knowing delay meant more deaths, he crushed his hesitation. Coldly, Zhang Ping swung his blade, wiping out the entire brood before they matured. In moments, the nest was cleared, breeding line severed. Task done, he rushed to aid teammates rescuing villagers. Elsewhere, Sisai carried villagers while sensing things were too easy like a trap. She realized the enemy was herding them together for a total wipeout. Space sealed around them, sonic waves battered their mental defenses to the brink. At the crisis peak, the sound waves abruptly stopped, leaving Jingjiao confused. An ice wall suddenly formed to shield them. Someone had intervened. When the bird turned to check, Zhang Ping stood behind it, scythe at its throat. Seeing its kin decapitated, the last Bird A Tra-Ba panicked at his terrifying presence. Zhang Ping said nothing, just blinked forward, deepening its fear. Cornered, it decided this was its final chance to unleash full power. The bird screeched, unleashing demonic sound to turn Zhang Ping into its puppet. A terrifying sonic wave blasted forward, making the air quake violently. The demonic sound shook the entire nest, clearly its ultimate move. Zhang Ping sensed this wave was fiercer than before. The monster was going all in. The bird was confident no one at this range could withstand its mental assault. Yet mid-boast, a crack of blood split across its chest, freezing it in shock. Zhang Ping coldly mocked that such noise barely qualified as a mental attack. The bird-eye Traba was horrified its demonic sound was completely useless. A spine-chilling sense of danger made it whip its head around. Behind it, a gigantic arm lunged out like a trap long prepared. In an instant, the bird was crushed in that grip, utterly powerless. Zhang Ping closed in and barked for silence before it could struggle. One decisive slash fell. The bird-eye Traba leader was cleanly beheaded. With the leader dead, the trial complete. Only by finishing the trial could they level up. Now the rewards began distributing. Soon a teleportation gate appeared inside the nest. The gate slowly widened, the only exit from the trial zone. Rocks began collapsing around them. The place was about to cave in. Zhang Ping suddenly remembered the villagers still inside and worried for his team. Saitu reassured him the gate had no time limit, they could still save everyone. He added Zhang Ping had sealed his hearing to resist the demonic sound and needed to say to it. Back at Bamboo Origin Village, the villagers awoke and gratefully thanked the heroes. But Zhang Ping's group had to move on and couldn't linger. The village chief uttered cryptic words about the wheel of fate guiding all events. The system announced completion of the hidden quest rescuing Bamboo Origin Village and granted bonus rewards. Zhang Ping was surprised the chief knew his name without introductions. Meanwhile, teammates celebrated as the bonus rewards boosted their levels significantly. The captain explained trial EXP usually split by kill count, so shared rewards were rare. One member suspected the chief's words were a special message. The captain revealed a secret: those with limitless ability could influence the world's fate. He advised Zhang Ping to keep this secret, it concerned the world's future path. After leaving the village, they advanced to the next trial zone. A spatial gate suddenly opened and flung them to a new location. Before reacting, they splashed straight into a deep lake. As they tried surfacing, something underwater latched onto them. Seaside froze the water's surface, blocking the blood-sucking leeches. A giant snake was summoned as transport, and they climbed onto its back to escape the swamp. Everyone was amazed a Da from the previous zone could still be summoned here. Zhang Ping explained a blood contract was a cross-space link contract, beasts answer anytime. Seeing Along and Ada happily reunited, the team finally relaxed after the risky transfer. But then C2 suddenly warned something in this trial zone felt very wrong. He asked if anyone had seen a mission, noticed the system had been silent. The group realized no mission had appeared at all, and tension spiked. Just then someone sensed a soul aura at the 3 o'clock direction. On closer check, it was clearly the soul of a living person. An old woman rode over, saying the trial warriors had finally arrived. She invited them to follow her, as if she'd waited a long time. The fat guy instantly drew his sword, thinking it was the classic rescue the princess script. Teammates stayed cautious. This sudden invitation smelled like a trap. Still, they chose to follow, suspecting it might be the mission clue. Soon, they reached Poison Sex Swamp, where a village stood entirely on water. Seeing water everywhere, they realized this trial zone had almost no solid ground. The villagers rushed out to welcome the heroes and invite them in. They claimed the group's arrival was the long-awaited hope of the village. Village Chief Wei Zunbo introduced himself, absurdly respectful toward the trial warriors. Situ noticed the chief's ancestors shared a name with someone from a century ago. Suspicion stirred. The chief said ancient teachings foretold heroes would appear whenever the village faced danger. He explained a divine beast chasing Moon Mystic Turtle once protected them in the south. Recently, the giant turtle went berserk and began attacking villagers. With no options left, they begged the heroes to investigate and restore peace. The chief even prepared soup to entertain them, awkward hospitality. He urged them to rest early for tomorrow's turtle investigation. Eyeing the suspicious soup, Zhang Ping tried appraisal, but the system showed nothing. Chen Ming teased the fat guy to taste it first. The pitch-black broth scared everyone. Still, they assumed the villagers meant no harm and let it slide. Saito recalled that a century ago, the mystic turtle was only basin-sized. Yet he sensed the villagers' souls were eerily still like a frozen lake. That comparison reminded everyone of the undead they'd met before. With no other mission clues, they chose to rest and investigate tomorrow. The group agreed to conserve strength for the next day. Outside, however, the chief muttered that he hoped these offerings would suffice. The next morning, they left the village and crossed endless deep waters. Suddenly, Sai screamed something was moving below. A colossal creature burst up to attack, forcing frantic dodges. They quickly formed ice footholds to avoid being dragged under. Zhang Ping still sensed a Da nearby and tried summoning it back. He activated the contract gem and ordered a Da to return immediately. The giant creature finally revealed itself. Zhang Ping realized they'd found the true target. Shockingly, it was chasing Moon Mystic Turtle, the once-worshipped divine beast. No hesitation, the team charged before it could react. A chain shot out, locking tightly around the turtle's neck. Zhang Ping pulled hard, refusing to let it dive again. Appraisal revealed it was a Qiqi anomaly far stronger than expected. Sensing danger, teammates shouted for Jinba to retreat. Too late, the massive turtle's counterattack trapped the entire group. Thousands of volts burst from its shell, electrifying the water's surface. After the shock, the mystic turtle dove, dragging the battlefield underwater. The team was pulled down and lost sight of the target. Suchimba volunteered to fight underwater. This terrain favored him. The group agreed, hoping the senior could restrain the turtle. Those dragged under could only curse they hadn't expected this hidden move. Suddenly, bubbles surged from the turtle's body, hinting at another attack. It was reverse river flow, a deadly water current reversal. Luckily, the vortex targeted the turtle itself, letting the team escape. The powerful swirl even flung the mystic turtle skyward. Seizing the chance, they built an ice path to stabilize the battlefield. Finally, the group escaped drowning in the swamp. Shockingly, the mystic turtle suddenly spoke. It accused the invaders of oppressing villagers and now trying to kill it too. Hearing that, Zhang Ping immediately suspected the chief had hidden the truth. Despite attempts to explain they meant no harm, the turtle refused to trust them. Just as tension peaked, a voice rang out demanding they stop. The speaker was willing to stake their life to guarantee calm negotiations. The mystic turtle paused, seemingly considering. But then a gigantic bird suddenly appeared in the sky. The mystic turtle instantly dove whatever that bird was. It was even more dangerous. It declared it would only talk if Zhang Ping's crew beat the bird first. Zhang Ping looked up and instantly sweated. This creature's spirit pressure was nightmare tier. He wondered why this training zone was basically a monster zoo. The bird skipped greetings and went straight to spitting ice like a frosty cannon. The team scrambled to hold formation as the attack blanketed the battlefield. Everyone countered in sync, trying to block the bird's icy tantrum. Its mere icy breath hit like a northern blizzard on steroids. In seconds, the whole area froze over, cranking danger to max. Lai Xian, furious, activated the Scarlet Emperor Undying Body and charged in. The moment the bird was struck, teammates tossed binding ropes to lock it down. While restraining it, Su Qingba revealed he could merge with ice and water to keep fighting. The giant bird suddenly burst with power again, keeping the chaos alive. 3 burly seniors stepped out, thrilled as if this were a bird-hunting banquet. They even bet on who'd snap a wing first. Loser owed 100,000 push-ups. Lai Xin unleashed the Beast King fist, ready to crush his foe. The other 2 seniors shot straight for the bird's head to close in. The trio combined attacks, making the bird's wings quake violently. Still unsatisfied, they kept piling on blows until it would drop for good. One even fired a gigantic Kamehameha straight at it because subtlety is overrated. Zhang Ping's group could only think the 3 old seniors were absurdly violent. Someone explained they were hot-tempered and long suppressed, finally unleashed on a worthy foe. Even so, Lai Xin felt underwhelmed. This mutated beast was no true king. Just then, Xuangai surfaced, warning of a strange scent from the bird's corpse. Zhang Ping immediately suspected something was hidden inside. He sliced open the carcass, and several strange medicinal pellets spilled out. Xuangai instantly recognized them as beast control pellets. It finally realized Zhang Ping's group wasn't allied with the earlier invaders. Xuangai explained the enemy had raided the village for deep chill sea cormorant eggs for cultivation. After stealing the eggs, they used pellets to control the bird and massacre everything. Xuangai had defended the village but was gravely injured and nearly controlled itself. Hearing this, Zhang Ping grew suspicious since the villagers never mentioned it. The group froze the pellets and headed back to investigate the truth. As Xuangai blamed itself, a familiar voice chimed in with comfort. It was Saitu, an old acquaintance from years ago. Recognizing him, Xuangai agreed to guide them to its lair for further investigation.